Hey, what's up, y'all? David here, and today it's gonna be a video unlike any other that I've made. My mom's not proud of me right now. And I'm gonna tell you why, because I plan on reading the entire Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone novel. I'm gonna speed read it. And not only that, but I plan on taking half a shot of tequila for every chapter that I read. And I am planning on reading the entire book in one sitting. Do you think it's possible? I don't know. I've had this book for about 12 years and I haven't read over chapter 1, which I'm sorry, Harry Potter fans, please don't come for me. But I'm finally going to read it today. Well, speed read it. I've always been crazy fast at reading, and I decided to why not put that talent to the test. Because it doesn't do much in this world except maybe create a good YouTube video. Hopefully. This video is going to be long, so feel free to forward and see me as I lose myself throughout time. Awesome. Anyways, I'm going to reset the timer and just start. So, where's my phone? Oh, here it is. So I'm going to reset the timer and then I'm just going to go right into it. All right. Awesome. I'm so excited. What am I doing with my life? I have no life. So obviously I'm not going to read like the table of contents or whatever. I'm just going to go straight into the material. Chapter 1, The Boy Who Lived. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley, number 4, Privet Drive, were proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect them to be involved in anything strange or mysterious because they just didn't hold with such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was director of a firm called Grunnings, which made drills. He was a big, beefy man with hardly any neck, although he had a very large mustache. Mr. Dursley was thin and blonde and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came in very useful as she spent so much of her time curving over garden fences spying on the neighbors. The Dursleys had a small son called Dudley, and in their opinion, there was no finer boy anywhere. The Dursleys had everything they wanted, but they also had a secret, and their greatest fear was that somebody would discover it. They didn't think they could bear if anyone found out about the Potters. Miss Potter and Mr. Dursley's sisters, but they hadn't met for several years. In fact, Mr. Dursley pretended she didn't have a sister because her and her good-for-nothing husband were as undurkey-ish as it was possible. The Durkeys had shuddered to think what the neighbors would say if the Potters arrived in the street. The Dursleys knew that the Potters had a small son too, but they had never ever seen him. This boy was another good reason for keeping the Potters away. They didn't want Dudley mixing with Sherlock. And Mr. and Mrs. Dudley woke up to the old grey Tuesday. Our story starts. There are nothing about the cloudy sky outside to suggest the strange and mysterious things about to happen all over the country. Mr. Dursley hummed as he picked out the most boring type of work, and Mr. Dursley caught slipped away happily as she wrestled the screaming Dudley in the high chair. None of them noticed a large, tiny owl flutter past the window. At 8:30, Mr. Dursley picked up the briefcase, picked Mr. Dursley on the chest, and tried to kiss Dudley goodbye, but missed. Maybe because Dudley was now having a tantrum and having his stare out the walls. Little tight Charles Mr. Dursley as he left the house. He got into his car and back out on number 4's drive. It was on the corner of the street that he noticed the first sign of something peculiar. A cat reading a map. For a second, Mr. Dursley didn't realize what he had seen. Then he had jerked his head around to look again. There was a tabby cat sitting on the corner of Privet Drive. But there wasn't a map in sight. What could he have been thinking of? It must have been a trick of the light. Mr. Dursley blinked and started the car, stared back, and Mr. Dursley drove around the corner and the road. He watched the cat in the mirror. It was now reading the sign that said Privet Drive. No, looking at the sign, the cat's gonna read maps or signs. Mr. Dursley gave himself a little stake and put the cat in his mind. As he drove toward the stop, something to this large order of drills he was hoping to get that day. But on the town, drills were driven out of his mind by something else. As he sat in the usual morning traffic jam, he couldn't stop noticing that there seemed to be a lot of strangely dressed people about. People in cloaks. Mr. Dursley couldn't bear people. I'm already sweating. Mr. Dursley couldn't bear people. Where was I? Damn it, this is harder than I thought. People who dressed in funny clothes, the groups he saw in young people. He supposed this was some stupid new fashion. He drummed his fingers on the steering wheel and his eyes fell on hundred of these words, couldn't stand by. They were whispering excitedly together. Mr. Dursley was enraged to see what a couple of them weren't young at all. Why, that man had to be older than he was. He was wearing an emerald green cloak. They're never of him. But then it struck Mr. Dursley head and there was probably some silly stuff. These people were obviously collecting for something. Yes, that would be it. The traffic moved on for a few minutes. Mr. Dursley arrived in the Grunnings parking lot, his mind back on drills. Mr. Dursley was left down with his back to the window in his office on the 9th floor. If he hadn't, he might have found it harder to concentrate on drills that morning. He didn't see the owl swoop being passed in broad daylight, though people down in the street did. I need to take a breath. I'm sorry. Imagine making audiobooks. They pointed and gazed upon open mouth as owl after owl sped overhead. Most of them had never seen an owl even at nighttime. Mr. Dursley, however, had a perfectly normal owl-free morning. He yelled at 5 different. He made several important telephone calls and shouted a bit more. He was in a very good mood until lunch when he thought he'd stretch his legs and walk around to buy himself a bun from the bakery. He forgot all about the people in cloak and take past a group of them. I might lose my voice. That's not the book. That's just me talking. I might lose my voice. Of them to the next break, he had an anger lazy pass. He didn't know why, but that made him uneasy. This bunch was whispering excitedly too, when he couldn't see a single collecting. He was on his way back to the past them, clutching a large donut bag, but then he caught a few words if they were saying, "The Potters, that's right, that's what I heard. Yes, their son Harry." Mr. Dursley stopped dead. Fear flooded him. He looked back at the whisperers if he wanted to say something to them, but thought better of it. He dashed back across the road, hurried up to his office, stopped at the secretary not to disturb him, seized his cell phone, and had almost finished dialing his home number when he changed his mind. He put the receiver back down and stroked his mustache, saying, no, he was being stupid. Potter wasn't much of an unusual name. He was sure there were lots of people called Potters who had a son called Harry. Come to think of it, he wasn't even sure his nephew was called Harry. He never even seen the boy. It might have been Harvey or Harold. There was no point in worrying Mr. Dursley. She had always got so upset the mention of her sister. He didn't blame her if he'd had a sister like that, but all the same, those people in cloaks. I'm gonna turn on the fan because I'm already starting to sweat just from reading. Imagine I'm stuck in this reading loop. Oh my god. Like, this speed, I'm just gonna start talking really fast for the rest of my life. Anyways, where was I? Blah, 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 blah. Mentioned versus he didn't blame her if he had said it like that, but all those people were close. He found it a lot harder to concentrate on afternoon when he felt the building at 5 o'clock. He was so worried, and he walked straight to someone just outside this. Sorry, he grunted, as the tiny old man stumbled and almost fell. It was a few seconds after Drizzly realized that the man was wearing a violet cloak. He didn't seem at all upset about being most knocked to the ground. I'll translate split into a wide smile, said in a squeeze voice that master bride. Don't be sorry, my dear sir, for nothing could upset me today. Rejoice, for you know who knows gone at last. Even muggles like yourself should be celebrating the happy day. And the old man hugged Mr. Drizzly around the middle and walked off. Mr. Drizzly stood to the notice spot. He had hugged by a complete stranger. He also thought he had been called muggle. Anyways. He saw that he had been called a muggle. Whatever that was, he was rattled. He hurried to the car and set off for home, hoping he was imagining things, which he had never hoped before because he didn't improve imagination. As he pulled into his drive number 4, the first thing he saw, and it didn't improve his mood, was the tabby cat he'd spotted this morning. It was now sitting on its garden wall. He was sure it was the same one, had the same markings around its eyes. Shoo, said Mr. Drizzly loudly. I'm on page 6 out of 309, so I'm doing pretty good so far. I'm wasting time. Time to get back at it. The kid didn't move, just gave him a stern look. Was this normal cat behavior? Mr. Drizzly wondered. Trying to pull himself together, he let himself in dust. He was still different, not to mention anything in his wife. Mr. Drizzly had a nice normal day. She told him over dinner about next door's problems with her daughter, and knew Dudley had learned a new word. Whoa! Mr. Drizzly tried to look normally. When Dudley had been put to bed, he went to the living room, time to catch the last report of the evening news, and finally birdwatchers everywhere had reported that nation's owls have been behaving very unusually today, although no owls normally hunt at night and hardly ever been seen delay. There have been hundreds of sightings of these birds flying in every direction since sunrise. Experts are unable to explain why the owls have suddenly changed their sleeping pattern. The newscaster showed himself again. Grin. Most mysterious and now over to Jim McMuffin and the weather. Going to be any more showers of owls tonight, Jim? Well said the weatherman. I don't know about that, but it's only the owls that have been acting oddly today. Viewers as far as Yorkshire and Dundee have been showing in to tell me that instead of the rain it promises, they've had a downpour of shooting stars. Perhaps people have been celebrating bonfire night early. It's not until next week, folks, but I can't promise wet nights. And I'm just really sat frozen in the armchair, shooting stars all over. Britain, owls flying by daylight, mysterious people and close all over the place, and a whisper about the Potters. Mr. Drizzly came into the living room carrying 2 cups of tea, not tears. It was no good. He'd have to say something or he cleared his throat. Never say, Petunia, dear, you haven't heard from your sister lately, have you? As he requested, Mr. Drizzly looked shocked and angry. After all, they normally pretended they didn't have a sister. No, she said sharply. Why? Funny stuff on the news, Mr. Drizzly. Owls shooting stars, and there were a lot of funny-looking people in town today, so snap, Mr. Drizzly. Well, I just thought maybe it was something to do with, her crowd. Mr. Drizzly skipped her tea through pursed lips. Mr. Drizzly wondered whether he dared to tell her he'd heard the name Potter. He decided he didn't dare. Instead, he said, as casually as he could, their son, he'd be about Dudley's age now, wouldn't he? I suppose so, Miss Stuffley said stiffly. What's his name again? Howard, isn't it? And Harry, nasty common name, if you ask me. Oh, yes, said Mr. Drizzly, harsing. Yes, I quite agree. He didn't say another word on the subject as he went upstairs to bed while Miss Drizzly was in the bedroom. Mr. Drizzly crept to the bedroom window and peered down into the front garden. The cat was still there, staring down Perfect Drive. Everything it was for there. I thought it was there waiting for something. Tongue twister. Was he imagining things? Could all this have anything to do with the Potters? If it did, it got out that they were interrelated pair. Well, he didn't think he could bear it. The Dudley's gone to bed. Mr. Drizzly fell asleep, but Miss Drizzly lay awake, turning it all over his mind. It's so weird to not be able to see myself while I read this. I'm insecure. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to continue. It's been 6 minutes. It feels like 2. Where was I? Mr. Drizzly lay awake, turning it all over in his mind, but his last comforting thought before he fell asleep was even if the Potters went over, there was no reason for them to come near him and Mr. Drizzly. The Potters knew very well that he and Petunia thought about them and their kind. He couldn't see how he and Petunia got mixed up in anything that might be going on. He yawned and turned over. It couldn't affect them. How very wrong he was. Mr. Drizzly might have drifted into an uneasy sleep, but the cat on the wall side of the show, no sign of sleepiness. It was sitting at a statue. His eyes flicked him. Who's texting me? 1 second. Anyways, the Potters knew very well that he and Petunia thought about them and their kind. He couldn't see how he and Petunia could mix up anything that might be going on. He yawned and turned over. It couldn't affect them. How wrong he was. Mr. Drizzly might have drifted into a sleep, but the cat on the wall was outside showing no signs of sleep. He was sitting on a statue, its eyes fixed obliquely on the fat corner pivot drive. He didn't know much as quiver car door slammed on the street car door and 2 owls stepped overhead. In fact, it was nearly midnight before the cat moved at all. A man appeared in the corner of the cabin, watching, appeared so suddenly you'd have thought he just popped out of the ground. The cat still twitched and its eyes narrowed. Nothing like this man had never been seen on pivot drive. He was tall, thin, and very old. Judging by the silver of his hair and beard, he wore they were long enough to tuck into his belt. He was wearing long robes, a purple cloak, and swept in the ground, and high-heeled buckled shoes. I'm guessing this is Dumbledore. Yep, it is. That's not what I said. I'm just guessing. His blue eyes were light, bright, and sparkling behind half-moon spectacles, and those were very, very long and crooked, as though it had been broken at least twice. This man's name was Albus Dumbledore. Surprisingly, I understand what I'm reading. That's bizarre. Anyways, Albus Dumbledore didn't seem to realize that he just arrived in the street where everything from his name to his boots was unwelcome. He was busy rummaging in his cloak, looking for something, but he didn't seem to realize he was being watched because he looked up suddenly at the car, which was still staring at him from the other end of the street. For some reason, the sight of the cat seemed to amuse him. He chuckled and murmured, I should have known. He found what he was looking for in the beside pocket. It snapped to be a silver cigarette lighter. He picked it up and held it up in there and clicked it. The nearest street lamp went out with a little pop. He clicked it and the little lamp flickered into darkness. 12 times he clicked the outer until the only lights out of the whole street were only 2 pink pricks in the distance, which were the eyes of the cat watching him. Everything looked out of the window. Now even Miss Beatty and Miss Dursley, they wouldn't be able to see anything that was happening down on the pavement. Dumbledore slipped the powder back into his cloak and set off the street toward number 4, where he sat down on the wall next to the cat. He didn't look at it, but after a moment he speak to it. Fancy seeing you, Professor McGonagall. He turned to smile at the tabby, but it had gone. Instead, he was smiling at the rather severe-looking woman who was wearing square glasses, exactly the shape of the markings the cat had around its eyes. She too was wearing a cloak and emerald, his black hair and drawn into a tight bun. She looked distinctly ruffled. How do you know it's me? She asked. My dear Professor, I've never seen a cat so stiffy. You'd be stiff if you'd been sitting on a brick wall all day, said Professor McGonagall. All day when you have been debating. What have you been celebrating? I must have been past a dozen feasts and parties on my way here. Professor McGonagall stopped thinking. Oh yes, everyone's celebrating, all right, she said impatiently. You think they'd be a bit more careful, but no. Even the Muggles have been something wrong. It's been on the news. She jerked her head back to the Dursley's dark living room window. I heard it. Flocks of owls shooting stars. Well, they're not completely stupid. They were bound to notice something. Shooting stars down in Kent. I'll bet that Daedalus Skittle. He never had such sense. You can't blame them, said Dumbledore and Jill. We've had precious little celebrate for 11 years. I know that, said Professor McGonagall irritably, but that's no reason to lose our heads. People are being downright killers out on the streets and shop daily, but I'm interested in Muggle clothes swapping rumors. She threw a sharp sideways glance at Dumbledore here, although he knew he was going to tell us something, but he didn't. So she went on. A fine thing it would be if one very day you know who seems to have disappeared at last. The Muggles found one out about us all. I suppose he really has gone, Dumbledore. It certainly seems so, said Dumbledore. We have much to be thankful for. Would you care for a lemon drop? Oh, what? A lemon drop. They're kind of Muggle sweet. I'm rather fond of. No, thank you, said Professor McGonagall coldly, as though she didn't think this was the moment for lemon drops. As I say, even if you know who has gone. My dear Professor, surely since a person like yourself can call him by name, all this you-know-who nonsense. For 11 years I've been trying to persuade people to call him by his proper name. Voldemort! Professor McGonagall flinched, but Dumbledore, who was unsticking to lemon drops, seemed not to notice. It all gets confused if we keep saying, you know who. I have never seen any reason to be frightened of saying Voldemort's name. I know you haven't, said Professor McGonagall, sounding half exasperated, half admiring, but you're different. Everyone knows you're the only one you know all right. Voldemort was frightened of. You flatter me, said Dumbledore calmly. Voldemort has powers I will never have. Only because you're, well, noble to use them. It's lucky it's dark. I haven't blushed so much since Madame Pomfrey told me she liked my new earrings. Professor McGonagall shot a sharp look at Dumbledore and said, the owls are nothing next to the rumors that are flashing around. You know what everyone's saying and why he's disappearing and what finally stopped him. It seems that Professor McGonagall had reached the point she was most anxious to discuss the reason she had been wearing on a cold hard wall all day. For neither cat nor his woman she had fixed on her with such a piercing stare as she did not. It was plain that whatever everyone was saying, she was not going to believe it until Dumbledore told her it was true. Dumbledore, however, was choosing another lemon drop and did not answer. The lighting to read this book is actually difficult. I probably should have thought of that before this. Anyways, where was I? I'm just gonna start this whole page over. So 10 minutes in, I'm on page 12 out of 300. I'm already losing. I already feel like my throat hurts. So, GG. Don't try this at home. I do not recommend this, and especially not with the alcohol. Even though I haven't started drinking it. But yeah, I'm ready. So please Dumbledore to believe it until Dumbledore told her it was true. Dumbledore, however, was choosing another lemon drop to answer what they're saying. She pressed on. It's that last night Voldemort turned up in Gullick's Hall. He went to find the Potter. The Norman that Lily and James Potter are they're dead. Dumbledore growled as the Professor McGonagall gasped. Lily and James, I can't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. Oh, Albus. Dumbledore reached on, patted over the shoulder. I know, he said heavily. Professor McGonagall's voice trembled as he went on. That's not all. They're saying he tried to kill Potter's son, Harry, but he wouldn't. He couldn't kill that little boy. No one knows why or how, but they're saying that when he couldn't kill Harry Potter, Voldemort's power somehow was broken. That's why he's gone. Dumbledore nodded glumly. Yet, is it true? Faltered Professor McGonagall. After all he's done, all the people he's killed, he couldn't kill a little boy. It's just stunning of all the things to stop him. But now in the name of heaven, how did Harry survive? We can only guess the number. We may never know. Professor McGonagall pulled out a lace handkerchief and dabbed at her eyes beneath her spectacles. Dumbledore gave a great sniff as he took a golden rash from the pocket and examined it. It was a very odd watch. She had 12 hands but no numbers. Instead, little planets were moving around the edge. It must have made sense to Dumbledore, though, because he put it back in his pocket and said, Hagrid's late. I suppose it is the one who told you I'd be here, by the way. Yes, said Professor McGonagall. I don't suppose you're going to tell me why you're here of all places. I couldn't bring Harry to his aunt and uncle. They're the only ones he has left now. You can't mean the people who live here, said Professor McGonagall, jumping to his feet and jumping in number 4. Dumbledore, you can't. I've been watching them all day. You couldn't find two people who live like us. They've got their son. I was thinking another all the way up to the street, kicking his mother, screaming for sweets. Harry Potter, come and live here. It's the best place for him, said Dumbledore. His aunt and uncle will be able to explain everything when he's older. Everyone in the letter, repeated Mrs. McGonagall. I'm going to start reading at a less loud level because my throat is hurting. It's the best place for him, said Dumbledore. His aunt and uncle will be able to explain everything to him when he's older. I've written them a letter. A letter, repeated Mr. McGonagall, faintly sitting back on the wall. Really, Dumbledore, you think you can explain all this in a letter? These people won't understand him. He'll be famous, a legend. I wouldn't be surprised if today was known as Harry Potter. In the future, there'll be books written about Harry. Every child in our world will know his name. Exactly, said Dumbledore, looking very seriously over the top of his head glass. It'll be enough to turn any boy's head. Famous before he can walk and talk. Famous for something he can't even remember. Can you see how much better off he'll be growing up away from all that until he's ready to take it? Professor McGonagall opened her mouth, changed her mind. Swallowed and said, yes, you're right, of course, but how's that boy getting here, Dumbledore? She eyed his cloak suddenly as though she thought he might be seen hiding Harry underneath it. I'm already losing it. Hagrid's bringing him. You think it wise to trust Hagrid with something as important as this? I would trust Hagrid with my life, said Dumbledore. I'm not saying his heart is in the right place, said Professor McGonagall, begrudgingly, but you can't pretend he's not killed. He does not. He does tend to. What was that? Alarmingly sound that break the sounds around them. It grew steadily louder as they looked up and down the street for some time. Like a swirl as a roar. They looked up at the sky and a huge motorcycle fell out of the air and landed out on the road in front of them. If the motorcycle was huge, it was nothing to the man sitting astride it. He was almost twice as a normal and at least 5 times wide. He looked simply too big to be loud and too wild. Long tangles of bushy black hair and beard in most of his face. He had the hands and sides of trash can lids, and his feet and their leather boots were like baby dolphins. In this vast with their arms, he was holding a bundle of blankets. Hagrid, said Dumbledore, sounding relieved at last. And where did you get that motorcycle? About it, Professor Dumbledore, she said, climbing carefully off the motorcycle as he spoke. Young Sirius Black lent it to me. I've got him, sir. No problems were there? No, sir. House was almost destroyed, but I got him out. It was right before the Muggles started storming around. He fell asleep and he was flying over Bristol. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall bent forward over the bundle of blankets. Inside, just visible, was a baby boy fast asleep under a... What was I? Under a... Blah, blah, blah. Oh my god. I'm trying to make sure my PC doesn't go into sleep mode either. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall. I'm just gonna start the paragraph over. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall bent forward over the bundle of bling. Inside, just visible baby boy, Peslip in a tuft of jet black hair over his forehead. They could see Chrissy's ship cut like bolts of lightning. Is that? Whispered Professor McGonagall. Yes, Dumbledore, he'll have that scarf. Couldn't you do something about it, Dumbledore? Even if I could, I wouldn't. Scarves can come in handy. I have one myself above my left knee and is a perfect map of London underground. Well, give him here, Hagrid. We better get this over with. Dumbledore took Harry in his arms and turned around the Dursley's house. Could I say goodbye to him, sir? Asked Hagrid. He bent his great shaggy head over Harry and gave him what must have been a very scratchy, whispery kiss. Then suddenly Hagrid let out a howl like one little shh. His Professor McGonagall, we'll wake the Muggles. This is sorry, sobbed Hagrid, taking out a large spotted handkerchief and banging his face in it. I can't send Lily and James dead, and poor little Harry off to live with Muggles. Yes, all everybody. Get a grip on us, Hagrid, or we'll be found. Professor McGonagall whispered, patting Hagrid gingerly on the arm of Dumbledore, stepped over the low garden wall and walked on the front door. He led Harry gingerly on the doorstep, took a letter of his cloak, tucked it inside Harry's blankets, and then came to the other two. For a full minute, the three of them stood and looked at them in the middle. Hagrid's shoulders shook. Professor McGonagall blinked furiously, and the twinkling light that shone in Dumbledore's eyes seemed to have gone out. Well, said Dumbledore, that's with no business staying here. We might as well go into the Yes, said Hagrid, very must well be taking serious his backpack. Good night, Professor McGonagall. Professor Dumbledore said, wiping his streaming eyes on his jacket sleeve. Hagrid swung himself into the bar and killed the engine to life, with the roar it rose into the air and off into the night. I shall see you next week, Mr. McGonagall, said Dumbledore, nodding to her. Professor McGonagall blew her nose and replied. Dumbledore turned out, walked down the street. Oh, in the corner he stopped and looked over the silver powder. Clicked at once, and 12 balls of light sped to the street lamps to that privet drive, suddenly orange, and he could make out a tabby cat slinking around the corner of the street. He could see the bundle of blankets at the top of the number 4. Good luck, Harry, he murmured. He turned on the heel, and with a swish of the cloak, he was gone. A breeze ruffled the neat edges of privet drive, which lay silent and tidy under the inky sky. The very last place where do you expect astonishing things that Harry Potter rolled over into the inside of blankets without waking up. One small hand closed on the letter beside him, and he slept on, not knowing he was special, not knowing he was famous, not knowing he would be woken a few hours since Miss Lily screamed as she opened the front door to put on the milk. Was not that, nor that he would spend the next few days being prodded and pinched by his cousin Dudley. He couldn't know that at this very moment, people meeting all over the country were holding up their glasses and saying in hushed voice, Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Done with chapter 1, and it took me 15 minutes. 16 to go. And already my throat is hurting, so before I take my half shot, I'm going to have some water. Oh my god. What am I getting myself into? I really don't know. Time for this half shot. Hopefully it'll be easier the more I drink, but I have a feeling it's going to get rougher and rougher. So, bon appetit. That should be fine. Oh my god. Wow. I still can't believe that I'm doing this. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I have some great ideas soon, and for some reason I decided to do this video before those ideas. I think I've had enough of a break. Time to start chapter 2. Okay. Chapter 2, The Vanishing Glass. Nearly 10 years had passed since the Dudleys had woken up to find their nephew on the front side of the privet drive at Arlington. The sun rose on the same tidy front great sun gutters and lit up the brass number 4 on the Dursley's front door. It crept into the living room, which was almost exactly the same as it had been on the night when Mr. Dudley had been seeing that faithful news report about the owls. Only the photographs on the mantelpiece really showed how much time had passed. 10 years ago, there had been lots of pictures of what looked like a large pink beach ball wearing different colored bonds, but Dudley Dursley was no longer a baby. Now the photographs showed a large blonde boy riding his first bicycle on a crowd at the fair, playing computing with his father, being hugged and kissed by his mother. The room had an Ellis sign out, and another boy lived in the house too. I'm already slurring and I had half a shot. I'm just tired, but this is gonna get worse. Hopefully, this was worth it. I need at least 200 fucking views in this video, okay? Please, thank you. Mwah. Yeah, Harry Potter was still there, asleep at the moment, but not for long. His Aunt Petunia was awake, and it was her shrill voice that made the first noise of the day. Up, get up now! Harry woke with a start. His aunt rapped on the door again. Up, she screeched. Harry heard her walking down toward the kitchen. Then she saw the start frame being put on the stove. He rolled on his back and tried to remember the dream he had been having. He had been a good one. There had been a Flamel sick one. He had a funny feeling he had the same dream before. His aunt was back. Said, "Are you up yet?" She demanded. "Nearly," said Harry. "We'll get a move on. I want you to look after the bacon, and don't you let it burn. I want everything perfect on Daddy's birthday." Harry groaned. "What did you say?" His aunt snapped through the door. Nothing. But Dudley's birthday. How could he have forgotten?" Harry got slowly out of bed and started looking for socks. He found a pair under his bed, and after pulling a spider off one of them, put them on. Harry was used to spiders because the cupboard under the stairs was full of them, and that was where he slept. My Adam's apple hurts. What the fuck? Let me read up. Dudley's birthday. How could he have forgotten? Harry I already read that part. Okay, blah blah blah. Spiders. Okay. When he was dressed, he went down the hall into the kitchen. The table was almost hidden beneath all Dudley's birthday presents. It looked as though Dudley had gone. The new computer. This is the most I've read. Ridden. This is the most that I've. This is the most that I've read this book. Oh my god. I'm already glitching. My brain is just like, what are you doing? Wanted, not to mention the second television at the racing bike. Exactly why Dudley wanted a racing bike was mystery to Harry. Dudley was very fat and hated actually, unless of course was involved punching somebody. Dudley's favorite punching bag was Harry, but he couldn't often catch him. Where was I? Oh, this is torture. I could do this. Harry didn't look, but he was very fast. Perhaps it had something to do with living in a dark cupboard, but Harry had always been small and skinny for his age. He looked even smaller and skinnier than he really was because all he had to do was wear old clothes of Dudley's, and Dudley was about 4 times bigger than he was. Harry had a thin face, knobby knees, black hair, and bright green eyes. He wore round glasses held together with a lot of Scotch tape because all the times Dudley had punched him in the nose. The only thing Harry liked about the own appearance was a very thin scar on his forehead that was shaped like a bolt of lightning. He had it as long as he could remember, but the first question he could remember even asking Aunt Petunia was how he had gotten it in the car crash from your parents, as she said. And don't ask questions, ask questions. That was the first rule of a quiet life for the Dursleys. Uncle Vernon entered the kitchen as Harry was turning over the bacon. "Comb your hair!" he barked in by way of morning greeting. About once a week, Uncle Vernon looked over the top of his newspaper and showed that Harry needed a haircut. Harry must have had more haircuts than the rest of the boys in his class put together. But it made no difference. His hair simply grew that way, all over the place. Harry was frying eggs. Maybe that's why he's called Harry. Harry was frying eggs by the time Dudley arrived in the kitchen with his mother. Dudley looked a lot like Uncle Vernon. He had a large pink face, but not much neck, small, watery blue eyes, and thick blonde hair that lay smoothly on his thick fat head. Aunt Petunia often said that Dudley looked like a baby angel. Harry often said that Dudley looked like a pig in a wig. Harry put the plates of egg and bacon on the table, which was difficult at times. There wasn't much room. I don't know why I suddenly got an accent. Oh my God! Dudley, meanwhile, was counting his presents. His face fell. 36, he said, looking up at his mother and father. That's 2 less than last year. Darling, you haven't counted only Margie's presents. See, it's here under this big one for Mommy and Daddy. All right, 37 then, said Dudley, going red in his face. Harry, who could have seen a huge Dudley tantrum coming on, began wolfing down his bacon as fast as possible because he did not want to be around. It does not say that, but he did not want to be around. In case Dudley turned the table over. Aunt Petunia obviously scented danger too. My eyes hurt. Scented danger because she said quickly, "And we buy another 2 presents wore out today. How's that, Popkin? 2 more presents. Is that all right?" Dudley thought for a moment. It looked like hard work. Finally, he said slowly, "So I'll have 30. 39 sweetums," said Aunt Petunia. Oh, Dudley sat down heavily and grabbed the nearest parcel. All right, then, Uncle Vernon chuckled. Page 22 out of 300 and something. Fuck me. Little Tuck wants his money's worth, just like his father. Attaboy, Dudley. He ruffled Dudley's hair. At the moment, the telephone rang and Aunt Petunia went to answer while Harry and Uncle Vernon watched Dudley unwrap the racing bike, video camera, remote control, airplane, 16 new computer games, and VCR. He was serving with a paper off a gold wristwatch with Aunt Petunia came back from the cell phone looking both angry and worried. "Bad news, Vernon," she said. "Mr. Figg's broken into the sheet can't tape, shaken into Harry's throat. Dudley mouth fell open in horror, but Harry's heart gave a leap. Every year, Dudley's brother's parents took him and a friend out for the day to adventure parks, hamburger restaurants, and the movies. Every year, Harry was left behind with Mr. Figg, Miss Figg, a mad old lady who lived 2 streets away. Harry hated it there. The whole house smelled of cabbage, and Miss Figg made him look at photographs of all the cats she don't know. "What?" said Aunt Petunia, looking furiously at Harry as though he'd planned this. Harry knew he ought to feel sorry for Miss Figg, who had broken her leg, but it wasn't easy when he reminded himself it would be a whole year before he had to look at Tibble snoring. Mr. Pausing up again. "We could phone Marge," Uncle Vernon said. "Don't be silly, Vernon. She hates the boy." Dursley often spoke about Harry like this, as though he wasn't there, or rather, as though he was something very nice that couldn't understand them, like a slug. I can relate to that, by the way. I'm not gonna get into detail, but I can relate. What about, what's her name? Your friend Yvonne? This is starting to get me angry. 21 minutes. But I'm at page 23, so I'm reading each page in less than a minute, which is what I predicted. If there's over 300 pages, then, oh God, that's like 5 hours. I better pick up the pace. I'm not about to read for 5 fucking hours. On vacation, majority snapped on Petunia. You could just leave me here, put in. Hopefully, you'd be able to watch the way you went on stuff, and maybe even go into the Listen Braille, and so she just waddle them in and come back and find the house in ruins. She snarled, "I won't blow up in the house today," but they weren't listening. I suppose we could take them on the zoo. So I'm really trying to enunciate everything well, but I just want to read this, so I'm going to read this. If you don't understand, slow down the video. Probably still won't understand because I might not enunciate everything perfectly, but I am reading every single word to the best of my ability. Harry put in Holy Bible watch maybe having enough to go to listen to Aunt Petunia looked as though she saw out a limit and come back and find the house in ruins. She started, "I won't about the house," said Harry, but they weren't listening. "I suppose we could take him to the zoo," said Aunt Petunia slowly, and she looked in the guard. "That's car he's not sitting alone." Dudley was crying loudly. In fact, he was crying. He was been here since he really got being near that if he screwed up his face and well, his mother would give him anything he wanted. Dudley Dillon still cried. "My will let him swear, especially she could fling her arms around. I don't want him to come." Dudley yelled, being presenting as he always spoils everything. He shot Harry and Essex ran through the gap in the mother's arm just in the door bar. "Oh, good Lord, there!" Here answered Petunia frantically, and a moment later, Dudley's best friend Pierre Polk walked in with his mouth. Pierce was a scrawny boy with a face like a rat. He was usually one who held people's arms behind their backs while Dudley hit him. Dudley stopped pretending to be crying once. Half an hour later, Harry, who couldn't believe his luck, was sitting in the back of the Dudley's car with Piers and Dudley on the way to the first time in his life. His aunt and uncle hadn't been able to think of anything else to do with him, but before they left, Uncle Vernon had taken Harry's side. "I'm warning you," he said, putting in the large voice, running up to Harry. "I'm working on you now. Any funny business, anything at all, and you'd be in that cupboard from now on 6 years, and I'm not going to do anything," said Harry honestly. But Uncle Vernon didn't believe it. No one ever did. The problem was strange things happened around Harry, and it was just no good telling it as he had to make them happen. Once Aunt Petunia tired of Harry coming back from the barber's, looking as though he hadn't been at all, he'd taken a pair of kitchen scissors and cut his hair short. So short he had almost been bald except for his bangs, which he left to hide that horrible scar. "I have scars. It's okay." Dudley laughed himself silly at Harry, who was spending a sleepless night, imagining Ceeya next, where he had already left the bag of clothes into the type closet. The next morning, however, he had gone up to find his hair. His hair had been exactly as it was before Aunt Petunia sheared it off. He had been given a week in his cupboard for this, even though he couldn't know how it had grown back so quickly. His hair grew back after they cut it. Magic, obviously, and they're still punishing him. There are parents like this, trust me, it's awful. Not mine, but there are parents like this. I've met them. Another time, Petunia had been cranked to force him into a revolting old sweater of Dudley's, brown with orange puffballs. The artist she tried to pull over his head, the smaller seemed to become until finally might have fitted a hand puppet, but there certainly would have fit Harry. Aunt Petunia decided it must have shrunk in the wash and gone, and to his grave if Harry wasn't punished. On the other hand, he got into terrible trouble for being found on the roof of the school. Instead of his gang had been chasing him as usual when he has Harry surprised as someone else. They were sitting on the chimney. The Dudleys had received a very angry letter from Harry's head mistress telling them Harry had been climbing school buildings, but it had all been tried to do as he shouted Uncle Vernon through the locked door of his cupboard, was jumping behind the big trash cans outside the kitchen doors. Harry supposed that wind must have caught him in a mid-jump, but today nothing was going wrong. It was even worth being with Dudley and appears to be spending the day somewhere that wasn't school. His cupboard and Miss Fig's cabbage-smelling living room. While he drove Uncle Vernon complaints empathy, he likes to complain about things people at work. Harry the council, Harry the bank, and Harry were just a few of his favorites. This morning it was motorcycles roaring along like maniacs, like young hoodlums. He said, "It's a motorcycle." Overtook them. I had a dream of a motorcycle," said Harry, remembering suddenly was flying. Uncle Vernon rushed into the car in front. He turned right into his seat and yelled at Harry's face like a giant pig with a mustache. "Motorcycles don't fly!" Dudley and Pierce snickered. Snickered. Kind of like the candy bar, I guess, with G. I know they don't said it was only a dream. But he wished he hadn't said anything. If there was one thing that Dursley hated more than asking, it was his talking about anything acting in weight. No matter if it was in a dream or even a cartoon, he seemed he might get dangerous ideas. It was a very sunny Saturday, and the zoo was crowded with families. The Dudleys and Pierce large chocolate ice creams at the entrance, and because his smiling Olivia asked Harry when he wanted before they could hurry him if they bought a cheap lemon ice pop. It wasn't Betty that Harry thought. Licking, he was watching gorilla scratching his head, was looking remarkably at Dudley, so that it wasn't blonde. Harry had the best morning he had in a long time. He was careful to walk a little way apart from the Dursley so that Dudley and Pierce were starting to get bored with the animals. Violent shed wouldn't fall back on their favorite hobby of hitting him. I'm trying to read and breathe at the same time. You know how impossible that is? That's not impossible, it's just very difficult. Anyways, where was I? Blah 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 zoo. Yeah, okay, he looks like the gorilla. Cool story, bro. Pierce was starting to get bored of the animals, but someone fall back on their favorite hobby of hitting him. They ate in the zoo restaurant when Dudley had a tantrum because his knocker box Lloyd didn't have enough ice cream on top. I'm gonna bring about him another one, and Harry with a lot of finish the first. Harry felt awkward that he should have known it was all too good to last. After the lunch, they went to the reptiles. It was cool and dark in there, with lit windows all along the walls. Behind the glass, all sorts of living things were crawling and slithering over bits of wood and stone. Dudley and Pierce wanted to see huge poisonous cobras and thick, man-crushing pythons. Dudley quickly found the largest snake in the place. It could have wrapped its body twice around Uncle Vernon's car and crushed its trash can, but the moment it didn't look in the mood. In fact, it was fast asleep. If this video glitches, I'm gonna be so pissed. I might even upload whatever. We'll see. Let's see. Hopefully it's possible. Hopefully it doesn't glitch. Okay, where was I? Blah, blah, blah. In fact, it was fast asleep. Dudley stood with his nose pressed against the glass, staring at the glistening brown coils. "Make it move," he wanted as far as Uncle Vernon tapped on the glass, but the snake didn't bulge. "Do it again," Dudley ordered. Uncle Vernon wrapped the glass snorted with his knuckles, but the snake just snores down. "This is boring," Dudley snarled. "This is not that bad, except the pain. It's pretty awful." What am I saying? I'm losing it. Where was I? I'm literally losing my spot. Uncle Vernon the glass with his knuckles, but the snake just snoozed on. "This is boring," Dudley moaned. He snuffled away. Harry moved in front of the tank and looked intently at the snake. He wouldn't have been sorry if he had died aboard himself. No company except stupid people drumming their fingers on the glass, trying to disturb it all day long. It was worse than having a cupboard in a bedroom while the only visitor was Aunt Petunia hammering on the door to wake you up. At least he got a visit for the rest of the house. The snake could only open his real eyes. Slowly raised his head until his eyes were on a level with Harry's. It winked. Harry stared. Then he looked quickly around to see if anyone was watching. They weren't. He looked at the snake and winked too. The snake jerked his head toward Uncle Vernon and Dudley, then raised his eyes and gave Harry a look that said quite plainly, "I get this all the time." Okay, cool. "I know," Harry murmured through the glass, though he wasn't sure the snake could hear him. It must be really annoying, the snake nodded. So, "Where do you come from anyway?" Harry asked. The snake gave his tail a left side to the next. Harry peered at it. "Boa constrictor, Brazil? Was it nice there?" The boa constrictor grabbed his tail to stand and Harry on the space and was brighter than the zoo. "Oh, I see you've never been to Brazil." The snake shook his head at a fitting shot behind Harry, made both of them jump. "Dudley, Mr. Dursley, come to look at the snake. You won't believe what it's doing." "Oh, my lord!" Dudley came waddling through as fast as he could. "Out of the way," he said. He perched Harry in the ribs. Caught by surprise, Harry fell on the concrete floor. What came next happened so fast. No one saw what happened. 1 second, Pierce and Dudley were leaning right close to the glass. The next they leapt back with howls of horror. Harry sat up and gasped. The glass front of the door broke and his tank had vanished. The great snake was uncoiling itself rapidly, slithering onto the floor. People throughout the reptile screamed and started running for the exit. The snake fled swiftly past him. Harry could have sworn a low hissing voice said, "Brazil, here I come. Thanks, amigo." The keeper of the reptile house was in shock. How can I read this fast? I think it's my anxiety, because my anxiety makes my brain like process at such intense speeds that I'm exhausted after 5 minutes of just thinking. But the plus side is I can read real quick, right? I always had the highest fluency and reading speed in elementary school. Anyways, but the glass, he kept saying, "Where did the glass go?" The zoo director himself made Aunt Petunia a cup of strong, sweet tea while he puzzled over and over again. Pierce and Dudley took over the game as far as having the snake hadn't done anything except snap playful at their heels as it passed. By the time they were all back in the Governor's car, Dudley was telling him how they had nearly been off his leg while Pierce was saying he had been to squeeze him to death. Worst of all, for Harry at least, was Pierce calming down enough to say, "Harry was talking to her, weren't you, Harry?" "Oh no, my nose is itchy," Uncle Vernon said until Pierce was safely out of the house before staring into Henry. He was so angry he could hardly speak. He said, "Go, cupboard, stay no meals," before he collapsed into a chair. And Aunt Petunia had to run to get him a large brandy. Why not tequila? Harry lay in his dark cupboard much later, wishing he had watched. He didn't know what time it was until he sure Dudley was sleepy yet. Then until they were, he couldn't risk thinking to the kitchen for some food. He lived with the Dudley almost 10 years. Miserable years only could remember. He'd ever seen a baby and his parents had died in the car. She didn't remember being in the car when his parents had died. Sometimes when he strained his memory doing long routes in the cupboard, he came up with a strange vision, a blinding flash of green light and a burning pain on his forehead. This he supposed was a crash, though he couldn't imagine where all the green light came from. I'm so shocked that I understand what I'm reading. Insane. Couldn't remember his parents at all. His aunt and uncle never spoke about them, and of course he was afraid to ask questions. There was no parties in the house. So it's like I'm reading it and I'm hearing my words, and then my brain is reading it in my head. So it's like I'm reading it twice. I think that's what I understand. Because my brain is reading it silently, and my mouth is reading it out loud, and then I'm hearing it. So it's like double exposure. Awesome. Because my brain reads at a different speed than my mouth can say. My brain reads a little bit quicker. Anyways. Couldn't remember his parents. His aunt and uncle never spoke to them. And of course he was starting to ask questions. There were no fighters in the house. When he had been younger, he had dreamed someone always come and take him away. It never happened. The Dursley were his only face. Sometimes he thought of maybe hope that strangers in the street seemed to know him. Very strange strangers they were. To a tiny man in Valley Pop had bowed to him once while shopping in Abyssinian Deli. After Harry fair asleep, he knew about the man. He had rushed them out of the shop without buying anything. A wild-looking old woman dressed all in green had waved merrily at him once on bus. A bald man in a very long purple coat had actually shaken his hand in the street the other day and then walked over without a word. The weirdest thing about all these people was that the way they seemed to vanish the second Harry tried to get over to law school. He had no one. Everybody knew that Dudley's gang hated the odd Harry Potter in his baggy clothes and broken glasses, and nobody liked to screw with Dudley's gang. Alright, chapter 3, which means water break and a shot. Oh my lord. You think I'm going to be able to do this in less than 2 hours? I don't think so. It doesn't seem like it. I'm barely on my second shot. Or second half shot. I better measure this properly because I'm a lightweight. 17 chapters means 8.5 shots. Which means I've done 2 of 17. We already knew that, didn't we? I hope I don't lose my voice by the end of this. This is a long... I can't take too long of a break. I'm just going to go straight into this because, like the video says, this is all in one reading, so... Chapter 3, The Letters from No One. Escape of the Brazilian broken straightener and Harry's lungs were by the time you all out of this cupboard on the summer holidays started, and Dudley had already brought his new video camera, crashes remote control airplane, and for the first time raising but knocked down old Miss Fig as she crossed Pivot Drive on her crutches. Harry was glad school was over, but there was no escaping Dudley's gang, who visited the house every single day. Pierce, Dennis, Malcolm, and Gordon were all big and stupid, but Dudley was the biggest and stupidest of the lot. He was a leader. The rest of them were all quite happy to join Dudley's favorite sport, Harry hunting. This was why Harry spent as much time out of the house, wandering around and thinking about the end of the holidays, where he could have a tiny ray of hope. When September came, he would be going to secondary school, and for the first time in his life, he wouldn't be with Dudley. Dudley had mixed up at unconventional private schools. Smeltings. Piers Polkins was going there too. Harry, on the other hand, was going to Stonewall High, the local public school. Dudley thought this was very these stuff. People's heads down the toilet the first day at Stonewall. What time is it? 8:22. I might leave at like 9:50. I better finish this. No thanks, said Harry. Well, they said people down the toilet and Stonewall. He told her, want to come upstairs and write? No thanks, said Harry. The poor toilet's never had anything as far as your head down. It might be sick. Then he ran before Dudley could run according to what he said. One day in July, Aunt Petunia took Dudley down to London to buy his Smeltings uniform, leaving Harry Miss Figs. Miss Figs was in bed as usual. It turned out she'd broken her leg tripping over one of the cats, and she didn't seem quite as fond of them as before. She let Harry watch television and gave them a bit of a chocolate cake that tasted as though she'd had it for several years. That evening, Dudley paroled around the living room from the family in his brand new uniform. I don't even know if my computer is going to go into sleep mode, but just in case, I'm going to touch the trackpad every now and then. Anyways, where was I? One day in July, Aunt Petunia took Dudley to London to buy his Smeltings uniform, leaving Harry Miss Figs. Miss Figs was in bed. Usually turned she broke her leg tripping over one of her cats. Oh no, she tripped over a cat, and she didn't seem quite as fond of them as before. It's your fault for tripping over them. Where was I? She let Harry watch something and gave him a bit of a chocolate cake, and even though he tasted it as though she had it for several years, that evening, Dudley paraded around the living for the family in the brand new uniform. Smeltings boards were maroon tail cords, orange knickerbockers, and flat straw hats called boaters. They also carried knobbly sticks using for each other while the teachers weren't looking. This was to be good training for later. Obviously, he looked at Adelina's new knickerbockers and converted and said gruffly that this was the proudest moment of his life. And Petunia burst into tears, and she said he couldn't believe it was her equal Dudley. She looked too handsome and grown up. He didn't trust himself to speak. He thought two of his words may already have cracked from trying not to laugh. Okay, Harry, sure. There was a horrible smell in the kitchen. The next morning when Harry went to breakfast, it seemed to be coming from a large meal tub in the sink. He would have to look. The tub was full of what looked like dirty rags swimming grey water. What's this? He asked him. Harry's lips tightened as they always did. If he dared ask her, your school uniform, she said. Question. Harry looked on the wall again. Oh, said, I didn't realize it had to be so wet. Don't be super sensitive. I'm dying some of Dudley's old things. Great for you. It'll look just like everyone else when I'm finished. Harry seriously does, but thought it was best not to argue. He sat on the table and trying to think about Harry's going to look on his first day of Stonewall High, like he was wearing bits of old elephant skin, probably. Dudley and Uncle Vernon came in, both with wrinkled noses because of the smell from Harry's uniform. Uncle Vernon opened his newspaper as usual, and Dudley banged a Smelting stick, which he carried everywhere on the table. They carried the click of the mail slot and flop of letters and the doormat. Get the mail, Dudley, said Uncle Vernon from behind his paper. Make Harry get it. Get the mail, Harry. Make Dudley get it. Poke him with your smelting stick, Dudley. Harry dodged the smelting stick and went to the mail. Three things lie on the doormat. A postcard from Uncle Vernon's sister, Marge, who was vacationing in the Isle of Wight, a brown envelope that looked like a bill, and a letter from Harry. Harry picked it up and stared at it, his heart twinging like a gigantic classic man. No one ever in this whole life had written to him. Who would? He had no friends, no other relatives. He didn't belong to the library, so he never... Excuse me. That alcohol, though. She never even got notes asking for books yet. There was a letter addressed so plainly there could be no mistake. Mr. H. Potter, the cupboard under the stairs, 4 Privet Drive, Little Winging, Surrey. The envelope was thick and heavy, made of yellowish parchment, and the address was written in emerald green ink. There was no stamp. Turning the envelope over his hand, trembling, Harry saw a purple wax seal bearing a coat of arms, a lion, an eagle, a badger, and a stake around surrounding a large letter H. Hurry up, boy, Uncle shouted Uncle Vernon from the kitchen. What are you doing? Shaking from the letter. Bombs, each color his own. Harry went back to the kitchen, still staring at his letter. He handed Uncle Vernon the bell, and the postcard sat down and slowly began to open the yellow envelope. Uncle Vernon ripped open the bill, snotted in disgust, and flipped over the postcard. Marge Zill, he informed Aunt Petunia. I ate a funny whelk, Dad, said Dudley suddenly. Dad, Harry's got something. Harry was on the point of unfolding his letter, which was written on the same heavy parchment of the envelope, but it was jerked up out of his hand by Uncle Vernon. Now that's rude. You don't take someone's letter, especially if it's addressed to them. That's mine, said Harry. He's trying to snatch it back. Who'd be ratting at you? Sneered Uncle Vernon, shaking the letter open with one hand and glancing at it. His face went from red to green faster than a set of traffic lights. And it didn't stop there. Wow, cool. Sounds like it was the grayish white of old porch. Papa Petunia, he gasped. Billy tried to grab the letter to read it. Uncle Vernon out of his reach. Aunt Petunia took curiously and read the first line. For a moment, it looked as though she might faint. She clutched her throat and made a choking noise. Vernon, oh my goodness, Vernon! They stared at each other, screaming to forgetting that Harry and Dudley were still in the room. Dudley wasn't trying to be ignored. He gave his father a sharp tap on the head while the smell things. I want to read that letter, he said. I want to read it, and said, Here, fiercely, it's mine. Get up, both of you. Uncle Vernon said, the letter back inside his envelope. Harry didn't move. I want my letter! He shouted. I would too if that's the only letter I've gotten in ever. I would really want it. I'd be so curious. I don't think I could live with that curiosity. Let me see it, demanded Dudley. Wait, Dudley's the one who wants to see it? I'm so confused. Anyways, out! Roared Uncle Vernon, and then both Harry and Dudley, by the scruffs of the neck, threw them into the hall, slamming the kitchen door behind them. Harry and Dudley promptly had a furious but silent fight over who would listen to the key. Dudley won, so Harry's glasses tingling from my own listened to the crack between the door and friend and said, I'm presenting quavering. Look at the address. How could there still be nowhere you sleep? You don't think they're watching the house, watching spying, might be following us, muttered Uncle Vernon wildly. But what would you do, Vernon said? Should we write back? Tell them we don't want Harry used the uncle's shiny black shoes, pacing up down the kitchen. No, he certainly won't. Well, no, we won't get an answer. Yes, that's best. We won't do anything. But I'm not having one in the house, Petunia. Don't when we started, we took them in. We stamped out the dangerous nausea. That evening, when you got back from the work, Uncle Vernon did something he'd never done before. He visited Harry in his cupboard. Where's my letter? Said Harry. The moment Uncle Vernon squeezed through the door. Who's writing to me? No one. It was addressed to you by mistake, said Uncle Vernon. Surely I have burned it. It was not a mistake, said Harry angrily. It had my cupboard on it. Silence! Yelled Uncle Vernon. A couple of spreads fell from the ceiling. He took a deep breath and then forced his face into a smile, which looked quite painful. When you're trying to be fake. I mean, when you're trying to act real, but you're being fake. Yeah! What's up? Oh yeah, sorry about this cupboard. You and I have been thinking you're really getting a bit big for it. We think it might be nice if you moved to Dudley's second bedroom. Why? Said Harry. Don't ask questions, snapped his uncle. Take this upstairs. Take this step upstairs now. The Dudley's house had been forward. One for Uncle Vernon and one for the visitors. Usually Uncle Vernon's sister Marge, who was one where Dudley slept and one where Dudley kept all the toys and things that wouldn't fit into his bedroom. It was his first bedroom. It only took Harry one trip upstairs from everything. He moved on from the cupboard to the room. He sat down on the bed and stared around him. Just one trip? That's sad. He doesn't have anything. Anyways, he sat down on the bed and stared around him. Nearly everything in here was broken. The month-old video camera was laying on the top of a small word and daintily, and once over the next door neighbor's dog. In the corner was Dudley's forever television, which he put in his foot through which when his favorite program had been cancelled. There was a large birdcage which once held a parrot that Dudley had swapped at school for a Rio air rifle, which was on the shelf with the end all the bent because Dudley had sat on it. Other shelves were full of 37 minutes. Books, they were the only things in the room that looked as though they'd never been touched. From downstairs came the sound of Dudley bawling at his mother. I don't want him in there. I need that room. Make him get out. Harry sat and stretched out of bed. Yesterday he'd have given anything to be up here. Today he'd rather be back in his cupboard with that letter up here without it. Next morning at breakfast everything was quiet. Dudley was in shock. He'd screamed, welched his father, and his smelting stick had been on purpose, kicked his mother, and then thrown his tortoise through the greenhouse river, and he still hadn't his room back. Harry was thinking about the time yesterday and really wishing he had opened the letter in the hall. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia kept looking at each other darkly. When the mail arrived, Uncle Vernon, who seemed to be trying to be nice to Harry, made Dudley go and get it. Ugh! I'm trying to stretch. Oh, fuck, where am I? Oh, my God. Next morning, breakfast, everything was quiet. Dudley was in shock. He'd been whacked his father with the smelting stick back on purpose, kicked his mother, and thrown his tortoise through the greenhouse roof. I'm already feeling like this is torture. And he still didn't have his room back here, thinking about the time yesterday and bitterly wishing he'd opened the letter in the hall. Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia kept looking at each other darkly. When the mail arrived, Uncle Vernon, who seemed to be trying to be nice to Harry, made Dudley go and get it. They heard him bringing things, smelting on the way down the hall. Then he shouted, "There's another one, Mr. H. Potter, the smallest bedroom, 4 Pivot Drive." With a strangled Uncle Vernon left from his seat and ran down the hall, Harry right behind him. Uncle Vernon had to wrestle Dudley to the ground to get the letter from him, which was made difficult by the fact that Harry had grabbed Uncle Vernon around the neck from behind. Damn, Harry, you are intense. Grabbing him by the neck. After a minute of confused fighting in which everyone got hit by a lot of small things. Uncle Vernon straightened up, grasping for breath, which Harry's letter clutched in his hands. If you're still watching this, props to you. I wouldn't be. Go to your cupboard, I mean your bedroom, he wheezed. Now, Harry Dudley, just go. Harry walked around his new room. Someone knew he had moved out to his cupboard. To his cupboard? Yeah, and they seemed to know he hadn't received his first letter. Surely they meant they'd try again, and that time he'd make sure they didn't fail. He had a plan. The repaired alarm rang at 6 o'clock in the next morning. Harry did off so quickly and dressed silently. He must have waked the Dursleys. He stole downstairs without turning on any of the lights. He was going to wait for the postman on the corner Privet Drive and get the letters for number 4 first. His heart hammered as he crept across the dark road toward the front door. Arr! Harry leapt into the air. He trotted on something big and squashed in the doormat. Something alive. Lex looked upstairs to the door. Harry was at the big squash. Something had been his uncle's face. Wow, that sucks. Uncle Vernon had been lying at the lying at the foot of the front door in a sleeping bag, clearly making sure that Harry didn't do exactly what he'd been trying to do. He stared at Harry for half an hour, and then someone go back and make a cup of tea. Harry shuffled miserably off in the kitchen, and let him go out the mail. Arrived, ran to Uncle Vernon's lap. Harry could see their letters addressed in green ink. I want, he began. Uncle Vernon was tearing the letters into pieces before his eyes. Fuck. Uncle Vernon didn't want to work that day. He stayed at home and nailed up the mail slot. He explained to him, there are a handful of nails. It can't be delivered them. I have to read faster. They'll just give. I'm not sure that will work, but I don't want these people who are in strange ways between you. They're not like you, said Uncle Vernon, trying to get in a world peace and had trouble. On Friday, they're no less than 12 years of as they couldn't go through the mail slot. They had been pushed over the door, slid through the slides, and even a few forced through the small window of the downstairs bedroom. Uncle Vernon stayed at home after reading all the letters. He got a hammer. Held put up the cracks around the front and back of the door. No one could get out. He hummed through tiptoes through the tulips as he worked and jumped at small noise. Today things had been out of hand. 24 letters, and Harry found on the way to the house, rolled up and hidden each side of the two as an exact, very confused milkman had Aunt Petunia through the living room. Confused milkman. Well, Uncle Vernon and Vinny telling us the post office. Well, where was I? The milkman, right? Handed Aunt Petunia through the living room window while Uncle Vernon made fiercely telephone calls to the post office in the dairy, trying to find someone to complain to. Aunt Petunia shredded the letters in the food parcel. What on earth wants to talk to you this badly? Asked Harry in amazement. On Sunday morning, Uncle Vernon sat down at the breakfast table, looking tired and rather ill, but happy. Unpleasant Sundays reminded them carefully as he spread marmalade on the spirit to no damn letters today. Something went wrong. Whizzing down the kitchen chambers, he spoke to them. Next month, 30 or 40 letters came out of the fireplace as well as the Dursley chucked, but Harry slept into the air, trying to call one out. One out! Uncle Vernon said to Harry when he raced through him into the uncle. When Aunt Petunia and Dudley had run out with their arms over the face, Uncle Vernon slammed the door shut. They could hear the letters with a later letters steaming into the room, battling off the walls and floor. That does, said Uncle Vernon, trying to speak calmly, but pulling great riffs out of his mustache at the same time. I want you all the block in 5 minutes, ready to leave. We're going away, Jack said. Put some clothes, no arguments. He looked so dangerously with half his mustache missing that no one dared argue. 10 minutes later, they had watched their way through the board up boars and were in the car speeding toward the highway. Dudley was snipping in the backseat. His father had him around the car, holding the picture back to the television, VCR, and computer in his sports bag. They drove, even and Petite didn't dare us where they were going. Every now and then, Uncle Vernon would take a sharp turn and then drive in the opposite direction for a while. Shake him off, he wouldn't remember. Shake him up, shake him up. He wouldn't remember what did this. They didn't stop to eat or drink all day. By nightfall, Dudley was howling. He didn't have such a bad day in his life. He was hungry. He'd missed 5 television programs he wanted to see, and he'd never gone to so long without blowing up an alien listening to Uncle Vernon. Stopped that. A loud, gloomy looking hotel on the outskirts of Big Dudley and Harry shared a room with twin beds and dumb masky sheets. Dudley snored, but Harry stayed awake, sitting on the window, staring down the lights, passing cars, wondering. They ate stale cornflakes and cold tin tomatoes on toast for breakfast the next day. They had finished them when the owner of the hotel came over to suggest, excuse me, but this one of Mr. H. Potter only got about 100 of these at the Terran test. She held the below so they could read the green English. Mr. H. Potter, room 17, Relview Hotel, Cokeworth. Harry made a graph for the letter. Uncle Vernon knocked his hand out of the way. The woman said, I'll take them, said Uncle Vernon, setting up quickly and following her to the dining room. Wouldn't you better just go home, dear? Aunt Petunia suggested timidly hours later, but Uncle Vernon didn't seem to hear her. Exactly what he was looking for, none of them knew. He drove them to the middle of a forest. I looked around, shook his head, gone back there, and they went again. The same thing happened in the middle of a plowed field, halfway through. Augustus was on the top of a multi-level parking garage. Daddy's gone mad, he's in Dudley asked Aunt Petunia. Dudley said Uncle Vernon had parked at the coast, locked him in the car, and had disappeared. It started to rain. Great drops were on the roof of the car. Dudley sniveled. This Monday, he told his mother, the great Umberto is on tonight. I'll say somewhere with the television. Somebody this reminded Harry of something. If it was Monday, and you could all usually count Dudley to know the days of the week because of the television. Then tomorrow, Dudley was on Harry's 11th birthday. Of course, his birthdays were never exactly fun. Last year's Dudley had given him a coat hanger and a pair of Uncle Vernon's old socks. So you weren't even 11 every day. Uncle Vernon was back and he was smiling. He was also carrying a long thing package on the damp when he asked what he bought. Found the first place, he said. Come on, everyone out. It was very cold outside. The garden was pointing at what looked like a large rockway out of the sea. Perched on the top of the rock was the most miserable little snack you could imagine. One thing was certain, there was no television there. Storm forecast for today. Uncle Vernon gleefully cut things hands together, and then Jim McLean great to lend his boat. To this old man came abutting up to them, providing with a rather wicked grin at an old rowboat bobbing in his iron gray water below them. I've already got some rations, said Uncle Vernon to all aboard. Swinging the bow, ICC, and kept around the nooks and Shelley waiting in the face. After the single hours, they reached the room. Uncle Vernon led away to the broken down house. Inside was horrible. Smell of seaweed. Smell of seaweed. 420. I'm gonna say weird things throughout this video. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. This is just excessive, to say the least. I've already got some rations, so all aboard. It was freezing the boat. Ice, spraying, crept down the rails. A chilly wind whipped their faces. After all seemed like ours, they reached the rock where Uncle Vernon, slipping and sliding, led the way to the broken down house. Whistled through the gaps in the wooden walls in the fireplace, and damp and empty. There were only 2 rooms. Uncle Vernon's rations. turned out to be a bag of chips each and 4 bananas. He tried to start a fire, but the empty chip bags just smoked and shriveled up. Could we do with some letters now? He said cheerfully. He was in a very good mood. Obviously, he thought nobody stood a chance of reaching them here in a storm to deliver mail. Harry privately agreed, though she thought she didn't cheer him up at all. At night, the promise blew around. The storm blew up around them, spray from the high waves, sprouted the walls in the hut, and then a fierce wind rattled the filthy windows. And Tiny noted a few moldy blankets in the second room, made up a bed for Dudley on the mouthy sofa. She went over and sat to the lumpy door next door, and Harry was left to the softest bit of floor he couldn't curl up under the thinnest, most ragged blanket. The storm raged more and more ferociously as the night went on. Harry couldn't sleep. He shivered and turned over, trying to comfortable, his stomach rumbling with hunger. Dudley's stars were drawn by the little rolls of thunder that snared into the midnight. The light of the day, all of what Dudley's watch was dangling over the edge of the sofa on his fat wrist told her he'd been 11 in 10 minutes time. He only watched the birthday tick timer. Tick near, wondering if the Dudley were remembering. I wonder where the letter written writer was. Now 5 minutes ago, Harry heard something crack outside. He hoped the roof wasn't going to fall in, although he might warm if it 4 minutes ago. Maybe the house in Purple Drive would be full letters. They go back into the table to see one. I'm a completionist, so this is tough because I want to give up, but I'm not. I don't think I will. It was still once in my mouth. 3 minutes ago, what was that? The sea slapping hard on the rock like that. And 2 minutes ago, that was a funny crunching noise. What was the rock coming to see? 1 minute ago, and he'd be 11:30 seconds, 20:10, 9 maybe to wake. Dudley just go 9, 3, 2, 1, boom! The whole shack shivered, and Harry stopped, well upright, staring at the door. Someone was outside, knocking to come in. Chapter 4: The Keeper of the Keys. Already on chapter 4 out of 17. So I've done 3 out of 17, which is about 1/6. And 100 divided by 6 is what? Like 10 times 6, 12. Oh, fuck, my brain. I can't even do math properly. Let's see, 6 times 15. That's 6 times 30, 60, 90. Let's see, I would say 16. I'm 1/16 of the way, or 16%. I can't do math, I'm sorry. Let's just take this shot. I'm going to slowly lose myself. It still tastes like tequila. I'm supposed to go clubbing tonight, and this was my idea of pre-gaming. However, I might not finish reading in time and might skip the club just to read this book. Do it for the YouTube. The Keeper of the Keys. Boom, they knocked again. Dudley jerked away. Where's the candy? Says stupidly. There was a crash behind them and uncovered and came skating to the room. He was holding a rifle in his hands, and now they knew that they had a long, thin package he had brought with him. Who's there? He shouted. I warned you. I'm armed. There was a pause, then smash. The door was hit with such force that it swung clean off its hinges, and with a deafening crash landed on the floor. A giant man standing in the doorway. His face was almost completed by a long, shaggy mane of hair and a wild, tangled beard, but you could make out his eyes gleaming like black beetles under all the hair. Let me read these texts really quick. Oh shit, see, they are going clubbing at 10, so I have like an hour and a half to read. This isn't gonna happen, it's not possible, but I'm gonna try. Who's there? He shouted. Warn I'm armed. There was a pause and smashed the doors with such force, cleaning off hinges. And I'm gonna read super fast now because I want to finish this. Okay, definitely crashed around the floor. A giant man was standing in the doorway. His face almost gleamed in a long, shaggy mane of wild hair and a tangled hair, but you couldn't mean I was graining like back beetles under there. The man squeezed away into the house, stopping so that he brushed his ceiling. He went down, picked up the door, fitted, and eased it back into the noise. The sword storm sharp a little. He turned to the without, couldn't make us a cup of tea, couldn't he? It was an easy journey, sort of the subword. Dudley said with fear. Put up, yeah, great lump, said the stranger. Dudley squeaked and ran to the bed and was crushing, terrified, and go over. Here's Harry, said the giant. Here's looking at this. There's a giant cool. The beetle eyes were crazy in his mouth. Last time I saw you, I saw only a baby, said the giant. Yeah, you look a lot like your dad, but you got your mom's eyes. I never made a very raspy noise. I demand you leave once. He said, you are biking and answering. Shut up, Dudley. Yeah, you get your great poon, said the giant. He was shoved the back of the sofa, jerked the gun of uncovered in his hands, bent it over and as it had been made of rubber, and threw it into a corner of the room. Uncovered and made another funny noise like a mouse being trodden on. Anyway, Harry, said the giant, turning his back on the girl. He's a very happy birthday to you. Got some for you. I might to see it on some point, but it'll taste alright. 2 minutes ago, his back over. He pulled it slightly. I didn't know why go an accent there, but squash box. Harry opened it with trembling hands. It was a large, sticky chocolate cake with happy birthday Harry written on a green icing. Look at that giant. He went to say thank you. The words got lost in his mouth, and he was instead, who are you? The giant chuckled. True, I haven't introduced myself. Rubus Hagrid, keeper of the keys and Hagrid at Hogwarts. Grounds at Hogwarts. He held an enormous hand and shook Harry's. Hold on. What about that tea then, eh? He said, rubbing his hands together. I'd not say to sound stronger if you got it in your mind. His eyes filled an empty gate with the shriveled chip bags in it, and he snorted. He bent down to the fireplace. He couldn't see what he was doing, but he drove back a second later. There was a roaring fire. It filled the whole damp hut with a flickering light, and Harry felt the warmth rush all over him, and he sunk into a hot bath. The giant sat down on the sofa, which sagged on his way, and began taking all sorts of things out of the pockets of a coasted cup and ice, a squashy package of sausages, a poker, a teapot, several chipmunks, and a bowl of some of liquid that he took a swig from before starting to make tea. Soon the hut was full of the sound and smell of sizzling sausage. Nobody said a thing when the jar was smoking, but he said, for 6 fat, juicy, slight bone sausages and poker, Dudley fidgeted a little, uncovered and said sharply, don't touch anything gives you, Dudley. The giant chucked darkly. Stop with the accent, David. Your great pudding of a son don't need fan anymore, Dudley. Don't worry. He pushed aside just Harry, who hungry he had never seen anything sooner, but he tasted him to get off the giant eyes off the giant flies, and nobody seemed to explain anything. He said, I'm sorry, but I still don't really know who you are. The giant took a gulp of tea and wiped his mouth and over his hand. Call me Hagrid, he said. Everyone knows. And I told you I'm keeper of the keys at Hogwarts. Y'all know about Hogwarts, of course. No. I know, said Harry. Hagrid looked shocked. Sorry, Harry. Sorry, said Hagrid, but turning down the stairs, he was shrinking back and was. I've seen them, and sorry, are you getting your letters? But I never thought you wouldn't have known about Hogwarts, for crying out loud. Did you ever wonder where the parents learned it all? Oh, what? Asked Harry. Oh, what? Hagrid. Now that was just one second. He leapt to his feet. In a second, he was full. Dudley was counting in the once. While do you mean to tell me your growler that this boy knows nothing about anything? Harry thought he was going to be far. He had no school after all. The marks weren't bad. I know something. He said I can do math and do stuff. But Hagrid simply held his hand about our world. Your world, my parents' world. What world? Harry said he was about to say, Dursley, boom, Duncan Vernon, who had gone very pale, was something like Bimblewell, Mibberwimble. Hagrid said, well, but you know, Miss, your mom and dad, he said, I mean, they're famous. You're famous. What? My mom and dad were famous, weren't they? Yeah, don't you know? You don't. Hagrid had his fingers through his hair, fixing Harry with a bill. He said, yeah, you don't know who they were? Yeah, he said, finally, Uncle Vernon still. You stop, Peekaboo. Stop right there. I've heard you tell that boy anything. Every man that burly belly would have been quelled into the fierce look Hagrid over him when Hagrid spoke. His one syllable trembled rage. You never told him what it was in the letter Dumbledore left for him. I was there. I said, Dumbledore, leave it. Dursley, I've kept him warm all these years. No, from what? I said, Hagrid. Stop it, Freddy, said Uncle Vernon, panting. I'm to give a guess. I'll go borrow your heads, boy, of you. Harry, you're a wizard. There was Harry, you're a wizard. We're at that part. There was sense that only the tea and the whittling could be heard. I'm a what? gasped Harry. A wizard, of course, said Hagrid, sitting back down on the subway, groaning at sank even lower and thumping good on. I'd say once you've been tripped up with a mom, dad like yours, when would it be? I'd reckon it's about time you read your letter. Harry stretched out his hand and took the yellowish envelope and addressed in a green envelope to Mr. H. Part of the floor, headed on the rock to see. He pulled out the letter and said, Hogwarts School, Witchcraft and Wizardry. Headmaster Albus Dumbledore, Order Merlin, First Class, Grand Chief Warlock, Supreme and Co-op in Country Wizard. Dear Mr. Paul, we are pleased to inform you that you have been accepted to Hogwarts School, Witchcraft and Wizardry. Please find and enclose the list of necessary books and equipment. Term begins on September 1st. We await you all by no later than July 31st. Yours sincerely, Minerva McGonagall, Deputy Headmistress. Fuck this, taking forever. Questions exploded inside Harry's head like fireworks, and he couldn't decide which to ask first. After a few minutes, he said, what does it mean? There, wait, my owl galloping gargons out, man, he said. Harry, clapping a head to his forehead with a knocked over house. Sorry, another pocket of what's called a real life house rough with a long quill and a roll of parchment with his when he scribbled a note that could be after. Dear Professor Dumbledore, given Harry's letter, taking him to buy his things from my weather resort, but I hope you're well, Hagrid. Hagrid told his Noel, give it to that which came to the beak, went to the door, and threw that one to the storm, and he came back and sat through others and so normal second another. Close it quickly. Oh my god, where was I sitting? Hurry up at the moment, Hagrid said Ash face, looking angry, both to the first line. He said, going, said Hagrid, gone, I like to see a great muggle, you stop it. He said, as what? Said Harry, and she said, the more I drink, the harder it is to read. Oh my god, said Hagrid. Oh, I guess it was economic. I'm a folk like them, and it's your bad luck you keep in a family of the beggars. We were so reason to put out to the rubbish, said Uncle Vernon. Stop it, a wizard. Indeed, knew, said Harry. You know I'm a wizard, and you, shrieked Hermes, and you knew, of course we knew. How could you not be? My dentist sister was all. She got a letter just like and disappeared off that school and came every vacation with a pocket full of frog spawn, turning some insecurities. I was the only one who saw her for what she was, a freak. But for my mother, her father, Noah was Lily, and that Lily, and they were proud of having witch in the family. She stopped to draw a dream bath. In the morning, on it seems to be a dwindling on the drill for the years. She met Peter at school, and they left and got married. And how do you? Of course, I knew Jesus' name, just strange, just as the Norma. And then it was please you, and we got blown up, and we got landed with you. Harry got very white. As soon as he found his voice, he said, blown up? You told me they died in a car crash, wrote Harry Chambers, so he really does it caught it tomorrow. How could a car crash Lily and James Potter? It's an outrage. Scandal, Harry Potter, not knowing his own story when even a kid world knows his name. Every time one knows his name. But why? What happened? Harry said urgently. The anger faded from Hagrid's face. He looked suddenly anxious. I never expected. My hands are sore from holding the book up. I also went to the gym today, so maybe that's why I'm sore. Harry, Dumbledore threw me. I had no idea when Dumbledore threw me the beginning and how much did you know, Harry? I didn't know if I'm the right person to tell you, but someone's got it. Yeah, you got it to Hogwarts not knowing. He threw a dirty look at the Dursleys. Well, at best yet, as much as I can tell you, mind, I can't tell you everything. It's a great mystery parts of it. He said down into the fire for a few seconds, and then he said, it begins, I suppose, with a person called, listen here, bro, yeah, everyone in our world knows who. Well, I know to say his name, but I can't help it. No one does. Why not? Gulping girls. Harry Potter was still scared by me. It's difficult. See where this word who went as bad as worse, and his name was Hagrid. Gulping. No one came out. Could you write it down, Harry? Smith? Nah, I can't spell it. All right, Voldemort. Hagrid shouted. Don't make me say it again. Anyways, this is even wizard about 20 years ago. Started looking for followers. Got him to some more afraid, which is in Tobacco Park, because he was doing himself all right. Dark days, Derry. So I'm about 1/6 of the way. Not bad. Didn't know who to trust. Didn't get friendly with strange wizards, which several things happened. He was taken over, of course, some was upset, he killed him horribly. One of them all he said left was Hogwarts, reckoned Dumbledore's. You know who was afraid of Dumbledore's taking the school, not just them anyway. Now your own old dad was good as what I knew read. Him and going Hogwarts in the day, suppose the mysteries. You know who never tried to get on the side before. Probably knew they were too close to Dumbledore, wanted anything to the docks, and maybe should just be crusade. Enrique just wanted to know the well, and then just turned up the village where you all living on Halloween 10 years ago. You were just yell. He came to your house and hanging with someone in that really handkerchief and blew his nose without sound like Fargan. Sorry, he said, but it's that sad. No, your mom and dad and Pierce people you couldn't find anyone. You know who killed them all, and this is the real mystery of the thing. He tried to kill you, wanted her to clean job, I suppose, or maybe just like by killing them, he couldn't do it. No wonder how you got mark on your forehead. That was an ordinary cut. That's when you get proper evil curse such as it. I'm speaking more, I'm reading more monotonous like because I can read faster like that. Sorry. Remember when I got the mark on your forehead? There was an ordinary. There was a scar when you appear for evil touches, curse touches you. Took care of your mom and your dad house, even if it didn't work on you. That's why you're famous here. No one ever lived after this to kill him. No one except you, and he'd killed some of the best witches and wizards. What's that purple light? Oh, my microphone. I just want more tequila. Of the age McKinnon's the bones of prayers, as you was only when you live. Something very painful was going on. Harry's eyes. Harry came too close. He saw the blinking flash of green light more clearly than he would remember before. He would remember something else for the first time in life. Cold real life. He was watching left. They took you from the house on the doors. Shoulders brought you to this lot of old tosh that Uncle Vernon had jumped. He had almost forgotten in the Dursleys where Uncle Vernon certainly seemed to have gotten his courage. He was glaring at Hagrid and his fists were clenched. Now you listen to your boy. It's not like except there's something strange about you. Probably nothing good beating with a cure else for his parents. Why do people think that beating is going to help cure kids? They're stupid. Parents, stop. Don't beat your kids. A little tap maybe, but no further than that. Thanks. Took you from the old Ruffles on Dumbledore's old shirts, the load of old trash. lot of tosh that Uncle Vernon jumped almost forgot that Dudley's red Uncle Vernon generally seemed to have gone up there. He was going his friends were clenched and you listen to their boy. Except there's something strange about you, probably nothing good. If you cared in for this beer pants, they were weird as no denying, and the world's a bit off without my hints if they got opinions with these biggest types of weeks, but I was knew they come to a sticky end, but the moment Hagrid left for himself and drew a battered pink umbrella from inside his school, putting into that Uncle Vernon like a sword. He said, I'm warning you, Dursley, I'm warning you, one more word, I'm danger of being spread on the head of an umbrella by a rooted Uncle Vernon's courage fell again. He flung himself against the wall and fell silent. That's better, said Hagrid, barely handling the sofa with his time for second on the floor. Meanwhile, had questions asked hundreds of them, but what happens if all? Sorry, I mean, you know, Vole, who? Good question, Harry. He disappeared, vanished some nights. He tried to kill you, make you more famous, and that's the biggest mystery. Hey, he wasn't getting more powerful. Why'd he go? Some may say he died, calls swap in an opinion. Don't know if he had enough human left in him to die. Some he's out there, but in his time. But I don't believe it. Who was out? People who were out there on the side come back to ours. Some of them came out kind of red. Don't reckon they could have done it. Was coming back. Most of them, when he saw it to somewhere else, as far as 2 weeks carry on to something, you finished him, Harry. There was something going on that he didn't count him. I don't know what he does, but something about you stumped all right. Hagrid looked at Harry with warmth and respect, blazing in the eyes, but Harry, instead of feeling pleased and proud, felt quite sure that there had been a horrible single wizard. How could he possibly spend life as knowing about Dudley and life Petunia and Uncle Vernon? If he was really wizard, then he had to turn away towards her. They tried to look him in the cupboard. If he wants to be the greatest sorcerer in the world, how could Dudley has been able to kick him around like a football? Hagrid, he said quietly, I told you we must have a mistake. I don't think I can be a wizard. His price Hagrid chilled. Not a wizard. I had many things when happened scared away. Gary looked fine. Came to me. I never thought the thing is an uncle first. I remember. So things are starting to make sense for Harry now. Harry had been upset when he chased by Dudley's gang. He found himself out of their reach. Dreading going to school with the ferocious cut, he managed to go back in the very last time Dudley had him back. He got his rooms while he realized he was doing anything in the book and stricken on him. Harry looked back at Hagrid, smiling, and Hagrid was puzzled at being him. See, he said, Harry Potter, you're not a wizard. You're not a wizard. Not you wait. You'll be famous, right? Famous at Hogwarts. The Belgian government was not going to live without a fight. I have already told you he's not going. He's going to Stonewall High, and he'll be grateful. I've read those letters, and he needs all sorts of rubbish, spell books and wands. And if he wants to go, a great muggle like he won't stop a growled Hagrid. Stop Lily and James Potter going on her go words. You're mad. His name's been down ever since he was already about the finest school of wizard in the world. 7 years before he would know himself. He'll be with youngsters of his own sort for a change, and he'll be under the greatest headmaster Hogwarts, Albus Dumbledore. I'm not paying for some crackpot old fool teaching magic tricks, yelled Uncle Vernon, but he had mildly come to Hagrid, seized his umbrella, and whirled it over his head. My arm looks chunky at this angle, but it's just muscle, see? For the most part. I'm not paying for some crackpot. I already read that. Okay, his umbrella was never even learned. Didn't insult Dumbledore in front of me. Never insult Dumbledore in front of me. Albus Dumbledore. He brought the umbrella rushing down the point of Dudley. Where is it? What page am I on? 59? What time is it? 55? Okay, I need to read faster. Dudley was dancing in the pot with his gland over his fat bottom. He turned his back. Here was a curly pig soaking with her oil and shells. And roared him with Petunia and Dudley into the other room. He knew stalking her and slapped over behind her and slid the umbrella and stuck his head. Sure lost my temper, he said ruefully, but it didn't work anyway. Man, you're turned into a pig. I suppose he was just like a pig in a way. There was much left to do as the castaway looked with bushy eyebrows. Peter didn't mention that her anyone talks. I'm not supposed to do magic tricks. Being I was allowed to do bits to follow yet to belittle yeah. Stuff one to reasons I was to keen to take a job. Why are you supposed to do magic? I said, oh well, I said it was a hard, but I got her expelled and you tell them in my 30 they stabbed me in a wand and half and everything, but Dumbledore let me stay on the game, so you're a great man, Dumbledore. Why were you expelled? It's getting late and we got lots to do. Second, I literally gets up to town and get her books at that. He did his thick black coat and threw it to Harry. You can't skip under that. You don't mind if we wriggles a bit. I think I got a couple of mice in one of his pockets. Next shot in chapter 5. I really need to finish this. Not this bottle of tequila, but this book. So is this my 4th shot? 4th half shot. Don't do full shots. Do not fill this cup up. You're gonna die if you do this challenge. Don't do this challenge. I don't even like drinking. I'm just doing this so that this video will be more entertaining for the viewing pleasure of my viewers. So you're welcome. "56 minutes. Cool. Chapter 5. Diagon Alley. Harry woke early the next morning. He could tell it was daily. He kept his eyes shut. It was a dream. He told himself, I dreamed of a giant called Hagrid came to me. I was going to school for his own. When my eyes were coming out of my cup, but he's in denial. Though there was a loud tapping noise, and there's an opportunity knocking on the door. He thought his heart sinking. I have a headache now from that call. But he didn't open his eyes. It had been such a great dream. Tap that top all right here. Mom was getting up. He sat up and Harry's heavy coat fell off him. Though the hall was full of sunlight, the storm was over. Hanging himself was asleep on the cupboard. So when there was an owl tapping in his claw on the window, a newspaper held in its beak. Harry scrambled to the feet so happily he felt the large balloon was still inside. He went straight to the window and jerked it upon the wall, slipped and opened the newspaper on top of Harry. He didn't wake up. The owl then fluttered on the door and began to hear. So don't do that. He tried to wake up, but all the way, but snapped out of the ear, saying, carried him on the swavaging the coat. Hagrid said hardly, this an owl will pay him. Hagrid was so what? He wants pair different paper, looking in the pockets, Hagrid's off couldn't seem to cover no butt pockets, bunching suck pellets, banging of strings, pepper, and big bags. Finally, Harry pulled off a handful of strange looking coins. Give him 5 nuts, said Hagrid. Nuts, the little bronze ones. Here, you're gonna pull 5 little bronze coins, and the owl held like so he could pull out the money into a small leather pouch, tied to it, then he pulled off the one, but when Hagrid yelled, Nelly and stretched, bed be off, Harry, lots of you today, could up to London, but also your stuff to stir. Buy all your stuff for school. Harry's turning over the wizard coins and looking at them. He had just told something that made him feel as though the happy balloon inside him had got a puncture. Hagrid, who's along the butch? I haven't got any money, and your Uncle Vernon and I, you won't pay for me to go and learn magic. Don't worry about this. Hagrid said, Hagrid, scratching his head. Do you think your parents had to leave you anything? But the house was stray. They didn't keep their gold in the house, boy. Now first stop is Gringotts, Wizard's Bank. Have a sausage. They're not bad kills. Does anyone say no to bits of you? But they can't eat the Wizards at banks. Just the one. Great goals run by Elizabeth. goblins. Harry dropped the bit of salt he was holding. Goblins, yeah, so he'd be able to try to rob it. I'll tell you, I never miss the goblins, Harry. Gringotts are the safest place in the world for anything yet. Want to keep safe, maybe Hogwarts. As a matter of fact, I gotta visit Gringotts away. For Dumbledore, Hogwarts visits Hagrid himself so proudly, he usually gets more important stuff to do for him. Fetching you, getting things from Gringotts. Knows he can trust me. See? Got everything. Come on then. Harry followed him around to the rock. The sky was quite clear now. The steam got assembling very ahead, so there was a lot of water in the bottom half of the storm. How did he get here? He asked, looking around for other boat. Flew, said Hagrid. Flew, yeah, but we'll go back in, not spotted to use magic I've got. They settled down the boat. Harry still hugging Hagrid, trying to throw flag. Seems a shame, though, said Hagrid, giving an order to the sideways. For me, it would start speeding things up a bit. You wouldn't mind not mentioning it at Hogwarts? Of course not, said eager Harry. Eager to see more magic. Hagrid pulled out the ring of Religion and tapped it twice instead of though. Spit off toward land. Why would he try to rob Gringotts? Harry asked. Spell enchantment, said Harry. Hagrid unfolding his new paper as he spoke. Then they said Diagon's guarded the high security vaults. Where was I? High security vaults. And then, yeah, you gotta find your way. Gringotts is 100 miles under London Sea, up under the underground. Yeah, this is how much I read. Is that thick? Not really. Still have this to go. Fuck me. So instead of the bone, they sped off to a long way. You beat down to Gringotts. There's a spell enchantment, said Hagrid, unfolding his newspaper. They spoke. They said their dragons guarding the high security vaults, and then you gotta find your way. Gringotts is hundreds of miles under London. You see, dip under the underground. You die of hunger, trying to get out there. Even if you did, man, get your hunts on the summit. Harry sat and thought about this while rather than the Daily Prophet. Harry had learned from Uncle Bren that people like to be left alone while they did this, but it was very difficult. He had never missed a question. Life Ministry of Magic, then things up his Hagrid, turning this page. There's a Ministry of Magic, Harry asked before he could stop. Of course, Harry said. They went Dumbledore for minister, of course, but he'd never been Hogwarts, so Cornelius Fudge got the job done. But really, if he had been still put some Dumbledore with all everyone for advice. But what had he done in Majesty Magic do? Well, the main job is keep from the Muggles, their special wizard on the wizard's wide way. Blindly, Harry, why would be magic solution to the problems? Not worried about left alone. Burst left alone. At this moment, the boat bumps greatly to the harbor. Well, Hagrid followed in the newspaper. They clambered up the stems of the street. Passersby stared at a lot of Hagrid as they walked through the town to the station. Harry couldn't blame them. Not only was Hagrid twice as tall as anyone else, but he kept pointing at perfectly ordinary things like parking meters and saying aloud, "See that, Harry? Things that Smuggles dream up." Angry Hagrid, said Harry, picking up a big one. I did. You were the dangerous like Gringotts. Well, do they say? Gringotts said, "Christ, like a dragon. You'd like one. Wanted one ever since I was a kid. Here we go." They had to reach the station. There was a train to London. In 5 minutes' time, Hagrid, who didn't understand Muggle money as he called it, gave the bills to Harry so he could buy their ticket. People stared at more than ever on the train. What time is 8:51? Cool. They were on the train. Hagrid took up the streets and sat in the looked like Canary Yellow Sugar Snake. So you got your letter, Harry. Yes, as he counted switches. I need to stretch. Harry took the parchment envelope out of the spot. Good, said Hagrid. There's a lot of everything you need. Harry told him second page he didn't know the right before. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft was their first year students were required 3 sets of plain black work rose black. 1 plain plate black for black day for rare. 1 pair of protective gloves. Dragon had similar. 1 winter cloak. Black silver fastenings. Please note all people's clothes could carry name tags. Should carry name tags. Course books. All students will have a copy of each of the following. This reminds me of UCLA. The center of a book is Spells Grade, 1 by Miranda Goshawk, History of Magic Both is a Bogshot Magical Theory by Admiral Wolfling, A Beginner's Guide to Transfiguration by Merc Switch, 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi by Fidelity Spore, Magical Drifts and Potions by Arsenius Jigger, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by Newt Schmatter. That's a movie now! Wow! Cool! An Easter egg! Yay! The Dark Forces Guide to Self-Protection by Quentin Trimble. Other equipment: 1 wand, 1 cauldron, Peter Stan's side 2, 1 get side class of crystal files, 1 is 1 set brass scales. Susan may also bring an owl or a cat or a toad. Reading Harry Potter book has been on my bucket list for a long time, and I'm gonna do it all in one day. It's been 1 hour, 1 minute, and 14 seconds. Awesome stuff. I should have done this live, but I didn't. I didn't think of it. Sorry. Not sorry. Just watch my video. Other equipment, I already read that. Students may bring in an owl or a cat or a toad. Parents are reminded that first years are not allowed to their own broomsticks. Can we have this in London? Harry wondered a lot of, yeah, that's where we go, said Hagrid. Harry had never been to London before. Although Hagrid seemed to know where he was going, he was obviously not used to getting there in an ordinary way. He got stuck in the Tickerberry underground and complained a lot that seats were too small and the trains too so I don't know what Muggles managed without magic. He said as they climbed a broken down escalators, bustling road lines with shops. Harry was so cute. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. They parted the crowd easily. All Harry had to do was keep close behind him. They passed bookshops. This is torture and music. Stores, hamburger restaurants, cinemas, but nowhere that looked as if it could sell your magic wand. This was an ordinary street full of ordinary people. Could there be really piles of wizardry gold buried miles beneath them? Were there really shops that sold spellbooks and broomsticks? Might this not all be some, where was I? Based on huge chocolate jumbles Dursley's had cooked up. If Harry hadn't known that the Dursley had no sense of humor, he might have thought so. So yet somehow he managed everything Hagrid had told him. So far it was unbelievable. Harry couldn't help trusting him. That is it, said Harry coming to a halt. The League Cauldrons famously was a tiny grubby looking pub. If Hagrid hadn't pointed out, Harry wouldn't have noticed it was there. The people hurrying didn't glass at it. Their eyes slid from the big book from most of the record shop as they couldn't see the last goes around. In fact, Harry had one peculiar thing that Hagrid could see. Before he could mention this great soul miss from sleeves was very dark and stubby. The old women were sitting in a corner drinking tiny glasses of sherry. One of them was smoking a long pipe. A little man at the top was talking to the old board. Was scrub-bald and looked like a toothless one. At the low buzz of chatter stopped when they walked in. Everything seemed to know Hagrid. They waved and smiled at him at the bartender, reached for a glass saying, "The usual Hagrid." can't, Ton. I'm on Hogwarts business, said Hagrid, clapping his great hands on Harry's shoulder and making Harry's knees. But good lord, said the button, this can't be. This league conjure dropped guns and can't silent. Bless my soul, whispered the old bat to Harry Potter, what an honor! He heard it from the bat in the ball. Registers Harry, sees his hands, tears in his eyes. Welcome back, Mr. Potter, welcome back! Harry didn't know what to say. Everyone was like an old woman with a pipe was puffing out with Harry as he hadn't gone out. Hagrid was beaming. Then there was a great scraping return the next morning. Everyone himself shaking hands with everyone in the leaky culture. And Joris Crockford, Mr. Potter, can't believe I'm meeting you at last. So proud, Mr. Potter. I'm just so proud. Always wanted to shake your hand. I'm all over flat. Delighted, Mr. Potter. Just can't you tell? Diggle's the name. Diddle is Diggle. I've seen you before, said Harry. Diggle stood on top of and he said, you bowed to me once in a shop. He remembers, cried Diggle as Diggle, looking around everyone. Did you hear that? He remembers me. Harry shook backs again and again. Doris Crockford kept coming back from where he pale young man made his way for it. Very interestingly, one of his eyes was watching. Professor Quirrell, said Harry Potter. Harry Quirrell was one of your teachers at Hogwarts. Potter, said Harry Quirrell. Here, can't you tell, please, to me? What sort of magic do you teach, Professor Quirrell? Defense against the dark arts. Professor Quirrell is the lead right now. Think about another thing you need, Potter. You'll be getting all your equipment, I suppose. I've got to pick up the new book on my parents by myself. It's stuttering in the book. I'm not stuttering, even though I have been stuttering. It's stuttering in the book, just to clarify. He looked up at the very thought. Father was one that Professor Quirrell had himself. He looked almost 10 ways to get from all of them. Let Harry manage to himself over the bow. Once get on, Lester by. Come on, Harry. Does go up, shook hands at last one time. Less hangry, letting the wall of the ball into a small old courtyard where there was nothing but a trash can of a few weeds. And I told you, didn't I? Told you where famous Professor Quirrell was in trouble underneath you. Me and my tremble in Clint. He's always that nervous. So poor, but bloke, brilliant man. He was fine while he was studying out your books when he took up a year. Sound experience. This made vampires in the Black Forest, and there was an answer with a hag. Never been the same since. Scared of his own subject. Now wears his umbrella. Vampires, hags. Harry's head was swimming. Hagrid man was counting bricks in the wall. The trash and 3 up to a crossing, but right stand back. He tapped the wall so with the point of his umbrella. The brick he had touched quivered. It wiggled in the middle. A small hole appeared. It grew wider and wider. A second later, they were facing an awkward ledger, and even for Harry and awkward cobble street, the whistle turned off. Welcome, said Hagrid of Diagon Alley. He grinned at Harry's amazement. They stepped through the archway. Harry looked quickly over his shoulder and saw the archway shrinking to the back of the solid wall. Back into the solid wall. The sun shone brightly on a stack of cauldrons under the urinal at the shops. Cauldrons also says copper, brass, pewter, silver, stuff, string, combustible. I had a sign being a little bit. Yeah, I'll be new, said Hagrid. We gotta get your money faster. Watch this and wait more eyes. He turned his head and every as they walked to the street, trying to look at everything once. The shops, the things outside, the couple doing the shopping, a plump woman outside, and apothecary was shaking her head as they passed, saying, Dragon liver, 17 sickles. Announced their mad. A low, soft hooting come from Duck Shop with a sign saying, Clubs, Owl Emporium. What time is it? 56? Wow. It feels like it's been an hour, but it's been 5 minutes. Tawny Screech, Bond Browns, and several little boys about Harry's age had their noses pressed against the window with broomsticks in it. Look, Harry! Heard one of them say, the new Nimbus 2000, faster ever. There were shops. What's a Nimbus again? Isn't it the dragon or something? No, it's a cards. I don't remember. There were ships selling ropes, silver instruments Harry never, telescopes and strange silver instruments Harry never seen before. Windows stacked with barrels of spleens and eel's eyes, supplying Tellaway pies of spell books, quails, and rolls of parchment pushing balls to the moon. Gangrot said Harry. They had reached a snowy white building right over the little shop, sitting behind its bronze doors wearing a uniform of scarlet and gold. Was that your goblin? Said Harry as they walked up the white stones toward him. The goblin was a head shorter than Harry. He had a swarthy, clever face, a pointy beard, and Harry noticed very long fingers on feet. He bowed as they walked inside. Now they were facing a second pair of doors, several at a time, with the words against upon them. Enter, stranger, but take heed of what awaits in the sin of greed. For those who take but do not on must pay most dearly in the terms. So if you seek beneath our floors a treasure that was never yours, thief, you have never been ward. We were finding them more than treasure there. Like I said, I'm sorry about my accents. They just happen on their own. I promise. I'm literally not deciding to do an accent. So I know if it's horrible, I'm sorry. I do not mean to offend. Now that that's out of the way, time to continue reading. Like I said, he'd be married to Norbert, said I repair goblins stood through the silver doors, and they was in vast marble hall. About 100 more goblins stood on high stools behind a long couch, similarly large ledgers weighing coins and brass scales, and then go through eagles. There were too many doors to count leading up the hall, and more goblins were storming around, and these Hagrid and Harry made off for the curtain morning. Said Hagrid to Priam, we got to take your money out, Mr. Harper. He'd say, if you said it, Keesa. Gotta hear someone, said Harry, and started emptying his pockets to counter, scattering a handful of moldy dog biscuits over the goblins' vocal mouth. As the goblin wrinkled his nose, Harry watched the goblin on the right, weighing a pile of throbbies as big as golden glowing cows. Got it, said Hagrid, at last holding a tiny golden key. The goblin looked at it closely. That seems to be in order. I've got a letter here from Professor Dumbledore, said Hagrid, and pulling through, and I was just about the you-know-what in the vault 713. The goblin read the letter very well. He said, I will have someone take you down to both Robs. Grip was yet another goblin. Once Hagrid had crammed all the dog biscuits back inside the pockets. He and Harry followed Grip toward one of the doors leading up though. That's when you-know-what in the vault 717, Harry asked. Can't tell you that, said Hagrid. My studies very secret Hogwarts, but as Dumbledore trusted me more, and my job's worth tell you that. Grip held the door for called open the door for them, and who would have expected more? Mob was surprised. They were in a narrow sort of passageway living with flaming torches stopped sleely downward, and there were light railway tracks on the floor. Grip was on the small creaking rolling the tracks toward them. They climbed in. Hagrid was more some difficulty in where I could feel the tequila now. After they heard it, just the thought amazing twisting badges. Harry tried to remember left, right, middle, fork, right, left, but it was impossible. The right and seemed to know it was one way because Grip wasn't steering. Harry's eyes stung at the cold air, pushed past them. But he kept them wide open. Once he thought it was a burst of fire at the end of the passage. The rebel towards to see if it was a dragon, but too late. They plunged even deeper, passing an underground lake where hush statisticals and stalagmites grew from the ceiling and floor. I never knew Harry. He was wild over the Harry. What's the difference between Cyclo Man and Stectolite? Cyclomites got into it. Answer everyone. Don't ask me questions about it. I think I'm just gonna be sick. Me too. Me too. Hagrid. Me too. Is that Hagrid? Yeah. He did look very good. When this car stopped last behind a small door and passed away, Hagrid got to learn to go small. With trembling, grip on the door. A lot of green smoke came billowing out, and Harry gasped and said with mounds of gold coins. Consider heaps of little bronze nuts. All yours, said Hagrid. Harry's was incredible. Little he couldn't even know this had been from the black and how confidently they complained about Harry custom. All the time there was a small fortune belonging to him, buried him, but Harry didn't put a pile of some style. The gold ones are galleons. Explained 17 silver sickles to a galleon. Never 29 nuts to a sickle. It's enough, right? She's to read a couple of terms. We'll keep the rest safe for you. Get down to grip like Volt 713. Now pleasing can we go more slowly? One speed only. Should grip, but they were only going even different. I don't think speed. The air became colder and colder as they hurled down the tuck as they ran over another ground Ravi. Harry leaned over the side to try to see what happened as the dark button, but Harry groaned and groaned and pulled back by the scruff on his Vault 713. Okay, I'll stand back, said Gripple, and please stroke the door gently with one of his long fingers and simply melted away. If anyone better going out to on the tread, they'd be stuck through the door and trapped in here, said Gripple. How often do you check if anyone's inside? Yes, but once every 10 years, Gripple with a very nice grin. Something really extraordinary had to be inside the top security vault. Harry was sure, and he leaned forward eagerly, spinning Steve was just the very list, but at first he thought it was empty. Then he noticed a Gripple little package of wild brown paper laying on the floor. Harry picked it up and took it in and said, calmly logged to see was been become then big and talked to me on the way back. His business being keeping mouth shut. One wild card later, then they stood beside Hagrid and blinking in the hot sunlight. Screen got Harry didn't know whether they were surrounded. They had a bag full of money. He didn't have to dwell galleons. There was a pound to know that he was holding more money than he had in his wallet. More than he even delegated. Might as well get your uniform, said Hagrid, lowing tone Malin real vocations and Harry. Would you mind if I slipped off a pic of you the league cauldron? I must have game goals. He's still looking back, so Harry entered Madame comes up alone, feeling nervous. Madame was a squat, smiling, which was all in Matsif? Malve? Hogwarts here, she said when it was got the lot here. Another young one being lost in the back of the shop, a boy with a pale white face down on the footstool with a second pane on the black robes, not able to on there, and some slipped a young boy's head and began to pinch to the right length. Hello, said the boy. Hogwarts, so yes, said Harry. My father's next to my books and bothers up the street looking at one, said the boy. He had a border-only voice. Then I'm going to drum off to look at racing brooms. I didn't see why the first years can't have their own. I think I'll probably fall into getting one else. I'm going to summer. Harry was strongly reminded of Dooley. Have you ever got your own broom? The boy went on. No, said Harry. Play Quidditch at all? No, Harry said. Whenever there Quidditch could be. I could. Father said it's a crime if I'm not picked to play for mouse. I must say I agree. No, you'll be in yet. No, said Harry, feeling more stupid by the minute. Well, no one really knows until they get there. Do they all be in a Slytherin? All our family have been. Imagine being a Hufflepuff. I think I'd leave, wouldn't you? Why are they throwing shade at Hufflepuffs? Hufflepuffs. Not cool. Said Harry, wishing he could say something a bit more interesting. I say, look at the man. But the boy suddenly nodding toward the front window. Hagrid was standing there, staring at Harry, putting it to a large stretching street. Come in, that's Harry, said Harry. Please do nothing. Said the boy, I've heard of him. He's restored to his knees. The game here, said Harry. He's the locals every second. Yes, he's later. Sword, sausage, savage. We gonna haunt on the school ground. Every now and then he gets drunk. He tries to do magic, ends up setting fire to his bed. I think he's brilliant, said Harry coldly. Do you? Said the boy with the slight here. Why is it with you? What are you with your? Where are your parents? They're dead, said Harry. Sure, he didn't feel much like going to the matter with the boy. Oh, sorry, said the boy. Said the other, not sounding sorry at all. Fake sorry, fake apology. Please stop being fake. Cool. Where was I? Fake apology, right? Oh, yeah. But they were our kind, weren't they? They were a witch and a wizard, if that's what you meant. I really don't think they should let the other sword into you. They're just not the same. They've been brought up in another way. Some of them had never even heard of us until they get the letter. Imagine, I think they were kept in the old wizarding flying. What's your name, anyway? Before Harry could answer, Madame Magdalene said, "That's you done, my dear," said Harry, not sorry for to stop singing. The boy hopped down from the. So, well, I hope you'll all see you at Hogwarts. It's supposed to the jolling boy. Harry was quite rather quiet as he ate the ice cream. Had to buy him chocolate and raspberry chopped nuts. That sounds like a lovely ice cream, by the way. What's up, said Hagrid. Nothing, Harry lied. They stopped to the batch parchment of the quill. Harry cheered up with a bit of a bottle of ink that changed colors. You wrote where they left the shop. He said, and what's Quidditch? Blimey, I forgot how to tell you. You know about Quidditch. Don't make me feel worse, said Harry. Told Hagrid about the poem met on Falcon. He said, if you're from my family, should even be allowed in. And you're not from a Muggle family. If you'd known who you were, he'd be growing up, you know, in your name. If your parents were wardens and folk, wizard and folk, you know that everyone leaky cauldron was like when they saw you. Anyways, what does he know about it? Some of the best in you, some of the ones who were the magic in a long time of Muggles. Look at your mom. Look what she said to you. So what is it? Quidditch? It's a sport, wizard sport. It's like soccer in the Muggle world. Everyone follows Quidditch. Put up in the air on broomsticks, and then there's 4 balls, sort of. Hard to explain the rules. I remember this Harry Potter game on GameCube where you could actually play Quidditch. It was fun at the time. Although I have higher standards now when it comes to video games, unfortunately. I wanted to Slytherin Hufflepuff schoolhouses. There's everyone's Hufflepuff, a lot of duffers, but I'm a better of a Hufflepuff, Harry gloomily. Harry thinks he's a Hufflepuff. He should be. Better Hufflepuff than Slytherin, said Hagrid darkly. There's not a single wizard who went bad who wasn't in Slytherin, you know, Juan. Well, sorry, you know who was at Hogwarts years and years ago, Hagrid. They bought Harry school books in the fluorescent bolts where they were stacked to the ceiling, where books in large paving stones found a letter book, the stage upon such stumps, the covers of books with symbols, and a few books with the sunning and all. Even Dudley would never read anything would have been in his hands on some of these. Hagrid almost had to drag every word from the curses and counter curses. Be wish your friends and Biffleins with the latest revenges, hair loss, jelly legs, tongue lying, and much, much, much more. Breakfast of picnics, Bitcoin. I was trying to find out how to course daily. I'm not saying that's a good idea, but you're not to use your magic in the Muggle world except in a very special list, said Hagrid. Anyway, you can work any of them curses. You all need more study, but get that head over. You know, but they got a nice cauldron. Hagrid won't hear back goes and solid gold cauldron either. It says put it on your list, but they got a nice scales for your reporting. Greetings and collapse of brass skeleton. David is the octopus with the fascinating enough to make up for its horrible some extra boiled eggs and boiled cabbages, barrels, slimy stuff on the floor, jars of herbs, dried roots, and bright powders line the walls, bundles of feathers, strings of fans, and snarled squirrels hung from the ceiling. Whacking great this one found a supply of some basic potion ingredients for Harry. Harry himself examined himself unicorns at 21 galleons, instrument of skill, black beetle lies 5 minutes at a scoop. Outside that pocket there, Hagrid clutched Harry's left. Just one you left, oh yeah, and I'm still going to your birthday present. Haven't Harry films like, well, you don't have to. I know I don't have to. Tell you where I'll get your animal, not a tour, no tunes, not a fashion years ago. You'd be left. I don't like cats. They make me sick looking at all the kids want owls. They're dead. You still carry your mail and everything. I have practice from college where I had to speed read before finals. I literally had to learn a quarter's worth of lessons in one day because I'd fall asleep in lecture. I had a sleeping issue, clearly. I'll say the pilot here, check there. That's just one. That's why I haven't got a birthday present. Harry fell some. You don't have to. I know I don't have to. Some of you yelling, my not or toad went off fashion years ago. He left. I already read this, right? I don't like because they make me see. Look at your owl. The kids want owls. They're dead. You so call your mail and everything. 20 minutes later, left eucalyptus almond tree, which had been dark and full of ruffling, flickering Joe bright eyes. Harry knocked the large kids that had a beautiful snowy owl for us to sleep with her head on her wing. He couldn't stop his army of things. So just like Professor Quirrell. Don't mention it, said Hagrid. So don't spit. You've had a lot of presents from the Dursley. Just Ollivanders. Ollivanders left now. Only place for wands. Ollivanders, and you got to get the best wand. Ollivanders. I remember that. A magic wand. That was what Harry had been really looking forward to. So right now we are at 1 hour and 13 minutes, so I should be at least page 73, and I'm on page 82, so. The last stop was narrow and peeling gold letters, though, was black, sign 182 BC, 382 BC, single one land on fatal proportion of the dusty window, tingling being wearing somewhere in the depths of the stop as they stepped inside. It was a tiny place, empty, single person, Harry wanted to wait. Harry felt strange that they had been entered a very strict library. He swallowed a lot of new questions that just occurred to him and looked instead of 1,000 narrow boxes of letters to the thing. For some reason, the back of the neck pale. They very distinct seemed to go with some secret message. Good afternoon, said voice. Harry jumped Hagrid instead of job 2. So I'm not gonna try to enunciate. I've already had this discussion with y'all, but this is going to sound like one giant sentence because I'm just going to read it because I'm trying to speed read this as fast as possible. Being clear isn't my priority. Understand, please? I'm not faking this. I'm actually reading it. I'm trying my best. Okay? Thank you. Where was I? It's gonna be ring someone in the depths of the shop as they step out of the tiny place for single standing each other. I already read this. Oh my god. Go after the soft way. Sorry, jumping him as a jumpsuit because there was a loud country old man standing before them with spell eyes. Hello, said Harry awkwardly. Yes, this is the magic. I thought I'd be seeing Harry Potter. It wasn't a question you have your mother's eyes. It was only yesterday that she was here, but I said, packing person only a quarter inches long. Swishy made a well a nice wand for charm work. Mr. Oliver's moves close. Harry wished he would blink those silver eyes were a bit creepy. Your father, on the other hand, favored a manga and one of inches, pinable, a little more powerful, and excellent for transfigures. Will I say your father rated religion of the wand that she chooses the wizard, of course. Mr. Oliver had comes to see that he and Harry almost knows Harry could see himself reflected in this Jason. That's where Mr. Ollivander threw the lighting cross Harry's sword with a long white finger. I'm sorry to say that I rolled the one that at least is 30.5 inches, yet powerful one, very powerful, in the powerful hands, in the wrong hands. Well, then known what was the wand going on with his power. So he shook his head in the terrors with Hagrid. Rubius, Hagrid. Now nice to see you. 16 inches rather bendy, wasn't it? It was yes, sir. Hagrid said Hagrid, a good wand. That was one by I suppose they snapped in half when you got expelled. And Mr. Ollivander sternly. Yes, they did. Yes, and Hagrid shuffled his feet. I got the pieces though. He had it barely, but you don't use them, said Mr. Ollivander. Oh no, sir, I said I was gripped some big umbrella very slowly, but said Mr. Ollivander, seeing a appeasing look. But now, Mr. Pearl, let me see. He pulled a long tape measuring with self-markings on his foot. Which is your wand arm? Well, I right-handed, said Harry. Hold on, your arm. That's he measured Harry from his shoulder and his shoulder to keep around his head as he measured. He said, every Ollivander wand is a core of powerful magical symbols Potter. We use unicorn hair, spinach, tail feathers, and heartstrings of dragons. No two Ollivanders wands are the same because no one unicorn dragons republic was the same. And of course, you whenever gets to good with another wizard's hand. Suddenly, the tape measure which was measuring between his nostrils was doing this on its own. Mr. Ollivander was flitting around the shells, taking down buckets. That will do, he said, on the table and the crumbled and tape on the floor. Right then, Mr. Potter, then this one beechwood and dragon heartstring, 9 inches, nice and flexible. Just take it and give it away. Harry took the wand, filling closely with round a bit. Mr. Ollivander said, "His son was the once maple and phoenix father, 7 inches, quite empty. Try." Harry tried, but he had only raised the one and two. Essential of Mr. No. Here's an ebony unicorn hair, 1.5 inches, springy. Gonna go on and try it out. Harry tried and tried, and no matter what Wilson was waiting for, the pile of tried wands was mounting higher and higher in a spindly chair. But the more wands Mr. Oliver pulled from those, the happier he seemed to become. Tricky to Mr. Not to worry, we'll find the perfect match here somewhere. I wonder how. Yes, why not? Unusual combination. A holy and phoenix feather, 11 inches, nice and supple. He took the wand, he fell suddenly wrong within his fingers. He raised the wand above his head, brought it swishing down through the dusty end. A stream of red and gold sparks shot from the end like a firework. Through stunting spots on spaz of light to the walls. Hagrid whooped and clapped and was only cried, "Oh, bravo, yes, indeed, oh, very God, well, how curious, very curious." He put over his wand at the box and rubbed it in paper, still muttering, "Curious, here, sir, you're both curious." Well, Mr. Riggs with the pale star, Mr. Potter, every single wand, as weapons, the phoenix was on. Your feather wand gave another from other. Just one another. It's very curious indeed that you should feed destined for this one with another one brother. With his brother, White's brother gave you that scar, Harry told her. Yes, 13.5 inches. Yes, curious indeed how things happen. The one chooses the wizard. Remember, I think we must accept great things from Mr. Potter. After all, he must not be named. Did great things terrible? Yes, but great. Harry shivered. He was sure he liked Mr. Oliver too much pain. He wasn't sure he liked Mr. Oliver too much. He paid gold galleons for his wand, 7 gold galleons for his wand, and Mr. Oliver wandered around from his shop. He left and he hung out in the skies. Harry and Hagrid made their way to Diagon. Now we back through the wall. Back through the lake of cauldron. Now Harry didn't speak as they walked down the road. He didn't even know that much people were not on the ground laden, and they were all their funny shaped packages with a snowy old apple in his cage on the apple's lap. Up and let's go down to the Paddington station. Harry only realized that when they were Hagrid tapped them on the shoulder. "Got time for a bite to eat for your train leaves?" He said. He bought Harry a hamburger and sat down on a pair of seats to them. Here, he kept looking around. Everything looked so strange to them. "You all right, Harry? You're very quiet," said Harry. He wasn't sure he could explain. He had the best birthday of his life, and yet he chewed his hamburger trying to find his way. Everything is unspecial. He said. At least these people in the league controversy went to Mr. Ollivander, but I didn't know anything about magic at all. Harry only expect things. I'm famous, and I can't remember what I'm famous for. I don't even know what happened with Wool. Sorry, I mean the nights my parents died. Hungry, loud, and sleep behind the beard, and he's a very constant day. We're here, you'll learn fast, and everyone is the beginning of the everyone starts at the beginning of the Hogwarts. You'll just be yourself. I know it's hard. It's been singled out. That's always hard, but you'll always have a good time. As I did, still do. Smarter effect. Hagrid helped Harry onto the train that would take him back to the Dunsley and then to the Olivia. Tickets for Hogwarts, 1st of September, King's Cross. It's all your ticket. Any problems with the Dudley? Send me a letter with all. She'll know where to find me. She said soon. Harry, there's a bullet in the station. Harry wanted to watch Hagrid until he was out of sight. He was rolling the car, presses his nose against the window, but he blinked and Hagrid had gone. Now I'm on chapter 6, so my 5th shot. I really don't think I'm gonna finish this within 50 more minutes. I'm not even halfway done. This is a shame. Unless I read 5 times faster. Do you think it's possible? I don't think so. So it's been an hour and 18 fucking minutes. Cool story, bro. So I've read about almost a third, actually. I'm surprised. But I only have 15 minutes to read the other 2/3. That's like, I would have to read 3 times faster. Okay, at this point, I've had 5 half shots. And I've stopped caring. I mean, I still care. I'm still going to read this, but speed read to survive. Are you ready for this? Because I'm not. My throat hurts. Are they already downstairs? Fuck me. Chapter 6, the journey from the platform 9 3/4. In the last month with the Dudleys wasn't fun. The Dudleys were not scared of Harry. He wouldn't stay in the same room while continuing on into the shot in his cup before sitting to their shadow. In fact, they didn't speak to him enough. Terrified they faced the chair was in Harry. Although there was an improvement of his eating comparison after a while. Harry's room was small for him. He had a wig and Amy found in history, magic, school books were interesting. He learned better than I had somebody on another window as she pleased. Let's look at that, but he didn't come into the vacuum because everybody bringing it back to mice every night. He just sleep. Harry took up the day on the piece of berry at pointed to the wall, counting down September the 1st on the 1st day of August. He thought he'd better speak to his aunt and uncle, getting King's Cross as he went down to the living room. He was watching the show and so much he close to let him know there was another screaming in front of him. Uncle Vernon, she was ready to be King's Cross tomorrow to go on to Hogwarts. Uncle Vernon grunted again. Would it be all right if you give me a cry? Harry wasn't that anything. He was about to go back and when Vernon spoke. Then we got to visit school. The bring chaps and they didn't say anything. Where did these school and visit no Sarah? We're looking for the people to character give no notice. I just got the train from looking 9 3/4 and one o'clock. He's where I was going to platform 1 9 3/4. Didn't tell Robert said Uncle Vernon. There's no platform 9 3/4. Somebody take a working said Uncle Vernon. A lot of them you'll see just way all right when you take the King's Cross. We're going up to London anywhere tomorrow. I wouldn't bother. Where are you going to London area? So going to totally adults but going Uncle Vernon. Go to the ready till before you got in small here. We're looking at 5 o'clock the next morning. He was going to go back to sleep. Got up and pulled his jeans because he didn't want to go back in the station with his rib. He had changed to the train. He did check the Hogwarts list and we're going to make sure he had changed everything he needed so that was just in a cage and then paced the room waiting for the others to go up. 2 hours later, he's usually every chunk of been living there's a con of beating talking to the police and was one. Harry set off the Church of King's Cross. I passed Uncle Vernon from Harry sunk into a car and rolled into the station for him. Harry thought this was strangely enough. Uncle Vernon stopped dedicating the listeners and his grand so whether you're platform 9, platform 9, your problem should be in the middle, but they don't seem to be in until he's cried from the cars. There was a big class number 1 platform pick on them and then one next to it in the middle of one. They don't have a good term set Uncle Vernon with a nice smile. He left another word and said the Henry's mouth went dry. Whether only he was going to start and I could check a lot but he left his head where he'd have to ask someone. He stopped at the grass and garbage and said any plan 9 3/4 in the court and not of Hogwarts and the way Harry couldn't even tell him what the country was and he started to get annoyed that Harry was being installed on purpose getting his Harry asked for the train at 11 o'clock because there was an in the end of the car sort of way muttering and the time was over. Harry was not going to panic over to the large of the lobby. He had 2 minutes left to go to the train to Hogwarts and you know how to do it. He was standing in the middle of the station with a hungry. He had a lift, a pocket full of wizard money and a large owl must have been going to tell him something. You had to tell him like tapping the 3rd bick on the left and Diagon. He wanted to finish. She could his wand and start typing the inspector sent between flaps 9 and 10 and then flaps in that moment group of people just passing behind the popos. They were crying packed with muggles of course. Hungry Harry swung around. The speaker was a plump woman who was talking 4 boys all flaming Harry and then pushing a tail in front of him and they had a heart hammering Harry was in front of him. He said he just near to the now what's that platform? I said the boys mother 9 3/4 perhaps small grown redheaded and who's holding your mama can't grow. Ginny now be quiet. All right Percy you're not old enough. Well look at the oldest boy marched down platform 10. Harry Potter was like blinking his missing just as the boy reached the diving body break between the 2 offers and a large contours in front of him. By the last time the battery cleared away the boy had vanished. Fred, you next, the plump woman. I'm not Fred, I'm George. I'm said the boy. Honestly, woman, you call yourself out, mother. Can't you tell him George? Sorry, George, I'm only joking. I'm Fred. I'm said the boy, and I'm the way. He tricked his own mom. He didn't hurry up and must have done so since he had gone. But he had gone out. The 3rd woman was wrist. I remember it's part of the movie. The brother was toward the burials and then this is when he meets Hermione, I think. He wasn't anywhere. There was nothing else for her. Excuse me, Harry said to the hello, dear. First time at she said. Her first time at Hogwarts once new. She pointed the new lesson since he was tall, thin, and yellow with freckles, big hands, and wrinkles. And knew it was yesterday. The thing is, I don't know how to get into the Blabbers. He's kind of Harry. Not to worry. He said all you have to do is walk straight to the break between Blabbers and 9 and 10. Don't stop and be scared and see questions. They were very important to the bed if you're nervous. Go on, Rob, for 6. Okay, said Harry. He pushed his trolley around. He looked very solid. He started walking around. People just don't know the way. Between 9 and 10, he was going to the steps around the barrier, and then he spent in trouble. Then he poured on his car. He broke into the barrier. He was very near. He wasn't able to step. The car was out of control. He was a foot away. He closed his eyes, ready for the question. Didn't come. He kept on running. He opened his eyes. Scarlet team manager was doing the next plan with people outside overhead. Hogwarts Express. 11 o'clock. Here, look behind him. Saw what iron archway. I'm on page 94. almost, like I said, almost a third. Whether 3/4 and blonde from 9 3/4, they added in smoke from the engine drift and the control the cars of illuminated there between all those hostages and the way battle of the first generation of Peggle students picking old one of the hair pushes and one of the granite plus made one of he said in the boy with looks surrounded by smoke but locally go on the boy left on those shows. I really don't give a fuck now. But it'll give us locally go on boy left the locally hair on the road the fat empty and compared with then while he put we're gonna first in the way when he strung under the rain he left it at the steps but could only raise the twice he dropped it from his water hand it was one of their yes please Harry oh Fred come here and with the twins he got playing carriage in front of the apartment. Trunks said Harry Potter's the sweaty hair out of his eyes. What's that? Said one of the twins. So he can play letters. He's like, Bellamy. He said, "There are you?" He is in the first one. Are you Harry? What's that? Harry Potter, of course. The twins. Oh man, yes, Harry. I am. The cool boy got in here and felt some suddenly right. The voice coming from the war. Fred George, are you there? Coming on with the lost of Harry. This is the one. Didn't you better watch the red hair foot on the They were sitting there. Mother had been on the handkerchief. Ron, you've got something. You know, seeing his boy charger got away, but she grabbed him. Mom, get off. Get away. Forget face. He rigged his face. Ron, he got something funky on his nose. Someone of his twins shut up. Said Ron, where's Percy? Said the Mally's coming now. This way came into the night. He had already changed into his building black Howard's ribbon. Harry stole probably into the ship with the letter P on it. Can't see on mother. He said I'm up for the prompt. He's got two compartments to himself. One, you're perfect. Percy said one of the twins, and he got sleepy. Should have been something. We had no idea. Hang on, I think I remember saying something about it. And the other twins, once a minute. All summer, all shut up. Said the perfect. How much Percy gets in your ribs anyway? Similar to the buzz because he's perfect in the mess. He's all right, dear. You can see him Percy on the chick lead. Then you want now you two this year's behaves. If I got put up a toilet, we never got a balloon. It's a great idea. Though thanks, man. It's not funny. And look, Rollin was rolling because he was safe with us. Shut up, said Ron again. He was almost 12. All the twins already, and the twins still punk with the mother read. My mom, guess what? Guess who we all meet on the train? He leaned back and was him looking, you know, with the black-head boys in his and who is who? Harry Potter. Harry had the little girls. Well, Mom, I can't go to the train. See him, Mom, oh, please. You already seen him, Ginny. And the poor is in something you Google in a zoo. He's really Fred. How do you know? Well, some sky. It's really there, like lightning. Poor idea. No wonder he's all alone. I was already so blood when he was the blabber. Never mind. Do you think he remembers? You know what he looks like? There's nobody in the game. Right? Of course he doesn't remember Voldemort looked like. She was a fucking baby. You've already seen Ginny and the poor boys and girl in the zoo. I already read that. Okay, cool. Never mind. Do you think he remembers? Nope. There must have been very soon. I've heard yes. Fred, no, don't you dare. As though he remembers the pussy at school, right? And keep your hair on the whistle sounded. Hurry up. And their mother said, and the three boys come down to the train. They enter the window for the kiss and goodbye. And the youngsters began. Don't, Ginny. We'll send you loads of owls. What is it? Hardwoods, toilet seat, Joe. I told the chicky mouth the train began to move. Harry saw the boys and they're waving. And the sisters half jumping, half crying, running to keep up with the train. And so gathered too much speed. And then she fell back and waved. Harry felt the old grandmother disappear. And the relative helpless splash. Harry followed the group to Sam. He knew what he was going on. The door of the compartment did slid open. The youngest boy came in. Anyone sit in there? He asked, pointing at the opposite everywhere. This is full. Harry shot his head and blood. He glanced at Harry and then looked quickly out of the window. Pretending he didn't look. Harry saw he was a black marker on his head. Ron, the twins are back. Listen, we're going down the middle of the street. Lee Jordan's got a trike. Tarantula, you're right. Rumbled Ron. Harry said the other twin. Did we introduce ourselves? Fred and George releasing. This is Ron and brother. See you later. Bye, said Harry. And Ron, the closed compartment shut down. Are you really Harry? Ron blurted out. Harry, oh yeah. Well, I thought it was might be one of Fred's and George. Said Ron. Have you really got Okay, I'm gonna text my friends and my family who are gonna go out to let them know that I'm reading still. So give me a break, real quick. Okay, I said that I'm gonna finish reading this book, and if I'm late, I'll just Uber there. Most likely will be late. Fuck my life. And then I came laughing, crying. Did I read this already? Let's see. Anyone sitting here? Nope, I haven't read this. And this is Jeff crying after to keep the train. I get too much speed in the ship. But I can wave. Harry watched the girl on the mother disappear. The train around the corner. Has flushed the mother felt greatly excited. He didn't know what he was going to bed to be. Then he was looking at the door of the compartment. Slid open the ears. Where to give me a name. Sitting in. He asked, pointing the where. Harry was his fall. How you said his voice. Sat down. He glanced at Harry. Looked glanced at the window. Planning. He didn't look. Harry saw the black mark on his. Hey, Ron. The twins are back. Listen, we're going down the middle of the train. Jordan's got a giant trust on their right. Mom, where he goes. There's one of the Rangers in the village. George whistling. This is Ron, brother. See you later. Then Sabine around the compartment. The door shut behind. Were you really Harry Potter? Well, I thought it was one of the friends George's jokes. Said Ron. Are you really He pointed at Harry's forehead. While his back to a scar. Ron stared. So you know who's who? Yes, sir. I can't remember. Nothing, said Ron. Well, I remember a lot of green light, but nothing else. Well, said Ron. He said in Harry's forehead. As he had still reason what he was doing. He looked quietly at the window. Are all your family wizards? What? Asked Harry, who was Ron, and his name was Ron found. Yes, I think so. I think, said Ron, I think my mom's got a second close in accounts, but we never talk about him, so you know he's all that magic already. There's already clear those words from Pell, Jack, and Ollie, and look, I already went to live with Michael, said Ron. What do they like? Horrible with all of them, man. Uncle, cousin, or the wish I did them bizarre bombs. Thanks to Ron, for some reason, he'd been looking glummy. Stop making fun of muggles, okay? We are fine. A lot of us are just challenged. Anyways. Hey, man, Uncle calls wish had been Buzzer Bros. 5 for some reason they were looking gloomy. 5 said Ron for some reason looking gloomy. Then their family go to Hogwarts. You should have got looked up to. Bill and Charlie have already left. Bill was head boy and Charlie was when Quidditch is perfect. Pressure a lot. Basically got really good mix and everything fun experts and was the others. But it's no big deal because they did it first. You never got anything near the 5 brothers. They got old ropes, carrots, old handbags, old trots, and the same squabbers, and these only leaders of his probably old family with being a problem, but they couldn't laugh. I mean, I got scrabbers and Sir Ron's went peak. He seemed to think he said too much because he went back to staring out the window. He didn't think he was wrong with them being able to know. But after all, he never had him in. He's left a month ago and told Ron. So all of us wearing Dudley's clothes and every birthday presents. They seemed to cheer Ron up until Hagrid told me I don't know anything about wizard. My parents were wrong. Guess what? You said Harry. You should know whose name. You said Ron. And we'll check it. First, I'd have thought of you. What people don't try to be brave next to the name Harry. I just never thought you shouldn't say what I mean. I've got loads to learn. I bet he had a voicing for the first time that. He had been writing him a lot lately. Even the worst in class you won't be. There's lots of people who came from most films. They called him while they had been talking to the friends between London. They were spinning over the fellows of Cal. I've read 100 pages out of 309. So when I'm at 103, I'm officially a third of the way there. Sleep. They were quite a time moving fellows. Elect class or else who crowding inside of smiling dimple one slept back the door and up the chair charts waiting on breakfast and sleep. But Ron's was pink again and was Harry going around and the was Dudley and all the pockets reeling with gold and silver. He had buys many bars as he could ever. They had Mars bars. Where he go? Where he bought everything flavor beans, troubles and glue guns, sugar and plants. Everything was used to look at Rush ones, a number of months strings things in his life. I want to miss any glass of mother and people will sickles and every Boston's rock stars Harry bought out to the compartment temperature and busy. Hungry are you starving? He said Harry, it's a large red blanket. I run taking a plane before when wrapped it was 4 summers and he pulled one of the right shoes. Always I don't like corned beef. Stop for one of these Harry. We'll go on I don't want to, it's all dry, so he's coming to say me at a clue, you know, with 5 us. Go on, have a plum piece at every week or any sharp of anyone was a share with the fillings of cakes and candy. So I'm just looking like on where are these areas simply prepped they're not really frogs or they were starting to feel nothing was surprising. That's the rumble that's the came and making a pick up. Well, of course you don't want to know shark frogs if you know to collect famous switches the wizard got 5 minutes got real fall for me. How are you only drive a shark frog and picked up the crowd and picked him up space. He wore half between glasses had a long crooked nose and falling silver hair band and mustache. Underneath the picture was the name Albus Dumbledore. So this is Dumbledore said, don't tell me you never heard of him. Was Ron I can never frog and make a proper things every turn of the Albus Dumbledore currently had Mr. Fogger's cancer the grace was mid on time. Something was the more famous for the TV of the Dark Wizard Grindelwald and I would discovered that the Winners using dragon blood and the wrong coming with this Parnicles, Flamel, the board him and Wally. Harry turned to the corner, so just under that Bumble's face had disappeared. He's gone. Well, you can expect all day running. He's like, no, I've got Monica. You know, I've got bouncing. It's into you wanted. You can start collecting ones. I started the battle for the frogs. Ones to be armed. Help yourself, said everybody. No, you know, the Muggles wasn't part of the puzzle. Do they do the same with it all? But you're on reviews and maze weird. Helsing the domes are sitting back to the picture on their card. Gave him a small sum. I was instantly the frogs. Looking at the famous witches and brothers of the couldn't keep it up his eyes. So leave it alone. The word and but things more the building shooting gun. Party goes to Marlene. He put the towards the little was right. Just knows when a bag of pretty bolts every flavor. You know what to be careful with those run ready. When you say every, they mean everybody. You know what you know all the nerves like chocolate peppermint and Marmalade, but then you get to spinach and liver and tribe church and the big bubbled ones. Booker flavored once you want to pick up a green meal, look at it, really blah, see sprouts, they had a great time. Sprouts are good. Then every flavored berry butts, cooking and baked beans, strawberry, baked soft cuisine, it was baked super simple, a little for Gary one, didn't touch what's up it's a big. It's such countries that flying past the windows, becoming wilder, the fields are gone now, there were woods, twisting rivers and dark green hills, there was a knock on the door of the compartment of bread on face berry, passed on the farm, one of them, you'll careful, that's all see, but every single when they should go there, it's a well, I've lost to me, keeps going on fame, I'll turn up set areas, and times if you see me left, down, and these bothers, and if I bought a lot of squiggle man, about scrubs, I hear the Russell, soon 11, he might have died in one of the difference, and brought his guy turned, the just didn't make him learn anything, but they didn't spell, and I'll show you, look, he managed to run his trunk over, every last looking watch, and pauses, and well, at the end, now he comes Harry looking out anyway, he just raises one, and they come in the doors and open again, the old boy was stacked, but the business and go with him, he was really winning Hogwarts Street. Anyway, saying Dom has lost one, she's at age of board, so it was brushy hair and rather large one too. We've already done one, but the one, but the girls was unless she was looking at the one, and now are you doing match? Let's see it. Then she down, round, looked back. Oh, well, right, Clit is there. So she down, she's bossed her well, it's in the stupid fat rat yellow. Even this round, but rules. Scrap a stage red and fell so. Are you sure that's the right spell? Well, it's not very good, is it? Watch out, some spell for back to so well from nobody and families better cut off, but it was such master where I got my letter bell, so please, of course. I mean, it's a very best school of witchcraft here. There's, I've done all of course, because my heart, I kids just hope it will be enough. I'm Hermione Granger, by the way. Who are you? Now he's met Hermione. She said all this very fast. She said all this very fast. I've said it faster, stupid. Sorry. What time is it? An hour and 30. Cool. Harry looked at Ron with a bit of Melba's face and he learned all the ways, but there wasn't mostly one mother. I said, oh, I realized that I know all of you. I closed out a few extra books back and reading the modern magical history, the rise and fall of the dark arts, and great reading events of the 20th century. I said, every failure is the you know, everything about with me or managed to do, you know, what you believe. I've been asking around, I've been on the Rams of the desk. I've been here, Dumbledore himself was in him, but I was still reading Chloe, wouldn't be too bad anyway. Better go look for an episode already too, but I changed, you know, expect will be this. She left bringing the total spoil with her, whatever else in him, so she's not in. Said Ron, I'm giving this back, she's not just a spell. Stupid spell. She gave it to me, but you knew it was a dad. Why was your brothers and that's here given to us? Said Ron, Clubs is me telling mom and dad went to. I know they will. I'm not supposed to read Club, but too bad. I mentioned they put in Slytherin. That's the house volume 1. I know who was in it. I'm past a third for sure. Yes, said Ronnie flipped like, oh, you know, I think that Scrubber's whiskers are a fat light. I said, 11 superiors. Fuck it. Once he'd finished, I have to do 100 pages in 20 minutes. So that's how many seconds per page? 100 minutes, 200 pages in 40 minutes, 20 minutes per 100 pages. A fifth of a minute per page would be 20 seconds per page. I don't think I can read every page in 20 seconds, but I will try. You know, I mean, it wasn't enough to develop because, you know, I think the side of Scrabbles work is a light Harry, someone who wants to what do you do is better than the one who does shoulders more honest things what do you do about the ground spell over the leap up. I don't think you know the Muggles so much Harry still really weapon and then said it was a big news they don't think all men that has been a pop dog was a big grass but they don't think name because everyone's doing something like that and you know who's buying it. Harry took this news ban is a big because of you know who's mentioned you split up like a virtual word but it means you build more without worrying what's your Quidditch team honest. I don't know, Harry also did the ball where you say it's a middle of going all the balls in the position with the players grand famous but on the balls and you just think Harry thought the 5 points of the game of comments but it was in below there might green to the boys and everyone in the middle. I said true they said well push on back in the Diagon Diagon's it. He said they're all down the train. He's about in tomorrow. So yes, sir. He's looking at the other boys, but they were tickets and looking at stream with me, saying on the bell probably they're looking at all this gap on this Gwen, this pop boy. There's looking at this my Malfoy, Draco Malfoy. He said, "This is my name's funny. Do you think you Malfoy told me Malfoy? His name is funny. Sorry. He was his red. Volume more chance than the boy. Back to you. Soon I know something fellas are much better than this Potter. You don't want to go making friends with the wrong, so I can help you out there. He always takes experience about Harry didn't take it. I think I can tell you home sort of myself. Thinks he said. Draco Malfoy got red, pink, saying champagne on the cheeks. Be careful, you Potter. He said, unless you're a bit polite till you go the same way. You know, there's good for the matter. You're hanging around with the Weasleys and the Hagrid and I'll rub it off on you both. Harry Ron stood up. Say that again. Ron said, "Oh, you're gonna fight us? Are you Malfoy? Unless you get on now." Said Harry, braver than that. Brave like you're way later than Ron, but we said like Willie Blue. We all in our blaze and chicken with the chocolate frogs and Ron like with the church away. We'll let off the war, but Yale scrubbers and we'll up the finger chim. Minions, chicken Malfoy back into the way. Scrubbers running around, holding in one grab up in the window. All the three of them disappeared at once. Perhaps they were more slick in the news stories. Perhaps they forged because the one singular my original coming away has been going on. Said looking at the sweets all over the floor. Scrabbles, I think he's been knocked out. Ron said, "Harry, look." Close shot Scabbles. No, I didn't believe it. He's going back to sleep. He's behead. You met Malfoy before. Have you been in the meeting? Diagon, all you've had this family. It's unlucky there was some fast to come back. And some you know it's disappeared. They've been bewitched. My dad didn't believe it. This is Malfoy's father. And he sees go to the dark side. He said, "Miney, can we help? Is this Star Wars' dark side? What the fuck?" He said, "Mike, can we help you with something? You'd better help." And I've been up at the front desk and they said, and they've been fighting him. And you and probably but Scabbles and fighting sons wrong. Going, "What do you mind living? Well, we changed our way. I came in and was the reasons of the quarters and nice stuff. He was you go to the nose and do you know letter. Keep it the window. Is in the dock. He could see this and zooming down. Post guy and runs over the Jackson pulling the long black rounds. There was about showing you see sneakers and Nathan boys to go through the ring. We'll be reaching Hogwarts in 5 minutes time. Please relations on the train. We'll be taking to school. Harry's stomach lunch with nerves. He saw look past his freckles. They came to the pockets with the last of sweats, enjoyed the torch, and squatted like a well down and fly. He stopped, puppet pushed the way to the door, and was the funny duck flapper reached in the drunken air, letting it bobbing on the heads and stories and 5 years. Oh yeah, great, yeah, it's very, I'm gonna see you, vets, come on, follow me. All my first year's fine, you stop, you missed yours, follow me. This accent. Something in some way they folded or go down. There seemed to be a step in our path. As not considered explaining that Harry must have been the thick trees and nobody spoke much about the once or twice. He'll get fights or within the second one's called over his shoulders around a bit. There was a laddie, there was a plow, even since the ledge of a bit, like it was just walk man on the other side was speaking the stars, because the very castle with the rest of the stars. No more for their back, or cold plenty to flee, little boats in the water, but Harry and Ron followed by their boat by Neville and Hermione, everyone in, when it's up right then forward, and then flew little boats around a little like the windows was swinging glass, everyone was silent, staring at the great castle ever, it was only was able to when it said down here, but as the first boats reached the club, they all been in the land, was carried to Wilson and Covey Ivy, and one of them they were carried along a dark tunnel which seemed to be cleaning the mariners of the castle until they reached the kind of underground harbor which they climbed into the rocks and bubbles. Oh, you there as your toes head hunger. Who's drinking the boats? As people come up. Trevor said, "Rival Abbey's plays with the host." They went past the region. The rock Hagrid's lamp coming out to lesson to smooth down crease rest and the rally cut. They walked from the 5 steps to come to go. The old ship went for everyone. Here you are. Those you said, "Everyone checking out the fix and the times at the casa door." Now I'm on chapter 7, the Sorting Hat. So time for my 6th half shot. Guys, girls, gender non-conforming. At this point in time, do expect me to mumble. I swear it gets worse each time. Do expect me to mumble, grumble, and just... Honestly, I'm almost halfway there. But I'm just going to BS a lot of this. I'm going to try my best to read it. I might skip a few words. Forgive me. I've already said this so many times. But I'm getting anxiety just thinking about the comments saying, "Anyway, you didn't read every word now, did you, Mike?" Well, what do you expect, okay? I'm trying my best here. I'm trying to get every single word. I'm trying my absolute best. And I'm reading as fast as possible. As fast as I possibly can, which I'm pretty sure is faster than most people, not to sound conceited. But yes. Chapter 7, The Sorting Hat. The more I drink, the harder it gets to read. And apparently, I'm leaving in 30 minutes, so it's been an hour and a half. Do you think I can do the rest in 30 minutes? I don't think so. But if I BS it, I can. Sorting out this one, a black card with a Ronald Gordon reached a very stern pheasant with them like going on and everything, you know, thing from people to the island, the dirtiest house in it. The stone walls were in the flaming torches like once again, so they were so high to make offerings, and Mr. Brothers, the brother parts going on with the flag, so he could eat the drums, but the rest of the already been by first mile, show the first season up a shelf, though, you caught it standing. If you want me to do this live on YouTube with the second book, I'll do it. But it depends how this video does. I'm rather than inclined they would have laid on peering about his looking to Hogwarts, the person all this terms of being able to show the Phoenix together, certainly where how you'll be sorting into your houses. This is a very important ceremony because while you're here, you'll also be sending like your family within hours. You'll have custom the rest of your house. Sleep in your dormitory and 7 every time in your house coming. There was from Paul Brave and Claus to the even shells with stone up history and just but something else in witches and witches where you are at Hogwarts, your terms will earn you house points while any rules bring will lose house points. Then you're the house with the most points and making a great honor. I wish you will go catch whichever house becomes yours. The sorting will be like the sorting ceremony. How nice. I don't know. For a moment, Neville's school, which responds in his left around so much shows every never stolen flying there. She'll return with the ready to fuse and mercy going. Please wait quietly. She left the name terrible. How's it you sorting to tell? Yes, Ron. Some of this thing, I think Fred hurts a lot, but I think he was joking. Harry's never got Horrid's all the tests for another whole thing. He didn't know any magic yet. What on earth would he have to do? And expect something like this would happen if they arrived. He looked around anxiously. And I saw that everyone else looked terrified too. No one else was taking much except green tea spray. That's what I was using. And if something like this was one of the arrivals and everyone else looked terrified. No one was looking about Hermione Granger was going to be a special biologist. Harry tried not to listen to her even more. Never seen the James scoreboard. Not really silly. Some big blue, some with whiny singing up. Professor McGonagall going back and something I've been making from there. Some but then he goes. But when he goes to jump in the back wall, it's ghost. I didn't know there were ghosts here. These are the fat little monk was saying forgive for guy. Also give everything to my dear for I haven't even put up with the chance. He gives a little bad name. You know, really ghost. I was saying we're doing all this during rough times. And that's the first series. Nobody answered. Just going to the fat fire. People know I was easy enough to the fire. My old house, you know, long now. She start for the spring. Was about to start. First one, one, someone in the ghosts were floating around the opposite one up from a line. She went in the first series. Realized that they had to like carry on to a boy with the sandy hair with the Roman. It was a chamber because the whole until the great hall. I've never been imagined such a strange blooded pulling piece of all the plate was with the rest of the windows. It was where the golden plates and goblets at the top of the hall was another long table where the chiefs were sitting. But we went all the first series of that. So they came to the right line was with the company in the hundreds of faces staring at the block like pledged with the flickering kind of light dorm there and along the costume to avoid all staring at some light. It was a subway black guy. So many stars heats. Then it's bewitched to look like scouts. I read about how his history was all about was the ceiling. There was all the green hair was supposed to happen. Very cool. And that was Professor McGonagall still before like still in front of you. On top of this, she put a poisoned hat. This hat was a fried and extremely deadly, but since he couldn't have let in the house, maybe they had to go and try it. But Harry thought wildly and it seemed sordid. Then he was in the hall, was not staring at the hat. He started for 2 few seconds. There was a feeling, and then she twisted her in the bin, looking around and said, and began to say, "Oh, you may not think I'm pretty, but don't judge him on Reese. You only myself. You can run smarter than me. You can keep around his black." Her top is like tall. For I'm the Hogwarts sorting hat, and I can tap them all. There's nothing hidden in your head, a sorting hat I can't see. So try me, and I'll tell you where you ought to be. And that's a sorting hat. Oh, it's still going. You might belong Gryffindor. Well, to the brave of the heart. That is never trouble. Say Gryffindor's about. You might belong enough where they're vicious and loyal. The puffles of are true and unafraid of toil. Yes, while Ravenclaw, if you're ready in mind, with others, Ravenclaw wasn't in their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin, you'll make your real fans. The killing folk is in means to achieve their ends. So put me on to be afraid and don't get in a flock. Here's seventh, though I have none. For I'm a thinking cap. The whole house has been hands. As just nice as 4 tables and bring the water to we just try on the hat. Ron was a bit Harry. I think it was kill Fred. It wasn't weak. She got the hat better. As soon as he was just spell, but he didn't just try. It was very watching the hat. Seemed to be asking rather a lot. Harry had felt break with it. It was only mentioned of. House of Raven felt a bit queasy. There would have been one for the person gone a step forward, holding a long roll punch. When I come your name with the party hand on the side of the throat, she said, "How about Hannah, a pink colored girl with Tommy Kills on the fight, pale followed with the highs and sat down a moment spouse. Hufflepuff out of that. Hufflepuff the right cheer to Hannah went to sit down on Hufflepuff 7. She showed the glass of fire. It was a million balls. Hufflepuff shouted at her again. Boo! Simmons said Hannah. Beat Terry, Ravenclaw, the Ravenclaw, Ravenclaw. The table seemed to lift clapped from the level. Ravenclaw stood up to the shaking with Harry as he joined. Brooklyn's Manny and the Ravenclaw 2. Brown Lavender became the first Gryffindor and the Rat and the Living Squad. She were the one wrong spell. Then he clubbed Slytherin. Perhaps his Harry, but after all, he just about Slytherin, but he thought he looked like an unpleasant lot. He was starting to look academically sick, and remember he always picked for teams during the gym. He was picked last. Is that what it said? You remember he had always been picked last to be chosen, not because he was chosen, but no was good. No one deleted like him. Flinch, fleshly, Justin Hufflepuff, somebody, Harry Potter, Wiles. He's told, but I was going to go wild. This happened against it. She would have been Harry Potter on the line, step for almost a while, and then he and Gryffindor, Hermione started to do, and Gryffindor shouted the hat round. Graham to help her thoughts struck Harry. Said, but thoughts would have been nervous. What if he wasn't chosen at all? What if it was just that in his eyes, friends, and someone chucked it off in his head, and there was. Jerked it off his head. Oh god. And there was a mistaken neighbor to call back term Neville and who's only his toad was Holly Williams who will school that had took a long time when he finally showed Gryffindor Neville ran off the wearing he had to bear Blumnels and winning McDougall making Rob Meffrey Street and the he had early blown his when his Slytherin. Malfoy went to drain spring crabble and Goyle looking to another one P and Moon not Puggins and there was a pair of twins back in Bocto and said Patrick Sally Ann and at least pots of Harry as Harry Potter started really hissing fires all about Potter. Did he say the Harry Potter? The Harry Potter, yes, the Harry Potter. Last thing Harry Potter knew was dropped over his eyes and people look at people craning to get a good look at him. This again, he was looking back. He waited. This is not voice. It's difficult. Very difficult. Plenty of credit. He's not bad mind either. There's oh my goodness, yes, and nice that's previous now. That's interesting. Where shall I put you? Every other Slytherin, the stool, not Slytherin. Yes, so I'm not very sure. You could be great. You know, it's all in your head. Slytherin, you on the base and better be Gryffindor. Harry said there was the last word to the hall. He took over the arms. Even the Gryffindor. He was not so relieved to be chosen, not be put in Slytherin. He early knows that he was getting the loudest cheer yet. Percy the perfect god up, stricken hands, Wriggles, while the Weasley twins yelled, "We got Potter! We got Potter! We got Potter!" He sat down on the ghost in the refuge, saying the ghost Potter giving. The ghost patted his arm, giving Harry the sudden cold feeling. He just plunged a bucket of ice cold water. You could see the high pull top of the nearest oh god, his eye and gave the thumbs up. Going back, Dumbledore already recognized him. And one of the got out of the cleanser frog, chocolate frog. The Dumbledore Severe was only in the hole and shown his brally as a ghost. Harry Potter's Professor Quirrell too, and a very young man from the he was looking very peculiar. And he got him and purple tip, and now there were only 3 less. We saw Thomas Dean, a black boy even taller than joined Harry. A black boy, because you need to note that in the book, right? He's black, just so you know, in case you didn't. Just so you can visualize. It's a black kid. And I guess we just assume Harry's white, even though it wasn't mentioned. Okay, I'm getting to, like, maybe it was mentioned and I didn't pay attention. I don't know. Tripper and Lisa became Ravenclaw, and there's the Robin Scully. Don't throw the table on the legs, and they had shouted Gryffindor. They clapped the last rose when it comes to the next year. Well done, Ron. Excellent piece. It wasn't. Piece was completely somebody was made Slytherin. Professor Mangel presumably was that hallway on the gold. He was only really hungry as the point some majors. All was the American face playing with the students. Welcome, he said, welcome to the new Hogwarts. So we went back only a few words. There are nibble bumble, but it's sweet. Thank you. He said, "I'm every class and charity. Didn't know what he was up for. He's a bit mad. He has to say, I'm mad." He said, "Presley, he's a genius, but wizard, but it's a bit mad. But it is Harry." Put the fell up. Just in front of him. Went up with the food. He had been so many things he liked to eat. Once roast beef, roast chicken, pork chops, such as bacon and strap sub, ballad potatoes, whipped potatoes, fries, Yorkshire pudding, peas, carrots, gravy, ketchup, and for some reason peppermint humdugs. Those had never existed. Sorry, but he had never melted as much as he liked. Dudley had always thinking that Harry even wanted to make him sorry. Paul this one peppermints and PMD was all those that does look good. And this is roughly watching Harry with a steak cat. I haven't eaten it for 400 years. That the ghost. I don't need to, of course, but don't miss it. I don't think I've introduced myself to Nicholas and Max will in your facts. Resident ghost of Gryffindor. I don't know who you are, said Ron. Said my brothers told me about you. You're nearly headless snake. I would prefer you to call Mr. Nicholas and Mimsy. The ghost names and those empty. Nearly headless. I could be nearly headless. Mr. Nicholas looked extremely fit as if the little troubles going all the way he wanted. Like this season early. He said just left here and pulled his song with the butt on his shoulder. It was almost someone roughly tried to behead him, but I was like probably looking past the stun looks on their face. Nearly had a snake flip his head onto his neck and cost. So he knew Gryffindors would be going to help us win this house because the Gryffindors had never gone so long without winning. Some of them have gone the 6 years in a row. Gone the cup 6 years in a row. Blood rain's coming up. He's on the cylinder cross here. Look, this really sober girl sitting there with the blink eyes and robes saying with over blood. And Harry was pleased to see don't look so pleased with some arrangement wanted to give her and blessings. He was the greatest. And I said neither way with everyone had even as much as they could have remains of food right from past them with parkland cleaners of a moment. This is a pure book of ice creams and every flavor you can think of. Apple tries, book chocolate, chicken, declares, and jam donuts, truffle strawberries, yellow rice pudding. As Harry helped him such a color, he turned to their family. I found half and half. Same as my dad's a muggle. My mom didn't tell me he was a butcher after they married, but if a trick for him. Those left. What about you, Neville? Said Ron. Well, my grand brought me up, and she's a witch, said Neville, but she's family thought I was all my for ages. My great uncle kept treating me on my garment, so some magic out of me. He was out the end of Black Boy Brown's idea jump, and nothing happened until I was 8. Grand uncles from other dinner. He was hanging out on the upstairs one of my ankles, and I was jumping, but I saw the way that the garden was into the mud. They were all nearly. Girl was crying, was so happy, and you should have not seen their faces. All your great uncle Algie was so pleased he bought me my doll, and Harry's wife pleased he weren't minding. We're talking about this. I do hope they start. There's so much to learn. I'm pretty interested in for you, and you know something interesting else, of course. It's very difficult. You'll be starting just small. And you'll be starting small. Just mentioned that Harry will stop as it fell swarms. Just look it up. They call because of Harry was thinking from his goblin. Professor McGonagall was talking to the Professor Dumbledore, Professor Quintel, and his absurd turban who was talking to Richard Greasy black hair, hooking nose, and swallow skin. It happened to Harry suddenly looking nose. They're already almost ready, and I'm halfway almost. Hook nose and whole skin. I'm just gonna. Okay. I'll show you in clumsies. What is that? President? Nothing is. So even though I have a timer in the background, take it with a grain of salt because clearly I'm just speed reading at this point. If I read the second book, I'll try to get every word better, but this is a lot harder than I expected. I was like, I could do this in 2 hours. Doubt it. We started just mentioned the thing. Who was the field slipping? I met the next stage of BSing. Excuse me, I'm sorry. That tequila. Oh wow, Corality, no, he's looking so nervous. The person he's supposed to know, and everyone after Coral's jobs, he already stopped for a while, but this is pumped up. I was just, was a fatal. The first issue is the grip of the people's first use the Dumbledore swing eyes, especially in the direction of his I also been by Mr. Fish, the kids remind you all the magic beams and glasses. Quidditch gels would be in the term you want to split from the Elstrom sitting metal gel. I can say the third floor is in the head right. He'll be one of the few. He's not serious, man. It pays to be presumably it's hobby because he gives a reason why he's not. Let's go somewhere. He's the full danger. He knows everything. I don't know if school's on the university smelling and Dumbledore girl on as if he's trying to get off left there. It was true the brother that was looking towards everyone put their fears and off we go. Captain James' picture on the portrait. Capcode. I might have to change while I read because I'm gonna go clubbing. Captain James' picture in the portrait swung forward in the round hole in the wall. Maybe in the Gryffindor sun because they run full flushing one of the person and see the curtains that was already been brought up there. But secondly, for the picture of the phones, a big red food is in it. From Mary Sarah through the angle. Get off, Scubby! Shooting my sheets. He went up to ask why everyone had been under the trend. He almost done it once. Perhaps Harry had eaten a bit too much because he had been very. And the dream was wearing for his Quintel's turban, which once even though the Destiny told me the term he didn't want to be a Slytherin, it's gotten heavier and heavier. He tried to pull it off, but it would try and pivoly. There was Malfoy laughing, but it was simply, and then there was Malfoy laughing. As he struggled, then Malfoy turned into the nose. So she just wishes they became in. There was a cloud of green hope, and Harry woke sweating and shaking. He smiled over and fell asleep again, and then he woke the next day. He didn't remember the dream at all. Chapter 8: The potions matter. There, look where, not to the where. I'll have to take my shot first. So far, I've drinking, not too much. I've drinking. I've drunk, not too. I've had to drink, not too. I can't even talk right now. Excuse the nip slip. Anyways, where were we? chapter 8, right? Take the title of this video with a grain of salt, because I will be reading the next few chapters extremely quickly. I will be skipping words, possibly sentences. I hope that's not the case, but we're about to see. There, look, where? Not to tell the rich kid with the red hair wearing the glasses. You see the face, you see the scars. So followed him from the moment he left his dormitory. The next day, people lined up outside classroom and the was good to look at him. They watched they went to be ones who would spend the 140 seconds. Where's the Spanish? There were the doors. I'm gonna do college style reading now, which means. Yeah. When open all the people in the right place, and they were exactly doors, and all but suddenly pretending it was also very hard to remember where anything was, because it all seemed to have around a lot. The people in the park, there was one close environment, the ghost didn't help you. There was always an SGL, and everything was right there. The was looking at trick chairs. If you met him with a whole race from their feet, was a bunch of behind you. God, you cunt! Even with some peas, it was a puzzle. The caretaker feels every morning, to get on the road, but very much warning. Just one of them trying to force it with the door, and found those bees out of bounds corridor on the floor. You wouldn't believe it. They were also there, surely trying to be on prison, really to lock them. The dragons, they were first, but Corvo was passing. Phil's only comments in his voice, scarring just a colored creature with blooding lamp-like eyes, and the filters he was in the quarters began the rule flare and children of light. She was for light. She would have breathed 2 seconds later. Phil was just secure. The was and then everyone in the could pop up and selling, and the ghost was laid in the darkest image, and give Norris a good like kick. And then when they managed to find them, they were close and collapsing. They were 11 and with them was they are studying that night through the movements of the patterns of the times a week. They went to the greenhouse behind the study store biology with the pop picture for the spout with it. They learned the pivot all streams fungi and then found out what they were used for. Time is at 9:40 p.m. Cool. And all those professors spout they were learning to take care of the springs blood fungi. What they were using really the most boring class of magic. Oh, this is a plant class. The most boring class of history magic was the one about ghosts. Professor must have been very old. Top 8 ghosts, cool. And he was falling asleep from the front fire. He's been behind him on fire and the ball makes the flame and strings. He was a little wizard with the on the power. Mosquito was always there. Had to be a wizard. He was a question of the moment they sit down in their first transfiguration is one of the most complex and dearest people ever. How she said anything when running the clothes, and then she changed her desk to peg again. Then on the dark eyes, by Carl looking around the beach, waves clumps and still she blue light, which is becoming back from one of these. He told me to begin to an African prince, and then he forgetting river troubles on me. The story of one of the streams, the world was to roll into like a dream of the weather. One day, and no funny smiling around. The Weasley twins and all this stuff. It was incredible when we were. He was early to find out was in mind when the people came from a place like him and eating all the wishes one day. There was so much to learn. They even like wanted how much of it. Our was important for everyone. They finally managed to even the grand for breakfast and weather. Getting having gone to the webs around for storage. Double fridge and Slytherins were upset. What's the house? There was the flavors of the sea. Sure, Michael said Harry Potter mixed on the name for the photos and stuff from getting a huge platform. We're gonna be to the Melville Raven Gone as when they were in British Scotland for them. There was $100 suddenly seems to the great hall during breakfast. There was tables in their own people's avenues into the left. Harold Briar, he sometimes into opposite ear, and it was going to the all Ruth all school. The morning hour she would be to my related and sugar ball and the one where I was playing her tournament instead of Raymond title. Here, I know you get fried after us, so we would like to come and have a cup of tea with around 3. I'm gonna be all the way first weekend and as we're back with Hedwig Hagrid. Ooh, someone was at this page before. Not me. Harry Potter wrong spell. Yes, please see. I guess they gave up. I don't think they finished it. Anyways, me right now. Hey, by the way, yes, please see you later on the back of the building. Beginning was lucky that Harry don't see the floor to the biggest room. So Professor Snape disliked him, but then the wrong you've been wrong. She didn't like Harry. Pushing this took place in one of the density was colder here. Then the back of the sound when I've been quite serious with the picking animals floating in the garden was like fuck when it's rock on pickle with the videos. Yes, it all the others can you celebrate. Jim on the fridge go big because the black guys, but they had none of them. They were cold and everything. Made me think of dark tunnels. You were dull and subtle saying this pushing making banners and barley was everything. Like first McGonagall Snape had keep a gale single well as there's a little womp like was made of blah blah is one of the little video because of the like about like was like me I can teach you how to bottle flame glory and to if you weren't big bunch but it was I usually have to teach more sounds around this little bit Harry Rocks and was happy for nature on the just saying look best of arrangement when there was them happy about it similarly I would have had a put it also to infusion where one of them was infusion why every glanced at wrong was I don't know I don't know sir he's absolutely close so he's ignoring me let's try again where would you look if I told you to be better her money stretched her hand as though it was a gory living here buried in the where the bizarre you know my foot cabin and go who's finishing with left I don't know sir I thought you wanted to look before coming at Potter. I was supposed to keep looking straight into these calls. You had to look through the books that there's sleep, but don't seem to remember the 1,000 matching herbs. And it was just Hermione quivering. What was the difference between opening and this Hermione stood up in her hand, stretching toward the Gungeling ceiling. Where was I? Gungeling ceiling? Where's that? Fuck. Why are you coming? There was a set of minutes for closing problems. Where is the grungeling ceiling? I don't even see it. Oh, here it is. I didn't know Hermione. What is the real official paper? Mrs. I see Miss Swing. Snape, however, was not pleased. Sit down. He slept at Hermione for more instructions of the word. His jaw didn't leave that. It was always a stone taken from the stomach of a goat, and we'll give you from the potions. Oh, cool. Stomach of the goat. Nice. There was the same plan as someone. Well, aren't you all coming down? There was a sudden rummaging for clothes and parchment. There was no poem taken from the poems and part. There was another Gryffindor's potions. Like the she was all pissed. Everyone except Malfoy. I'm so tired. Like in the brave Molly, just like whenever last someone imagine some people just want to take submission of the poison. I don't know. Item boy since the I suppose you go to the room if calls in a fight. Everyone's well boys, take better boys, but a week seems the same. And then you run out on Harry. My lips are numb from reading so much and also from the alcohol. so it's hard for me to pronounce everything. There's no taking all the hospital wings, Samus, then he ran over here and run away. You'll probably be tell me you think he's going to leave you wrong. Did he take another point? You look when there's going to argue, but don't push me. I don't have this being very nasty, and they turn another. An hour later, his mom's raising him. He lost 2 points for another very true. Why didn't Snape hate him so much? Cheer up, said Ron. She's always taking points on Fred Short. Can I come here? Snape's George, can I come and meet Hagrid with you? At least these across the small edge of the 4 minutes across one pair of galoshes were outside the front door. When I knocked, they were troubling with them. Some boys, they had Hagrid's voice ringing. Back. Hagrid's back, very big in the black, and they pulled the door open. Hang on, he said back thing. He let him in the ceiling, so he pulled on the collar, let him black down. There was. I'm gonna get some more clothes because I'm about to leave in a bit, so I'm gonna keep on reading while I get more clothes ready. Okay, cool. He said earlier, like Hagrid was in his when it was fighting, balding, walking so large, she bought and balding right to the feet. Another week, yes, saying you're placing a public spring. And have me life chasing your brothers from that swings. Ron kids were still balloons, and they almost bring the teeth to Harry and Ron put them to be enjoyed. And as they hold singing about their roughness and reason while Harry's partying and of his robes. Harry and Ron were delighted to hear Hagrid all flew the old as an official Miss Norris, I like to introduce you to her thing. Sometimes every time I go to the school, it follows the excuse me, came right of her. Fish puts the Harry on. Hagrid, so Hagrid Snape, so Hagrid like Ron. Where's my pants? Hagrid like Ron. Where was I? Hagrid like Ron. Was that Hagrid's called flesh double jazz and around years? As she's just saying, sometimes that I can get you to school. Follows me everywhere. Can't get rid of her. Can't get rid of her. Where was I? Can't get rid of her. Filch Spitz and all. Harry told Hagrid Snape slows. Hagrid like Ron told him this story. What else? Snape like hardly any of the students. But he seemed to really hate me. Rubbish, the Hagrid. Why would she? Yes, sure, you can keep thinking of what Hagrid couldn't quite see his eyes when he said, "How's your brother, Charlie?" Hagrid asked her. I've led him like a. Whoa, where was I? How's your brother? Hagrid asked Ron. I asked him to agree with animals. Harry wondered if Hagrid would change the subject on purpose. While Ron settled him about Charles' work with dragons, Harry picked up a piece of paper that was on the floor. There was going for them. Kringot's whacking lights, and Virginia's continuing to the break-in. It's great for the 31st July. World of evil else to be the world of visible witches not known. Great instead of the nothing had been breaking. The vegetable being the ball had been searched had been infected and empty the same. But we're not telling you. Oh my god, I'm sorry, y'all. You're seeing me in my boxers. Forgive me. This is an emergency. Not really, but still. Cool story, bro. Gringotts break-in latest. Investigation continues into the break-in and Gringotts the 31st July. The Dark Wizard's Beatrice and the Grand Soon later and Sunday. Nothing had been taken. The ball had been stretched and infected them the same, but we're not telling you that was in there. Keep your nose out. That's what's good. Bree said to Jane was this afternoon. Harry remembered the moment of his original broken Gringotts, but around the day he was sitting was back in another birthday. It might have been happening while there was no doubt about it. He definitely didn't meet Harry Sanders and let him go and offered him another rock cake. Harry read the story that the ball had stretched him and emptied Curly of the same year and emptied the Valley 713. He got emptying, taken out of the frigate little pie. And in the 30 days, his Lucas Harry Ron walked to the castle with a daughter. He was weighing down with the recommendations they put into life reviews. Harry thought there was another lesson they had learned so far, but he gave him so much to think he would see whether Hagrid Hagrid's depiction of him. But was it now? And did Hagrid know something about Snape that he didn't want to tell Harry? I'm gonna take a full shot since I'm probably gonna go out tonight, and also for the thumbnail. Hashtag clickbait, but not really because actually I'm trying to read it. And by full shot, I mean mostly full shot. Is this? Oh, fine, full shot. Fine. Cool story, bro. What should I do, The Midnight Duel, Chapter 9! Is that a good thumbnail? Wait, let me get some of this tequila bottle in. You know what? Fuck it. What about just not gonna put that as my thumbnail. Fuck. Oh, I have to take my shot. Where is it? Oh, Jesus. Bon appetit, baby. That fucking burned. Sorry. Excuse me. Oh, God. It's gonna be lit. Spraying it at the air, not my face. As you can tell, that goal's starting to hit me, but I'm also just a ridiculous personality in general. Where are my shoes? The Midnight Duel. Harry never been a bookie, but he did more than deadly. Those made me drug him off. Myself, Harry's trigger is the only potions with the Slytherin, so they didn't know how to put with Malfoy much, or at least they didn't until they splattered nose pinned up a window broom. How long has it been? An hour 57? Hurry and blood, then Elizabeth was drinking some so they spun a pin away. I mean, a lot of it, full of a birthday. You'd been looking forward to leaning for the man. You don't even know what you're making a voice of it. But that's all talk. I'm on page 144. That's not even halfway, but it's almost. Please forgive me, y'all. I'm trying my best for this video. If I do read a second book, I will make sure to plan this better. And I definitely will try to read the entire thing. And I'm gonna read the entire thing. I mean, I've mostly read every single word of half the book already. And it's a shame to like to just skim the rest. I feel awful doing that, and I feel like this is such a clickbaiting thing, and my anxiety is calling me a liar right now, but please understand. I also have a life. As much as I love YouTube, I haven't posted content in a while. And also, I'm not even sure if this video is going to save properly if this video is too long, because even with a 5-second video, like when I push stop, it took time to process. Anyways, I'm wasting my time, so let's continue reading. My friends have also stories seem to question wrong and follow someone ball and books like what's going on with government post from just looking he's 1.30 afternoon. Well, where you're waiting for it, following the clubs decided they were already there, and I'm going to read like 5 sentences per page at this point. There's also someone sticking out your right hand. I'll pay everyone my name's Granger or some of the booms or the show. No one I want to get on the ground. He said I'm going to keep your bones steady, raise a few feet, and then I'll put it back and I'll try to read the last chapter better though. But Neville wasn't jumping in. Well, Russell was a picture we saw, but Neville was ready. Sure he was right. Score. Grandma thought that didn't scare you next. It was just quick. Come on to your Neville. Let's face here. Did you see the fairy lump? Still joined. I'm literally reading like 25% of each page now. Forgive me! Where's my watch? What if it's Windows every product quickly runs with mouth voice smile Nestle? I think I'll leave it for Wilmington to find how. Give it here, you yelled. But wait, let me do the one music and room rush out emanation man also not so if you got a son to jubber. This is my good side. Sorry. Actually, you're welcome. I think I already read that. I don't know if it's broomstick. Here, I'll take you off that broom. He said, Malfoy trying to steer, looking worried. And you ready for like javelin off? You just get off the window and you drop up his no crap and go up and save me. Nothing Malfoy. He's always Malfoy. Get it on if you can. And then he shot it. And then if you look less into the air and straight back to the ground. Here he saw a slow motion with the balls and the sun people forward and putting this broom on the mingled with the flow, watching the insurance of his hand before the granny got animals. Harry Potter, he first of all, animal. I mean, if my time in August, make almost a speech with the dog. How dare you? My brother. It was a spot presser. I will take my shots for each chapter still, okay? Don't worry. Become a spell up on this please. Oh, fine, I'll go on the damn chair. Okay. Anyways. Be quiet, Mr. Reynolds. Seems wrong with him. Looking at me just after the dog keeping now. He didn't hear even in 2 weeks. And maybe he was back. Same as all of the rest of the from the first stairs and was a problem month the way. But sorry, he thought it was please subscribe. From the YouTube, they mushroom the goal. They were looking at the area. And there was a classroom. There was a bees. While the bees were legal, so the campus McConnell stop the door behind him. And some of the news seeker business research professor was the least person. This wasn't like was your person in a birthday, but I didn't say he didn't have a clue was going to be in some of the gold wedding. He said Charlie would have what happened. I would have been looking at all the versions of Quidditch Potter. Yes, what it was. They have no two person. Just the stick or two. Sorry, I'm just going to be wild things. We're going to most of the streams of it. First of all, in Los Bills, they're going to be lost. But if there's once a year training, but you're trying to this already was following this film. A piece of name all about us. Somebody finds you must be in the house. And he said, area was me the body. With another what is only was my rabbit area. I was already busy here. What only told only for this year. Just becoming the opposite in the area. Well, then it's a journal of tells around the demon debaters. I don't think we're going to go. We don't know once in Charlotte, but this year seems going to be really. You must be go to area. What is human wealthy? One age, where you found you see a pet. Based on the message, where are you getting the train in the muzzle? You were a lot better than the ground, and you're going to get a lot of friends with years early. There wasn't one because I'm not gobbling Kyle who's up with you. I take Jones my own, my fights, and if you want, versus do what's only no. What's the one who's up with you? Of course, he has been wrong. I'm second, who's yours? But I grab the guns and grab cabinets all right. When you trophy room, I was going around here, look at each other. What is it? Was it just everybody meaning? My second one was to come to call back and looking at the dapper deals. The means you both will be able to spell with you, knows magic, everybody explaining by one email with my watch bottom on the rose who wants to it's me. They both looked up and I was Margie Granger. I can't present anything. He's like, Ron, I'm going to go back on over your muffler. I could Ron, you're going to go to wondering, it's really none of your business there. Goodbye, Ronald. The same result. Goodbye, at the end of the day, was with the Dean and Seamus, excuse me, falling asleep, excuse me. I was back from the hospital wing, but all the games if he tries to go some browser videos and where I was blocking. There's a very good chance they were going to get caught by Mr. Flint. Sharp Vincent was, and they were shooting his black. I feel like I remember this part of the movie. Wait, we go. They pull on their bathrooms, the spiral skates into the common room, members blowing the fireplace. All the images in the black shirts, we portrait all the very speaking. So I can believe they're going to do this area. I'll forget on Mr. Manny train waiting pink about room. But yo, Sapir, I'm saying, go back to bed. I'll say, brother, man, flop. He's a perfect. He's probably equal. Come on, it's around. He was a portrait really and put him with the royal man. I wasn't going to give that easily shot around through the portrait using it. Don't you hear about it? The only one to be on what's everyone don't watch. Be alone with the stupid folks among all the single spells. Go away. Now I see why it's so difficult to make the book a movie. It's been 2 hours and I'm slightly over halfway done. How do they make the movie about 2 hours? It's crazy. I don't understand. What does the winners do? How do you do? Diagon scared cold pie watching looking Harry's cold, but you know the brawls into the way off way and seems to do meal damage to studio for you statement. What means we haven't run out things on the nose round 6 me. They both look at Mr. Manny Granger campers in this place. Didn't I read this already? Fuck, I'm rereading this. Can't believe anyone was using come on the push on the porch of the lady, but Lord Manny was going to be run through the porch and he was doing your belly was switching bells go well around when he was over there's a problem we're going to the lake. Then he reached the end of the quarter when I made a catch up with them coming with you. She said, you're not. I'm thinking I'm gonna start with the four fish. He found out there is on the I was gonna try to be like I got some nerve and probably shut but you said hard very sharply. I heard something was storm really Miss Norris based going through the heart. It wasn't Miss Norris, it was Neville. I was going up into the rock players and he was going to find me. I found on the rock remember the pastor get into your bed. I couldn't remember the password against you. Keep your voice down, Neville. The password's fixing up, but Ben will help you. Put your ladies off some. How your arm, said Harry. Oh, how's your arm, said Fine, said her. Puff things about a minute. Yeah. Yeah, Uber's the best idea. Good. Well, looking over, we got somewhere to live. Don't you leave me some notes. I don't because the buggy squirrel and buzz using on her man and open her mouth and I have the curse of the buggles berries and big wow little one quarter step into the bars moonlight. Lemonade was turning every some reason flesh and Norris. They were luckily spent up the stairs with a couple with it. The girls leaving because where the moonlight comes like cursing and below solving all in the darkness they along the west keep their old darkness and and as well leap Sarah was the manuscript. He's like maybe she can have where there's a noise and next made Harry doesn't always please make this video viral. So I'm saying they made me Miss Norris struck. I mean, Mally, the quarter, the quality buzzing story around the other one, around the corner when there's another somewhere. They're in the trophy room. My mother lives in the banner group down the whole glory of suits and armor. They could hear Filch getting never seen that up there. They're about to get caught. Broken to run. He would grab and run the race and wait to pay. They rushed when they were running. Run, Harry yelled at the four of them. Sharp now, not be under the where the pitch was long. This one must have been well down on the quarter and another the lead with an idea where they really wanted. They ripped on the reception and fell into the best way to she was customer. They were shown in the shows. Anything we've lost him. Harry Penn anything the con. We're being forced whenever was the using better. I told you. I ran a gas because you get the I told you. We got to back. Said Ron quickly himself. Not very sure man said he realized that they don't even was going to meet. Was going to be in the virtual room. Always was probably right, but they was going to say, "Let's go." It's going to be that somebody adding on one of the places when Dart Bell and something with the culture in front of him was peace. He got started the beam of school. Shut up, peace. Please call us get a stone on peace. While we're down, men. I'm calling you caught. Now if you get us peeps. Should us have fashion peeps. Even if everyone go to get out of this way, students out of bed. Pieces students out of bed down the charms corridor. Taking up pieces around the lights to the end to the door, and so it was locked. Then it's it. Ron Mosey pushed him to the door. We're done for. That's his end. They could force steps. So he could more than Hermione. Some she could man. And when it was very Hermione. Ah, the Hamora! The lock clicked in the door, someone opened up, and started calling him. There's so much of the baby. Quick, tell me, yes, don't please. Where did they go? Shadow, no, they have the peeps in the bunny boy. All right, please. Nothing, I told you what the music, and they heard the sound of the buzzy, where they going to be. These doors like. Harry said, I think we'll have to get up Neville. Who the fuck is Neville? I don't even know because I'm reading so fast. Where was the Neville? Oh, they'll have the bathroom for what? Harry turns to whatever you said. He feels nightmare. There was too much on top of everything. There wasn't a room. There wasn't a room corridor. There wasn't a Lord, and they were in the apartment. There were the lives of foreign jog. The dog filled the whole space with these. Yeah, 3 heads, 3 pairs of falling, 3 eyes, 3 noses twitch. I'm quite in the third direction. The ruling mouse, live separating from the yellow strings. It was quite noses like size of an area. The only reason they were squealing getting over that. There was a missing in the thunder zone. Here in the rock, pigeon, fish, and little day, built like one time. All they wanted to do was a much space between them and the monster. The range of the bush at the 7th floor, been all looking there, picking up, these crumbles of the mountain school up, streaming the arms, it was a wife, and the English only song needs no existence, and there's one does, they're many doing the red and the temper back up again. You don't use eyes when you just slap the judo was saying the floor saying I wasn't like raised, it was not the floor, it was standing on the rubber, it's obviously getting something. She's up there, but you're visiting with yourself. We could all have been colder, worse expelled, and you don't mind, what's their father, no, we don't. You think we'd drag the Barman to give an area, something doing every grass is the same place, and one place many but Hogwarts. It looks so hairy to find out where his grubby left package from plot 713 was. Page 162 out of 308. I think I've been doing fucking amazing so far. If you don't think so, I'm sorry. Go ahead and give this video a dislike. At this point, I stopped giving a fuck. And I'm just gonna use the tequila as an excuse for me not giving a fuck. Literally can't even taste it. Chapter 10, Halloween. Ooh, look at this nice picture. I'm not gonna believe somebody saw that everyone was like the next morning. Everything was filling around by the original movie was spelling Eastern was dangerous and around by the same the officials made some money show the stories interested in middle only the Diagon a lot of was no refused to speak to everyone, but she was in better than all, and the other problem was they were all very good back up they really like they don't know about the great house you drive as well matter like then appreciate basically those are everyone else with large pressure with me when he was dropping around in his barrel they are all the way on the first one be doing up in the parcel at the table continuing plus 2000 but I don't think everyone's going to be there they want I would make on those very strange Professor McBrano. Here, definitely had these know it's an on-rate. I never 2000 I've never even touched one. I fell off down Quilly was around the 1 miles with packages of broomstick. He said only be for the Potters. You know, a lot of records right. It's only presence in episode 2000. What do you think? You're home. Puffing on my 2 well, everything was a flash, but they're not really know. What do you know about it? What you so back, back. Wardens of the trick when I was rushed to flick quick compared to Malboy's apple. Not arguing how boys, he squeaked brothers of broomstick. Yeah, that's right. Some of the praise not so bad the position and what all it is. And if it's said Harry Potter and the bottom was the really things out for you. He had around around the mouse obvious rage was in well, seriously, what's true every child as they reached the top of the stairs. If you hadn't stolen apples, remember I couldn't remember that I'm one of the teams. I remember just comes giving his voice back and my stomach, but then I'm looking to the package of the series. I only were speaking just that area. Don't stop now. Around sun. So much. We're not away from those in the area. A lot of crowd, a lot of stuff, and a lot of retards. Then, but which well, where you will that night he pulled in and eating without nose eating. He was just around number 2000 dollars. One way is one of the broom second one. So there's everyone was sleek and shouting, but the magazine street wakes numbers 2000 green and gold ears at the top. As everyone clean your jewelry hair left the gas on light off the desk into the Quidditch field. You know, been inside the stadium before the feature was filling around the field, so the picture had to speak to it. And then it peeled over the grill and pulls up on the they might Harry the little puzzle in the middle of the mobile. They were filled with triggers. These will play whatever on this broom taking it off from the ground, wheeling, please bed up and down the field. Numbers 2000 wherever we realize that. Hey, Potter, come down, everyone. Whenever he was getting large, winning everyone, it was very nice. When his eyes, like, he was going to your earlier. Everyone was feeling be joining the blades sometimes a week. Among the crayons on boards, different side bosses. We're not Quidditch season up to understand even it's not easy to play. There are 7 players on each side. They're teaching Harry Quidditch. In case you didn't understand that, which you probably didn't. I'm just going to teach you the rules and everything. Please don't keep on the right command for 7. But I don't know if even there are 7 players that you said they're only called chasers. They're chasers. Every players would come bright red about the side of the sucker ball. The buckets of the quaffle, the wild rogue chasers, roll quaffle, to the trigger, the world of the score. Well, 10 points over the quaffle goes to one of the whole solid. Just the quaffle, but there's a area and so around the basket, boom, 6 open. What's the best gusted wood? Curiously, never mind, Sarah. Cool, you know, there's another player on each side of the column. Keeper of the Griffin, the playing the Griffin, the first scoring. There's one season. What time is it? 10. Was it determined to remember what time has it been? 2 hours and 9 minutes. We're looking at one of the reballs. I'm going to show you novels. We're going to take this email. I'm going to show you two identical balls. Unlikely. Sorry about that. Was that there's a buzz? If you watch all this, fucking props to you. You know about number of was in the block, was in the air, and the hairy space, and was at the bottom, stuff at the freaking nose, and the dragging, wood, and what's up. See what pattern when the block is in the way the block is running, watching, but you have to do based on each of the ways he turns around their own drop to the 7 bulgers and try to knock them from the so you can call that features in this book. The keeper tries to score plus. I have to swallow mental alive. You're in the rules from the team. Harry well, very good. So whatever. So only killed him. Never at Hogwarts wave at a couple of broken jaws and nothing worse than that. Now the last member of the team is sicker. That's you. That's in one about the college and the budget. And they crack my head on. Don't worry. I wasted more than a match for the budget. I mean, what even is it bludges? It was tiny set of a large one. It was a bright golden. This is several and Smith. And this is all over lots. And maybe almost go out to get secret for them. These gyms Quidditch only minutes. Let's go on. Go right. Check in the men's baby. Keep it on business. To play keep on. So this many questions. Because that we're going to zoom one practice with a smitch yet. One of the checking in the back inside the crate. So dark we might lose it. Just try to flee to the pull the bag of boarding. Also out of the ball. But Harry Potter bottom it. What do the compass as he couldn't read your to catch rate missing one. What was the light after an hour later? I'm planning on carry on the Quidditch Cup at all. The same as this year. What a play is a crystal by the council. I wouldn't be surprised if they were not better than Charles. We'd be seeing they go play for Eagle if he hadn't gone off the jeans. It was me and I was busy with the Quidditch practice with 3 evenings a week on top of all his homework. Harry could hardly believe it was in the middle of the 2 whole months already. Jesus. It's about more like almost Jimmy lessons to work with him. They had messed with based on Halloween morning. They books and just smell baking pumpkin wafting through the corners. Yummy. And only sharpens in the other day where the main object flies me and wondering and then we'll zoom it around the class. Professor Fredwick put the class in place over Harry's partner with C. Miss Summer. Which was a relief because Neville has been tricking his eye. Ooh, sorry. Rodden has been working with Hermione Ginch. I've been told Rodden Hermione was about the sea and spoiling either than the days when they're now. Don't forget that the rest of the movie when switch and like there's so many pages left. I can't. It was already flicked his name was gone. Well done, Professor. I'm just gonna like literally go to the last 2 chapters at this point. I'm gonna skim through the rest. Okay. Apologies. Please forgive me if I do the second book. I'll be better at timing it perfectly, but I have a life outside of this. Someone was there. He was in the closet for the Halloween. Your man was the only past the group. All right, better Percy down because then Percy yes, Ralph here, Bella, what's he doing here? But Brendan goes to his house, and then he was going to see it was a horrible twice. 12 feet. He was called him the corner. So like was door randomly comes the door and something they had something in a chamber. They just all knows around them. Another girls. Her man he said they together once back to the door and shaking it the opposite. It was about a thing. It's confused. I don't know when he was a while. There's another man. He lumbered the blanket so but always here he lives the day and then made from his oh you pray me all from the side of the chamber. It seems but it's hard to come to. He was Ronson giving Harry time to run. Come on, run, Harry! Yelled out, man, trying to pull the door. The brother was selling against the walls. The shining the something better. The wall who was there, son away. And then something was well very brave and nobody wanting to be what he wants. Your mind, he dead was gives out. Oh, two buggers, troll burgers. Woman's perfect. Perfect. My arm is square. The whipper still living on 20 clutching his heart. You were lucky you weren't killed in Germany. How was your term? Simply good whipping. Look at the witch. When we went down the small town where the was going on literally and missing all many leave us. I was even trouble because I thought I could write on my because I read about them because they're romantic and telling a drama. Please subscribe. I've been hurrying essential since the Henry Ron to look in that case. Remember on Vince Granger, you fellas go out. Be sure very much woman your red rose, but she was planning was the last person anything against the rules, and she was putting she had to go to the man of trouble. It was the same pattern in the street. Miss Grant 5 points, beating from the prepping on marriage, but even now they're bringing off the government tower years, doing finishing the turns and out. Remaining the pressure, remembering on 70 round and round, and we'll be like meals, the whole grown mount troll. You each one friend for 5 points, and we'll be informed you may go. They were out on the trimmer, let's begin until you had climbed 2 floors. It was a relief to be away from the we should have gone up and around. My view means she's taking off her mind, good off to go. Like Ron made mind you, we did say we should have. And we went like no living manner, they reached me the point of that lady picks up the edge and the government was back the noise, everything was in and the numbers many was along the door waiting. There was a bird looking at each other. They all said thanks, but hurried off to get. But for the moment, her main creature being there, many things she went on the neighbor and out a 12-foot mount troll and not one of them. And I'm also definitely slightly tipsy. And I'm on chapter 11, Quidditch. Let me put on some cologne. Fuck. I think I should take quarter shots now because I'm already feeling the alcohol and I'm not trying to throw up tonight. Please understand, I'm not trying to throw up tonight, okay? Where are my shoes? Fuck. This is a lot tougher than I expected. I'm barely on chapter 11 of 17. I mean, that's not bad, but I literally have like 5 minutes to get ready. And, well, I'm ready already, but 5 minutes to finish reading doesn't seem likely. Did they leave without me already? I can't even text properly. Okay. Cool, I just let them know that I'll run downstairs. I'm already dressed. Have my jacket ready, so it's lit. Quidditch! Wasn't the previous chapter all about Quidditch? Why is this one called Quidditch and the other one Halloween? As I don't remember the one with the... Did I drink my shot yet? I think I did. If I did... I'm gonna have to drink one just in case. A slight amount, just like that. Just in case. Now I taste it. So far, this much out of, and this much left. This isn't bad. I don't know what called the mountain, so became Mayor's Grain. They all like go see when everyone's coming to my words to be on the Quitch field, but on the Quitch field, on outside, and they would have been looking from when they would have been losing out. Man, blue wins very big because they would have sent another secret weapon. Harry should pay what secret. Invisible secret up with someone other and was repeal telling me barely repeal telling me they'd be running around building with matches. They were like, oh, Hermione's apparently the Quidditch through the age. Somebody interesting and. There's been a finish with Sarah. There may have been watching my bros the day before Harry started question. There's my face say lumped over. You don't see the fire. You see the raised off. What are you beating out the party? It was a question with the age Harry showed him. One day I will be on Ellen. I will speed read. Hold me to it. Thanks. Also, send this to Ellen, especially this clip right now. Tell her to look at the beginning of the video where I was reading more coherently and not BSing like a college student. Thanks. Cool. Gotta roll up these sleeves. I'll do that later. Read. Library says once outside the book. Go to me 5 parts. We're going to take the one man of the neighbor around what was going on. There's going to open the rooms of the rainbows. But we learned by messing around on the reason. Another relative quote to the age book. I'm starting to feel sick. There was no answer. You can only answer. I'm going to go on my knees. Okay. Uh-oh. Apparently they're ready to go, and I'm not even ready. Let's just BS this bullshit, okay? You don't look at me like that. I know in the when you guys did your finals in college or high school or whatever the fuck, don't tell me you didn't do the same thing, okay? And don't tell me you didn't go to class, go on Spark Notes, and pretend you read that whole bullshit, okay? I'm not the only one, and it's been 2 hours and 16 minutes, so give me some fucking credit. Thank you very much, because this is going to turn to a midlife crisis if you don't accept me and my possibly illegitimate reading of the last 6 chapters. Thank you very much. Although you probably won't hear this because the video is so long, and here I am trying to come up with excuses, but the video is so long, so it's not like it matters anyways. My channel has come to an all down low, hasn't it? Please forgive me. I'm not going to skip that many pages. I'm going to at least read 1 word per page, because you know who I am. Who's Jordan? Say Professor Louise, turns to the was running for the grain skin of the years of the slice church. What else? Julie, left fish of gold. Golden snitch. Off the red card. Oh wow, it's a golden snitch. Okay. Wow, Nimbus 2000. That is Broom. Cool story, bro. You couldn't drink it at all. You couldn't even every making them in position with Guapo Best mouse ball. Even in the crowd mumble. Sorry, guys. Okay, I've already heard enough about the Nimbus 2000. What are you doing, Ron Muggery face? I know Hermione crashed. Look up because she was in the middle of the Nimbus room. Hermione, you leave it to me. Brahman and Hermione disappeared. But another buculars, many was vibrating. It was almost a mega watching her bodies will middle tremble. Come on, Hermione, pull Hermione. Hermione had followed Wakers with the worst Snape in the middle. Was even she mops Snape in the middle. Hermione was a couple of them. I don't know why. Listen, when you're meddling in your things, a dangerous property that's been prevent double low negative line. I said racism, conflicts, and final look famous with out. Chapter 12, the mirror Frized. The mirror of Frized? Frized? I don't know. Let's see what my phone says. Be there in 15. In 15. Oh, I have 15 minutes. That's enough time. I could do this. So 1, 2, 7 chapters to go. I've done 11 and I have 7 to go. Okay, I have to take my shot again. Thank you for being late. You're giving me more time to read. I appreciate that. 15 minutes. I don't know if I can read 7 chapters in 15 minutes. It's like 2 minutes per chapter. If you've liked this video so far, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share if you have not already, because this is actual torture. Look how long it's been. 2 hours and 19 minutes and 43 seconds as we speak. And I've literally tried way too hard for this video. I had to use my webcam instead of my camera. I had to set up this microphone. I even have a fucking damn light right here. I don't know if you see the reflection on my light, because the lighting is just god awful. Anyways, I'm just venting at this point, and I should be reading, right? The Mirror of Erised. Christmas was coming. One morning in mid-December, Hogwarts woke to find itself covered in several feet of snow. I'm all reading snow now. The lake froze solid, and the Weasley twins were punished for bewitching several snowballs that they followed Quirrell around, bouncing off the back of his turban. The few owls that managed to battle their way through the stormy sky. I want to try reading slow, and then slowly get quicker and see what happens, right? Ready? Bouncing off the back of his turban, the few owls that managed to battle their way through the stormy sky to deliver Mel had to be nursed back to health by Hagrid before they could fly off again. No one could wait for the holidays to start. While the Gryffindor common room and the Great Hall had morning fires, the drifty corridors had become icy, and a bitter wind rattled through the windows in the classrooms. Worst of all, were Professor Snape's classes down the dungeons, where the breast rose in the mist before them, and they closed as possible to enter the hot cauldrons. I do feel so sorry, said Draco Malfoy, one potions class. For all those people who have had to stay at Hogwarts Christmas because they're not wanted home, he was looking over at Harry as he spoke. Gabble and Gwell chuckled. Harry was measuring out powder spine of light and fish. Lionfish, ignoring them. Malfoy had been no more pleasant. It was the Quidditch world. Just got the Slytherin had been trying to get everyone laughing at how white Tree Frog replacing Harry's sneakers deck. Then he realized that somebody found this funny because they were also impressed that Harry had managed to stay on his building broomsticks. Malfoy and Jailson Avery had one of his Harry was that Harry was going to go back to the drive for Christmas. Griswold had come around the week before making less of students who would come for the holidays, and Harry stand up at once he didn't feel sorry for himself. This will be the best Christmas he'd ever had. Ron, oh, this is gonna be the best Christmas he ever had. How sweet. Or the finish at the end of potion, they found a large fir tree blocking the corridor to a number of speed sticking out the bottom of the. Oh, are they giants? Building the Hagrid's behind it. Hi, Hagrid, when any help on us? Is there the Regis? Now I'm alright, thanks, Ron. What do you like? Me know the way home in front of my hand. Are you trying to earn some extra cash? Or extra money, Weasley. Well, Weasley, Grand Professor, what do you log with helps with the Hogwarts? Seems like a basic command to made films used to. Weasley, Malfoy just came up the stairs. Weasley, Ron, go to the front, Malfoy. Here's revokes the Snape said, Hagrid seeking his young friends from all the three. Malfoy's installed his family. Yeah, that may was Hogwarts rule. Snape simply Malfoy, Cowboy, Grobble. I'll get him, said Ron. Ellie and Balls, and Mom, Williams and Claire, Jingle, tell him what's going on. Would see that great hall looks the tree. So the three of them following in the tree to the I read the last tree put in the far corner. What do you all I can't believe it's been this long. Anyways, around the room was how many days for your holidays and rest just one determined another reminds Marion will and all was on your right as well as Aries eyes were impressive like will involved swimming out of his eyes the library said oh we're not wearing no we're not wearing the library since you mentioned it so we've been trying you what I really stop. Listen here, absolutely. You drop it. It's nothing to do with your dog's garden. We just wanted to know his heels fall. Hey man, you did just face of the trouble. Harry has been through hundreds of books already, and we can't find him in there. Just leave us in. I know we've been him. I've seen nothing. I said angry place. We have to have him to the hobby. Then Ron and then said left angry, just uncle and hurried off to the library. Please, yes, still recording. Thank God. She was really going to Spanish. Sam was going to leave. It was very hard to know where to be. No plan was going to sell. He was in a great wizard. The our tone time. I overestimated my ability to read quick. I know I read really quick, but this book actually takes time. So I have. This isn't that bad, but I really have to pee. Gotta finish this first. I was facing two important monitors, and of course there was the sheer side of the library, tens of thousands of thousands of shells, and was remaining to go to the stage, while Ron sort of down, starting off the shelves around, wandered over the restrictions, and he had been one for one, they know you need science, just like formula, you just get any restricted books, and you never get one, there's where the books containing proper dark magic, which was never taught at Hogwarts, only read it on defense against the dark arts. What are you looking for, boy? Nothing, said Harry, the librarian, you better get out then, go out! Which one been quickly knows the story of the library, learning, there's no way to see the web, he was over here, 2 weeks all over, but only had a month between listening to some the panels when there was like this one on the next. This sounds like an auction now. 5 minutes later, Ron and I joined him shaking the rest of the technology wiki bullying and won't use it was remaining will not all your parents if they won't fall in was Ron it was very safe is a very both tenses reminding mythology started Ron and Harry were having too good a time to think about Flamel. They had tormented Harry to themselves and the room was moving they were upstairs they were eating they could hear from 14 fork English muffins marshmallows playing ways of getting Malfoy expelled and they were fun just even they weren't Ron started teaching Harry where's their chest there was the Muggle chest except there were figures were alive which made a lot like jerky and chips and Babble. Oh cool, so the chest figures are alive. Nice. Ross was very old and battered, like everything else. He only was the only someone in the valley. In this case, his grandfather only was a drawback at all. Man, he usually players just seem silly. As him, the king was angry to afford to lose him. On Christmas Eve, Harry back to the battle. He ordered many business. The first one was he was a small palpitations in front of his door. Merry Christmas, Ron sleepy at Harry's son, but bed and pull his bathrobe. Sorry, please forgive me. You two Senator, we'll look about some presents. What do you think of turnips? Turnips? Whoa, wow, cool. Roasted was a lot bigger than Harry's. Harry picked up the top roses around like brown, so it was Harry from Mary's. Roughly, couple of it was very blue. It was like now. What's going very well? I don't know if you message goes. This really is a problem. Where she asked what shape that's his money. You can keep. Hi, I'm Mickey, said Harry, living out around. I don't know why I'm doing a Mickey Mouse voice, but. My mom answered I know he grown. She's made you Weasley answer. I don't know. A large box of homemade fudge. Every year she misses the sweater. Mom's surprised. There's always around. There's only this one candy. A large box of chocolate frogs from Mariah. This one with something fluid and very silver. Great one slipping to the floor related and flipping rose. Wrong guess I heard of those eating special very floor pieces. And that's what he thinks they really are. Really valuable. What is it? Let's see if we call the floor. Illustrations of the flotch. I like women on tomato. It's an invisibility cloak. I remember this part. They finally got the invisibility cloak. Oh, look at his face. I'm sure they were close. I give it all. Look down. Larry looked down and see, but they were gone. He touched the mirror. Sure enough, his reflection looked back at him. Just his head spinning in midair. His body completely invisible. He pulled the cloak over his head and fingers. There's no sound. I fell out of it. Harry pulled out the cloak and sees the letter written in narrow loop. He read any seen before the following words: Your father left this in my possession before he died. It is time. It was returned to you. Use it well. Very Merry Christmas to you. The alcohol makes this so much harder to read. Regrets. I'm still in chapter 12. So, I've gone so far, but I still have this much to read. Spare me this fate. Please. I might actually cry. Also, if anyone actually watched all this, like even in the background, while you're working or something, fuck. How could... I'm shocked. I'm shook. I don't even have a wig anymore. It doesn't exist. You literally took my wig from existence. It's in another dimension at this point. At least I don't have to buy drinks at the bar, right? You win some, you lose some. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna continue reading. It's just so... I've just reached a point where I'm tired. I'm so tired. Speed reading... I'm so tired. Granted, I skipped some words, skipped some sentences, mumbled a lot, but I, David, am tired. All for the sake of a YouTube video. So, please leave a comment. Literally scribble on your keyboard. Leave me a comment. Subscribe. And I never say this in my videos, but turn on that notification bell because unfortunately YouTube's algorithm has turned to shit. And you likely won't receive my notifications unless you hit that bell. So please hit that bell. I'm working real hard, especially on today's video. Let me continue reading. I have so much to say, I feel like, but I'm just going to read. Nothing, said Harvey. He felt very strange. Who said the cloak had it really belonged to his father? He could say anything else. The mortuary floor was flung open and George Weasley rounded and stood closely. Merry Christmas. Hey, look, Weasley's got a sweater too. One with the large LF, one another G. Harry's better than ours, said Fred. Oh, weren't you wearing ours, Ron? George and man, come on and get it. They're lovely and warm. I hate maroon, Ron mothered. Heartily as he pulled in. You haven't even got a letter. You think so? I got your name board. Not stupid as we know. Called Dredge for. What's all this noise? Percy Weasley took his head through the door, looking disapproving. He had clearly gone away through unwrapping his parents. As he too carried a lumpy sweater over his arm, which Fred sees. Peep for perk, get on, Percy. Come on, we'll see. Here we got one. I don't want. And Percy thinks he's done so different. Yes, Christmas is time for family. Frog March, Percy. Harry had in all this to his side by the sweater. Harry all his time for Christmas dinner. Hundreds fast roasted turkeys. I love turkey. Roasted ones around boiled potatoes, platters of chipolatas. Never heard of those. Turreens of buttered peas, silver boats of thick, rich gravy, and cranberry sauce, and Texas wizard crackers every few feet along the table. These fasting party favors were nothing like the gravy marbles unto the doors as usually brought with their little pustules, their flimsy hats inside was the wizard cheese with the red edges and bangers with black cannons, while in his angles, the high table Dumbledore sat beside the wizard hat with flowered bonnet and was trickling in pops with wicked and reading on playing piano, and burst of the mean teeth on a silver embedded in the slice. Even the book's getting blurry at this point. Harry watched Hagrid getting rodder and rodder in the fact that he called for more wine, finally kissing Professor McGonagall on the cheek, who to marry him and giggled and blushed on top of that. Somebody's there, you love the day, you all know the second things, little men's balloons grow your own watch kids, and you know, his wife, nice to disappear. 10:20 p.m. Cool. The white-headed man has disappeared and living over as an orange Christmas dinner, and then the waste of the god half turning and stumbled finally grounds and close man was going for brother. You're going to go around door, particularly around his one have lost better pussy and charms, lemons, ever mellow breaking in sandwich, years of the cake. I felt too much sleepy and too much noise, and so much pussy shape, fridge, and go to the Gryffindor because they'd stolen the beverage. Perfect badge. It had been Harry's best Christmas day ever. Suddenly, had been engaged in the back of the man, mountains of the Ron full of turkey and cake was nothing mysterious to bother me. While as usual on the currents of his full post wells, Harry learned on the side of his own bed, a little confirmer, as well as the men always ends well, and so his arrows, the whales, and then he slept out of the bed and wrapped the cloak around himself, looking around on his legs like only the moonlight shadows. It was very feeling. Use it well. Suddenly, Harry fell and wall. They're already here, and I still have like 50 pages. Time to really BS this college reading level bullshit. Okay, I can do this. We can do this, guys. We've already done 2.5 hours. We can do this. I'm going back. Brown's cool. Everybody the Erised. I can see it. Look, I can see you. Look at me. Hey, what? I'm out of the bachelor with Ron Torres. I was from tonight. Do you think the mother of the fear gonna all my family are dead? You oh, that's sad. Give me more time. I'll quick up that sentence. What I'm married. Don't listen to noise. I'm quick through the road. This isn't safe. Come on, play. What's the play? Where do we go to the Hagrid? No, you good. You know you think about it. My name is Sheriff and so Dumbledore Quelly. So anyone else believe is most of the verse. You know when you know the bothers in the mirror in the middle. I was in the mirror. So I can't see them. You just know something about me. I'm in the mirror. Like one socks. One of them socks. But I'm on Christmas morning. I'm not even so terrible. It was only when back on the actually here. May not be in the middle, but then in the line you should have his belly. I'd been quiet. Personal question. Chapter 13. Literally at this point, fucking skimming. This isn't even college anymore. This is just fucking. I'm not trying to be too drunk. This isn't even college anymore. This is just BS at this point. I need water too. quench it this night. Chapter 13. Where was I? Chapter 13. Yeah? Are they here? Yeah. Well, tell them when the Uber's here, I'm gonna run downstairs. Why? You got something to hide? I'm on chapter 13, Mom. I've already read 214 pages. For the most part. Nicholas Flamel, chapter 13. Dumbledore had commissary not to go looking for the brains and the rest of the say you're ill, said Ron, pretend to break your leg. Hermione, really break your leg, said Ron. I can't, Harry. Go to Paris, McGonagall, Hermione, said I don't want Hermione, just said Jenna looks at Hermione. Like, you honestly don't you two read? See, said Hermione. Oh, the ancient lady Oxygen with Monkey and Stars original legendary substance with that searching powers of stone, which never middle to pure goals of the elixir of life. You know, Ron is safe. I don't know all the solutions, but I'm just scared. And just come with that. You don't know where the magic and I'll keep running into shape wherever you went. Not everyone else looking in morning. Hermione doing my best the same as looking for the money, but come on, Harry. Gryffindor is the lead, shrieked Hermione. Oh, Hermione's reached the head. Oh, are they playing Quidditch again? He really done something proud of it. Not only he recognized the figures of the that Harry Bassett. Let's find an empty room. You wait 2 years. He made peeves and talk and spell. You don't need to mean something in the next chapter. Chapter 14. Norbert the Norwegian Ridgeback. Yeah. Oh, it's on my face. I have 5 more chapters. I'll take 2 minutes. No. I'm done in 2 minutes. Call the Uber. Tell me when it's here. I'll run downstairs.
Even if you're not done?
Well, 2.5 hours.
I don't want to come home late.
No, when the Uber's here, I'll run downstairs. Whew! Okay, y'all. Let's do this. This much done. This much to go. I know I'm really lagging at this point, but please forgive me. Norbert the Norwegian Ridgeback. Over Quirrell, however, must have been drawing one of the weeks of the lecture. I remember this Ron Burstyn this afternoon. Oh, we found out who his ages ago. Shh, said Hagrid. Now listen, let me let him up. I'll see you later. Then Henry or he were Great Britain and the Dragon Keepers. You should keep Burn Charlie off the wild and routes. She comes over, always it better let him in, but he can fire in the grate. Yes, said Harry. There's some with his mind will and wonder what Hermione said. When we order the swipe. Yes, you're still on about that. You look snappy around Hermione. You know these plus if you yet. Well, I've been doing some reading. Hagrid pulling a large book from the pillow. Dragon reading for the world prophet. It's about a date. It's a bit out of date. We're Hermione. It's breakfast time. Breakfast time. It's hatching. Ron wanted to skip her while she go straight down to Hermione. Wouldn't hear of it. Hermione would know how many times we're going to how we've got dragon hatch. We've got a lesson. We're going into trouble. Shut up, Harry whispered. Shut up, Harry whispered. Malfoy was only a few feet away. Ron and Hermione went away to leave him. The boss fangs living looking at his mommy. They looked at one another. What, wrong page? Oh, I read it really hardly. Charlie, he said, oh, dear Ron, how are you? Thanks for the letter. I'm glad to make the Norwegian Ridge, but it wasn't easy getting back. The best thing will be sent over a few friends of mine. Oh, then they can meet in there and take one. Let me answer some puzzle. Love, Charlie. They looked at one another. We got on the ability cloaks. Sorry, it shouldn't be too deep, but I think the cloak's big enough to cover 2 of us. No, but it was more about but Mr. Ruler, but said Malfoy. It's a dog, I don't think she believes me. She rom calm down. Wally, he puffed you on. It's a tricky stage, more than I can't handle. It's in Charlie's letter. He still is filled with tears, though it might have been Norbert who had just done on the like. Alright, it's time for him on the board. Just playing. He's not only a baby after all. Harvey had Norbert packed and ready in a large crate. He's got lots of rats in and braided for the chin. He's up. Why is I packed in the stable? By Norbert. Detention, she said. On 20 points from Slytherin. Roller and up dairy. Charlie's friends in the cheerio. Thank you, Harry. Oh, what was going on? They still bad Malfoy in detention. Well, she spoiled their happiness. Well, he said, we are in trouble. They left an invisible cloak on top of the tower. Chapter 15, The Forbidden Forest, which I also remember. Are the trees alive in the movie? I think. Just a little drop because I've had too much. The point lesson here is actually like figure out how long it's going to take to read a book, because then you're going to be like me, 2.5 hours in, just fucking rushing the end of the book with too much tequila shots, questioning your life's decisions. I don't have a life, which is why I'm doing this video, but I want a life, and I think we all do, so let's all get a life. Anyways, enough of that deep talk. Let's just finish reading. The Forbidden Forest. Things couldn't have been worse. They really couldn't. I would never believe any of you. Mr. Filch says you were up in the astronomy tower. It's 1 o'clock in this morning. Explain yourself. 50! Harry gasped. They could have lose the end. Well, no, Ron admitted. I'm really BSing the rest. I'm so sorry. I'll try to do the last chapter legitimately. To pull an unexpected test, alright. Halloween, and that was nowhere near the 3rd floor. Edition will take place at 11 o'clock tonight. Mr. McFilch in the Hintress Hall. Harry had forgotten they had detentions. I think you're twice breaking school rule again. That's your problem, isn't it? Said Filch. Yeah, if you were in Hogwarts. Oh, you're a Hogwarts. Look there, said Hagrid. Harry said the Hagrid looking very could a werewolf be killing the unicorns? A werewolf kill unicorns? That's messed up. They walked over a mossy tombstone. Harry could be bare running, but he screamed, "Oh, get behind that tree!" Hagrid said. Harry and Hermione pulled in his crossbow, writing, "If I knew it," he murmured. He's, again, always the innocent first victims. He said, "Yes, Hagrid, but have you seen anything?" "No, I have not." "Man's bright tonight," he said gloomily. "Well, we've heard. Well, either of you." They walked on through the dense, dark trees. "Look," he murmured. It was the unicorn all night. Out of the audience goes Harry, taking one step toward it, fearlessly meaning freeze. "Arr!" Malfoy let out a terrible scream, both so did Fang. "My name is Firenze," he added as he lowered himself until he was a baby son there. "What are you doing? You have a man on your back. Have you no shame? Are you a common mule? You realize who this said, Firenze? This is a Ponza reading. It's not business. Don't like donkeys, stray animals, and a forest." Firenze reached to his right legs. They plunged off into the forest, leaving Ronan and Bannon behind them. Harry didn't have a clue what was when. Why is Bane so angry? Yes, what was asking me? Firenze was up. Hermione was running around down the path, hugging around the pounder. "It's fine," I said. "Harry, no, he the unicorn's dead. The unicorn's dead, Hagrid. It's all that clearing by town. This is where I leave you," friends murmured as Hagrid hummed. "Good luck, Harry Potter." Harry magically awakened. A matter of seconds, though, he was wide-eyed as Harry began to tell him Hermione had happened in the forest. Harry could sit down. He packed up in him in front of the wells. Full of Voldemort. Voldemort's waiting in the forest. All this time we thought Snape just wanted to get rich. "Stop saying the name," said Ron. "Stop saying Voldemort, Harry." "We should stop saying the name, Ron. So I've got to wait for you, Snape, to steal the stone." Also, I want to be a voice actor and an actor in general. So, if you have any nice voice acting gigs, email me at. Maybe I shouldn't give away my email. Just comment below if you know any good voice acting gigs that I can sign up for. Thank you. Chapter 13. Nicholas Flamel. Nicholas Flamel. Don't remember him. So I have this much left, and I have like literally 1 minute. I can't. Dumbledore and I was coming right now to go to Erised the Christmas holidays. So it's around Christmas time now. This time, what was going hard? "Don't place it, Hermione. What? Say you're ill," said Ron. "Pretend to break your leg." "Again? Really? Break your leg? Didn't I read this already?" "What happened?" Hermione said, leading him to a Malfoy. "Listen to this, Dumbledore. It's Belger. Lodge on bottom. If friends regard him, you would. And Malfoy was happening. And Claire did not wait to be seen. It was walked as fast as possible. Below is a shadowy clearing. Never mind that. Chapter 14. Norbert the Norwegian Ridgeback. I know that was like a lame shot, but alcohol poisoning is a real thing that affects a lot of youth in America, and some people have died from it. So don't get alcohol poisoning. It's not cool. Cool story, bro. Thank you for listening. I don't know who Quirrell is, but this Quirrell guy must have been braver than they thought. In the weeks following, they seemed to get paler and thinner, but it looks as if he cracked it. But now we're 600 years old. "Oh, shh," said Hagrid. "Listen, come in. I'm not promising I'll tell you anything." "City," said Harry. "Of course you are." "Jerk, hardly Dumbledore." I shut over the top and party. Dumbledore, "Snape, you're not about that. Look, what on Hagrid last night? I told you. Hermione, how many times in our lives are we getting a dragon hatching? I feel like I read this. Dragon flopped his leg, but sneezed a couple. Isn't he beautiful?" Yes, dragons are beautiful, but they don't exist. "He lost his marbles, I guess, unless you count dinosaurs as dragons, but they're not because they don't fly. Well, unless you're a pterodactyl." "Charlie," he said, "you're losing it," said Ron. The three of them. "Dear Ron, how are you? Thanks for the letter. I'd be glad to take the Norwegian Ridgeback." Totally feel like I've read this, but I don't think I have. "Fall off, Malfoy, Hermione, Ron down." They would have felt sorry for Hagrid when the time came. Managed to get back. At least. Norbert the Forbidden Forest. I'm pretty sure I read this. I'm at the Forbidden Forest again. Chapter 15. Was there like 2 forest chapters? I'm actually confused now. Quidditch was 11. Nicholas Flamel was 13. Norbert the Ridgeback was 14. I definitely accidentally went back a few chapters and I'm rereading. So I'm going to go straight to 16. Or Malfoy. When Harry pulled back his sheets, he found his invisibility cloak folded neatly underneath him. This was a no point in it, just in case. Okay! 4 minutes. That means I gotta wrap this up, guys. Through the trapdoor. In years to come, Harry would never quite remember there was a spirit cheating spell. And 1 minutes ago, she said, "I'm going to." "So what?" Harry shouted. "Don't you understand? Blah, 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 blah." "Don't be stupid," said Ron. "We're coming," said Hermione. "No, I don't." "All right, Grin." This is getting dramatic. "Don't know, some sort of plant thing." "Oh my god, but there are hundreds of them," Ron examined. "We're looking for a big old-fashioned one, probably silver like the handle." Chapter 16. Through the trapdoor. Just a drop. This much left, y'all. We got this. 2 hours and 41 minutes in. Every time one of their mom last the pieces showed up. Oh, man. They knocked off. They were all right. Harry turned against. They realized before he was safe, he realized Brandon tells the will should be a fight. One among his friends will more head. No one shows for a drinker back. Instead, they'll kill his waiting. The only one knows improvise. A positive, said Hermione. Chapter 17. The man with 2 facts.
It was Quirrell, you raspberry Quirrell! Oh, but I thought Snape Severus Quirrell. Snap, yes, Severus. I every day shaking hands with him in the last day. Oh, not strong enough. Oh, please don't stop doing a scare for him.
Calm yourself, dear boy. You are a little behind the times. We must have crossed in midair. No sooner had I reached London that it became clear to me that the place I should be was the one I just read. Quirrell. Harry lay went for Dumbledore, humbled a little. Just 5 minutes, Harry pleaded. Absolutely not. You let Professor Dumbledore. Well, of course, that was a headmaster. Quite different. Well, Your Name, as I see how crazy this is. Now, Dumbledore, please, you're allowed to go. Just like a couple pages left. Not Dumbledore, give me the day off yesterday. Fixed 9 and the cuss group warning. Third to Mr. Harry Potter, said Dumbledore, shaking Prism McGonagall. Harry had almost forgotten the examiners were still to come, but come they did. So they come both he and Ron passed with good. So Ron and Harry passed with good grades. So congratulations to them. And suddenly their wardrobes were empty. The trunks were packed. Neville's toad was found lurking in a corner. You must come all the way some. Okay, let's just read the last page. And apparently the next book is Chamber of Secrets. A station full of ordinary people. Behind him stood Aunt Petunia and Dudley, looking terrified at the very sight of Harry. You must be Harry's family, said Miss Weasley. In a manner of speaking, said Uncle Vernon. Hurry up, boy! We haven't got all day. Hurry back for the last word with Ron and Hermione. See you this summer, then hope you have a good holiday, said Hermione, looking uncertainly after Uncle Vernon, shocked that anyone could be so unpleasant. Oh, I will, said Harry, and they were surprised at the grin that was spreading over his face. They don't know we're not allowed to use magic at home. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with Dudley this summer. The end. Oh my god. We did it, y'all. In 2 hours and 42 minutes and a lot of skipping in the second half of the book. It's okay. And this is officially the longest YouTube video that I have ever filmed. If you like this video, like I said, please give it a thumbs up. This was actually torture to myself. I don't know why I decided to go with this idea. I don't understand. But please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos. I have some great content coming your way. I know I haven't uploaded consistently, and that will probably remain the same, but I am going to upload, so please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see my content. Thank you all, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sure this was as tough watching as it was as tough making, so I really appreciate it. I love you all, and goodbye. I'll see y'all later. Mwah. Have a happy Harry Potter life. I don't know why I said that, but just subscribe, okay? This was a lot of work. Thank you. Time to go get lit and hopefully find a bae because I'm lonely. Thank you all.